My opinion of the current SA Pro scene is obviously a little bit tainted now that Bravado's left. Unfortunately, there's a lot of brain drain in losing, particularly Seam and Donny, one to the international circuit and one getting married. And that means they will be able to help establish some new key players, some new strong teams, and that's pretty good in itself. In my opinion, I think the best player in South Africa at the moment is probably Castaway. He's definitely mechanically gifted and he will certainly drop some knowledge bombs on you as well. The Winter Cup, I think the top 4 finishers will likely be XC, Energy, Bravado and White Rabbit Gaming. I think that'll probably be in that order as well, White Rabbit Gaming coming tops. But I think what's probably more important is not where you finish, but who you want to beat if you intend to finish first. And in this case, to win this tournament, I think you need to beat White Rabbit Gaming. Hey guys, my name is Devin Helbert Rigotti, and I'm a Dota 2 caster from Cape Town, and I'll be your Dota 2 caster at the Mega8 Winter Cup.
Welcome back, everyone, to the final day here at the Mega8 Winter Cup. My name is Helbert, and I'm joined once more by Prophecy, Snare, and Donny. Welcome back to the panel, gents.
Morning, morning.
Hello. So Devin, what happened? I thought you were casting. What happened to this gig?
Yeah, no, things changed. Things changed. So patches, I guess Castaway's favorite heroes for this particular game, and what I was doing at this event. So let's do that again, I guess. Hi there, I'm Helbert, and I'll be your panel host for the Mega8 Winter Cup.
Yeah.
Obviously, we are in the final day here, gentlemen. It's quite an important one, of course. We'll have the low bracket finals, and then the grand finals. It's as with the business side, and it's kind of the 3 teams we expected to be here.
Yeah, pretty much. I think it's much like last week, it's the same 3 teams. White Rabbit obviously waiting in the finals for the challenges. I think this is going to be a very, very interesting game, though, because Ian was not pleased at the fact that they lost last week to the Ecstasy boys. And Ecstasy is looking to kind of prove that last week wasn't a fluke. We are this good. We are going to be the second team in the country. And I think there's a lot to play for. Energy have had their ups and downs. Their ups have looked spectacular, but their downs have kind of looked just about as spectacularly bad as their ups have.
So let's discuss what you just mentioned. Energy versus XC. They've played before. Last time, XC getting the better of them. Do you guys feel that... I mean, you mentioned that you feel that Energy, obviously, this is a bit of like a revenge match for them. But how do you guys think this is going to go down?
Well, like, for sure, the revenge thing. I mean, like, you saw that interview Doom Bunny gave with Strike, or pre-game. I mean, I spoke to the Energy players, and they think that was quite the disrespectful thing to do. And personally, from my point of view, I think that's very disrespectful, right? I'm obviously a controversial personality in the scene. People think I flame a lot, but I mean, obviously, I've never actually flamed in-game. I think you need to be a good sport in-game. And when you're around your team, sure, you can flame whoever, builds team building and all that stuff like that. But I think that was obviously just like not a good thing to do from his part. And I think that actually Energy is pretty annoyed by that. And I think they want to make XC eat their words.
Yeah.
So let's chat a little bit about that last encounter. So XC, I think they were pretty dominant. Would you agree in that?
Yeah, they looked pretty dominant, but again, it's Energy, like Donny was saying yesterday. It's kind of like a coin flip. What are they? Friday they look
Which
bad.
energy are we getting today?
It's like Friday they look bad. Yesterday they look good, and then it's like, okay, it's day 3. Is it going to land on the side or is it going to land heads?
So I mean, something we spoke about before is that we felt they were quite an emotional side. How do you think this factors into today's matchup?
For sure. When I was with Odu was in my team, right, with Bravado, and we were definitely an emotional side. You know, we hated losing. It was never like angry emotion. It was more like, let's just not talk for a day or 2 or a week. You know, just not talk to each other. So I think he definitely hates losing. Yeah, obviously there's pride involved, there's egos, and I think yeah, they want to live up to their own expectations, I guess.
I think also it's like simpler for them, this particular matchup, because they've been playing best of ones like the entire day yesterday. It takes a lot of pressure off your back when you know you can go into a best of 3. You don't have to put all your eggs in the one basket. And yesterday some of the a bit clowny plays, some of them that we saw from Energy, I think were only due to the fact that they knew you're in a best of 1, you lose this, you go home, you don't want to make any crucial game-losing throws. So now that they have some stability, you know that losing game 1, not the end of the world, we can come back and win in game 2. It might actually lead them to be play a lot more stable Dota. Probably they'll see less throws, we'll see less like late-minute buybacks that don't really accomplish anything. going to be, I think, better Dota overall from Energy. But that being said, an emotional side might actually benefit from that one game pressure, knowing that one game might make us lose. So again, I think the difficulty is when you're talking about Energy, it's always about inconsistency. You don't know which Energy you're going to get. Are we going to get the Energy that benefits from having 3 games to really strategize the win, or we're going to get the Energy that kind of needs that one game, lose this and you're out kind of pressure to win the game?
A good example of how you should see Energy is when yesterday Chosen One, when he side blades the creep to get the invis zero, he killed him, right? Pro play. Then they win a fight mid, he dies, buys back, and nearly throws the game. That's Energy in a nutshell. He's great, and then suddenly, what's going on? You know?
So moments of brilliance and moments of stupidity.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Again, as you mentioned, we were chatting a little bit about XC. They want to prove that their previous performances weren't a fluke. But I mean, do you guys feel that they actually need to? I mean, do we not say that XC have reached the point where we're expecting them to be the second place finish this weekend?
I think, like, the problem that it's shown is that Ian's taken a game off of White Rabbit game. Ian has looked like a stronger side. XTC last week beat Ian in 2 clean games and then have fallen apart against White Rabbit Gaming in most of them. Like, yesterday's game 2, the first half of game 2 was the best Dota I've seen from XTC this year, right? And then the last half of game 2 was XTC.
Right? Just carrying them to victory.
Well, it's like
Oh, right.
the next half of game 2 was basically the XTC that we've seen every single game against White Rabbit Gaming. It's like panicky. They don't know what they're doing. They're trying to play, super safe. Deppy's getting over aggressive because he's trying to make something happen. Adestam arriving to fights late the whole time. That's basically XTC in a nutshell against every team. Against White Rabbit Gaming and not against any other team. So they need to figure out what it is about White Rabbit that's causing them to play like that. And the first step is to beat an Energy side that they have beaten before. They need to now prove it. Like, last week wasn't a fluke. We are better than Energy, and we are consistently better than Energy.
I don't think people should be using the word flick. I mean, these teams are obviously on this similar level, right? They are like second, third, fourth, They're obviously, it's like 50-50 according to Strike in that interview. He said it could be either team could win. So he knows that they have the capability of winning, and he knows that XC can beat them. So it's not like if they lose, then they're like, no, you just got lucky. I think both teams realize they're capable of losing to each other, except maybe Doom Bunny, who thinks Strike doesn't understand Dota. So, yeah.
I think part of the thing for XCC in this particular game is, sure, you want to be able to prove that you are that good, but I think it mostly has to do with they need to be able to prove that they are consistent. Because, like Prophecy was mentioning, they keep falling apart versus WRG, right? And I think that's much worse for them overall for a team. To know that losing is one thing, right? But to know that there's one particular team that makes you look bad at Dota when you're actually not. So I think figuring out how to, even in a loss, look convincing, look strong, look like you're actually getting better. Because yesterday it felt like after the first loss, it was like, well, this is over. There's no way that they're going to come back from this. But I think getting to the point where even after you lose game 1, it doesn't feel like you've just lost the series. You know that game 1 loss doesn't really mean that much. You can still come back. You can still analyze your opponent, learn from your loss immediately afterwards and come back. Because I don't think XCC's actually won any series where they lose game 1. I think if XCC loses game 1, they always lose 2-0. But
did you think losing game 1 for Energy would be more catastrophic for them? Because they would feel more sad, right? I think if they won game 1, then they'll be super hyped and they'll carry the momentum. I think both teams, they're more momentum based, right?
Yeah, both teams are kind of like in that fashion, So I think actually it'll be interesting to see if both of them come up in that way, that if you lose game 1, so I don't think it's unlikely we see 2-1 today. I think both teams get super depressed.
I think if it does go 2-1, it's going to be a good couple of games.
Yeah.
But the likelihood is probably going to be a 2-0 to one of the teams.
I mean, how drastic does it have to be? I mean, I think I almost agree that if a team gets stumped in the first one, that they would just be like, okay, well, whatever, and just almost like roll out of
things like that have huge hits on morale. I mean, I've been on the receiving end of a stump, and no one wants to speak. Like, you're like, morale is super low, and no one's like, we can do it, guys. Everyone's just like, let's just get this over with. It's like, let's just get through
The problem is, I think the team more likely to stomp here is Energy, though. Like, if it's going to be a stomp, Energy is going to be doing the stomping. XTC doesn't really have that play style where they're just trying to run over you. They always seem like they beat you by grinding you out, and then beating you with big plays later on. So I think right now, if Energy has a good game 1, they're going to be on fire in game 2, and I think XC probably won't be able to live with it.
Do you think we'll see a step up from Adestam and Skynet today? I mean, Adestam stepped up kind of in the last game.
Skynet needs to
Skynet needs
step up his game.
Step up, I think.
I do think, though, that if Energy gets stomped, I think that's the one condition where we might see a 2-1. I think if they get stomped, they'll get super mad. They'll be like, whatever, screw these guys. Like, we can't let them beat us like this. And then they'll come back super hard. I think XCC is the type of team that if they lose a long, drawn-out grind, grindy game that really wears on their nerves, because now you know when you know sometimes you're in a game, right, and you know 20 minutes before the loss that you're going to lose, and I think that'll really wear on the energy type of players. Whereas XCC are comfortable playing like long drawn out games, like that's what the kind of order they play. So if they lose under those conditions, they'll be like, whatever, we knew what we were doing, we can still come back and do something else. But then if they get stomped, then XCC is going to be the ones just going super quiet in the team speak, not doing anything, and just being like, let's just get this over with.
Don't you think when we watched those games yesterday, I think Energy is like better at taking fights, like they're better at fighting. And if you watch some of XCC's fights, they choose the oddest fights, they go in at different times, they miss core spells. I don't know, it's crazy. It seems like Energy, their supports set up a lot of their fights, key fights, and Darren especially, he hits his spells. You know, not a flame to Scarnet, but I mean, Scarnet was not hitting spells at all.
Wasn't performing this weekend. And Skynet, like, I think the surprising thing is, for a long time, Skynet felt like the rock of the team. Like, felt like any time that XCC was actually getting any big engagements going, it came down to Skynet with incredible initiation. But this weekend,
and the thing is, Skynet's also their tempo controller. Like, you know, the thing is, White Rabbit Gaming uses a player like Castaway to do it for them, whereas XCC, they've put that position on the offlaner, and when he's not doing the work for you, like, okay, you have lots of damage heroes, and then Skynet's not providing anything.
So let's talk a little bit about those heroes. So we have, I mean, obviously there's quite a competitive sort of nature of Dota, in the sense that we have some like really high-profile heroes at the moment, and then it becomes more flexible after you get past the first couple of picks. The thing that stands out to me, of course, is the likes of the SF Clockwork combination at this point. Knowing these players, what do you think the highly contested heroes are going to be?
SF, Clockwork,
Legion.
Ricky, I think. Ricky's been so popular, and surprisingly, I mean, it's been working out for a lot of these teams, right? Except for the Mikasa game. I think that was the only Ricky we saw that really got shut down. But that was more so that Energy were playing well. You know, the Knicks were shutting him down.
I think possibly we'll see
Legion
Warlock
Commander,
as well. LC, yeah, definitely LC. Warlock's going to be highly contested.
Trent definitely bad.
That's not even a hero. It's just like maybe Jakiro. I have a feeling like both teams, that this is the type of contest between the teams, right, that you kind of need to be able to take objectives off the fights. And I think one of the weaknesses of both of their drafts coming up to this point is that neither of them have really looked strong at taking objectives after winning team fights. So I think they probably know that, and they probably know you can't go up against WRG in the final not having objective-taking ability. So having a hero like Jakiro helps in the laning phase as well as taking towers like very quickly in the early game.
Have you noticed with the Jakiro, I mean, in the early parts of the tournament, people were picking it. Now the later parts, no one's picking it.
Touching
like, I think people are just like, nope, I'm not doing this anymore. We're not winning games with it. I think people are just, they feel like they're uncomfortable in there. They don't understand what it's meant to do. So then they're just going back to comfort picks. That's why we're seeing more Ricky and stuff like that. So I think Rasta's as well coming out.
But remember the game where Dota and Daiso played Jakiro? That was, I think, besides yesterday, probably their best game, like that XCC's played. Like they just destroyed that game with Jakiro. So I don't know why they haven't picked it again. It looked so strong with them.
I don't know. It's a weird one. Like, the problem is for me with Jakiro is that he kind of emphasizes that, you know, he kind of speeds up the game because you usually want to use him to kind of push and set up fights. And XCC doesn't look like that kind of team when they're playing, especially White Rabbit Gaming. They play this very, very passive stuff. And I don't know, I'm not a big fan of that against White Rabbit. White Rabbit learned last year that you need to get aggressive. If you get up in someone's face, they're very likely to crumble. And right now, it doesn't seem as though XCC knows what they're doing against that style of play.
Yeah. And they might struggle a bit against Energy. Like, I was thinking about the games last night, right? That game, which game was it where Chidawi played Nyx Assassin? Was it game 1 versus XCC? Yeah.
I think so. It was game 1.
Didn't that game actually feel like an Energy game? Like, if I blinded the teams, right, and took away all the team names, and I just said, look at this game, look at how hard they're stomping.
That was Invoker mid, though.
Yeah. With the Invoker, besides Invoker, because Cosplay Invoker is pretty unique, but just the way that they were moving around the map, it felt a lot like an Energy game when Energy's on form.
Yeah.
Like, so I think if they can bring that kind of style, it can be very beneficial. So I think WRG probably learns as well, because normally I'm not used to Chidawi being a player that doesn't actually farm. That just walks around trying to control the map. Normally he's trying to get something from himself, but that game he was very selfless, and that's something that's quite rare there to see out of Chidawi. But if it was Energy, it would be like, oh, okay, this is just
Do you think
how it
was
happens.
more XC actually like finding a way in their draft to actually limit the strength of WRG's dual lanes? You saw, I don't think Chidawi actually had a good time in both those games. He was very basically like a non-feature, I would say. Like, I mean, he did work, like he did what he could, but I mean, he wasn't like just running rampant, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what some Energy can learn from those games. Try and figure out how they did that, what bans they did, and
So let's move that on then to the sort of key player matchups, if you want. I mean, we're talking a little bit about Chidawi and whatnot, but let's bring this back to where with our current team. Let's talk about who in these matches do you think could have the sort of upper hand, or give their team the upper hand by outperforming their significant other?
Well, Dreamy and Addiston. I think Dreamy is probably I've not been so sold on his career in the past. I feel like it's up and down. He's obviously new to the role. I think it'll take him some time to actually be one of the greats at it. But I feel like this tournament,
Yeah, he's
I've
been the
watched
best
him
carrier.
play. I feel like I've been watching him. He outperformed Walp in a lot of games. Walp was
Yeah.
not, except for the Razor game, Walp went completely ham.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like he's been playing really well. And obviously his team's been supporting him to play well, right? It's not just him. But I feel like he's been playing better than Adestam. I think that matchup favors him.
Yeah, he's been more stable than Adestam has. Adam's been very, very up and down. Like sometimes he'll have a good game. Like his Juggernaut again was decent, and then
And
the
then he did
second
some
half of the
crazy
game you
things.
were just like, what is going on, guys? Because it was bad.
Right, so I guess we're just about going to our draft as well. Let's make those final predictions, lads.
I'm going to go 2-0 energy.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna also go 2-0 energy. I just think that Ecstasy, that second half of last night's second game, I just don't think it's going to do. It's going to stick in their minds, and they're going to probably overthink. And
If energy play like they did yesterday, 2-0 energy.
If energy win game 1, 2-1 energy, no 2-0 energy. If they lose 2-1 ecstasy.
Right, so you guys are not committing very much, but fine,
I
whatever.
just like-
But let's
Who
get
knows
to the
what energy
draft,
I'm going
right?
to get?
Yeah, well,
It's a gamble.
flip a coin, right? So for those of you just tuning in and those tuning in game, welcome. This is XTC Gaming versus NG Esports here at the Mega8 Winter Cup lower bracket finals. And yeah, we expect a tree ban.
Yeah, I don't know why they. I think the only thing that XCC has to decide, they're trying to think, will energy ban it? So you're basically taking the gamble, like we can try ban something else. You hope energy ban tree, but then hopefully you can actually get tree if you're XCC side. Like the team that has second pick, I think is under more pressure to ban the tree. I don't think you have to if you're first pick. So
But we've actually seen it banned first up quite often.
Rust.
So
Rust.
I'm wondering if you actually how comfortable they're going to be if they actually end up getting the tree. Because how much can they possibly play this hero if
It's not
it's
hard to
never
play.
picked up?
Have we even seen energy pick roster? I don't think we've seen them pick it once.
No, they go like if they get first pick, they almost
Get like
always
Warlock.
go with Warlock.
Warlock,
Yeah.
yeah.
If Warlock's available, obviously.
Yeah,
I mean,
but-
and they like that just seems weird. Their lane sports have been like CM, Warlock. What else does Strike play? I've only actually seen him play those two.
Yeah, CM,
Like,
Warlock,
there's
yeah.
mostly those two heroes there.
I think the idea that XCC banning Rasta, they're showing that they don't want to play against high tempo energy lineup. They don't want to. It's clear now. XCC, I think we'll see the second ban, but I think they want to play a long game. Probably see Adestam one of his old school Sven anti-maze type carries.
Have you noticed Chelsea's back to drafting? Chosen One was actually drafting recently. They swapped over to him, so now I guess he's swapped back. They just swapping.
Who was drafting yesterday?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure actually. I just assumed
No,
it was Chosen
Chelsea.
One.
No, it was Chelsea.
Was it
Oh, is
Chelsea? Okay.
Wonder why.
Oh, that-
Maybe they were losing. They were doing quite badly in scrims and stuff. So maybe they thought Chosen One was the reason. Could
Well,
be.
Chelsea's
Maybe
been
he's-
drafting well,
Yeah.
playing better. but
Chosen One's as bad
drafting-
as drafting as he is at Rust.
Yeah. Chelsea's actually been remarkably consistent this tournament.
Yeah.
Actually,
He's been the best off
I'd
laner.
say
hasn't he?
even beyond that, he's just of late in general been a very, very solid player.
Proper
And it's
brand.
kind of weird for him, right? I mean, I'm not sure if you guys would agree with me, but Luck has always kind of been the unreliable
There
guy.
we go. Coddle has not gotten through, for anyone except for the WRG game, I think.
Yeah,
The one
this is the- this is
WRG.
the first game that Cottle got through. Yeah.
No, second game.
So, yeah.
Energy
And
getting the Knicks
Knicks.
that Chelsea did huge
Yeah,
work on
he did a
yesterday.
lot of work on that.
And also one here is that is good against the Kotl. I mean, we don't talk about that very often
yeah.
because Kotl isn't exactly like, until recently at least, hasn't exactly been this like super high profile pick.
Well, it has. It's for a while, hasn't it? It's been
Yeah,
a-
for a while, just
for a long
everyone just
time.
keeps banning it though.
Yeah,
like-
it's super annoying. It's like the most annoying. SA teams value it super highly. I think more so than the international scene because I don't know. Every team I'm speaking to, there's like Coddle's the most annoying hero on earth. Just the Mana League and the
Minor League,
Blast.
great vision.
Yeah.
Like now you might have to go up against Cottle LC in the lane. It's going to be super terrible for energy.
I think they got a comfort picker. Warlock. I guess they had
Yeah.
to trade Legion and. I guess
I'm not
that's
sure
the
that's worth
cost of the Night Stalker, right? They
Yeah.
banned Night Stalker. I'm not sure why, but
No, I mean, the thing is, if Energy was that confident in Chelsea's Legion, they would have taken Legion for him because he's pretty damn good on it.
Yeah.
So they obviously feel that the Knicks is doing more work here than the Legion was. So they obviously don't mind giving up the Legion because knowing if I'm not getting Knicks, they're getting Legion.
Yeah.
So
That
they obviously have a plan for it, or they have some method of knowing what they're
or
going to
just
do.
Chelsea thinks today is
Maybe
better
they're
at
going for
Knicks.
this Sven
Maybe.
and they're hoping that there'll be
Maybe.
the cleave of justice again.
Banning DP there. They don't want any of that safe lane
No
DP.
DP,
No
yeah.
safe lane DP.
Can I just say, by the way, I think this might be like just based on like hero values, right? That this might be the strongest sort of hero value first four that we've seen in this
Oh,
tournament.
minus Knicks. So the pro team picks Knicks, but not so much an SA first pick. But yeah, I don't know if it's a first pick hero.
I think it is a first pick hero if you have a first pick next player on your team. Like I think if you can actually utilize this hero, then it actually feels super broken sometimes. But
And
other
Chelsea
games,
is that player, you think?
he plays
played
really
well.
well.
I hope he does it
really
again.
well yesterday. So we'll see. Also, I think that they probably were comfortable giving away LC because they have Warlock. So most of the time, LC would have to jump in to initiate. So you just have to wait, and then XCC pretty much need to follow up on Legion's Commander's initiation.
Banning the Nakes there. They don't want any of that Legion bomb. That's pretty good combo actually.
Maybe
it's pretty
they're
good against
scared.
Nyx as well. Actually,
Yeah.
the rage you can actually hit him out of lane, leave him 1v1.
Maybe they're also scared of like a Ricky coming up from XCC, and then you have well, Cuddle. I don't think they'll go Cuddle Ricky, but they're scared of like being roamed on. I think that's really scary this tournament. Like these Nyx assassin, like these life stealers just running at you,
Banned
like
Ricky,
jumping out of
yeah.
anything. Oh, they banned Ricky.
Because they
XCC.
did something similar. They did Nyx, Ricky, and then plus one, right? And they were just running around trying to kill people.
Yeah,
That
that's-
Nyx, obviously,
Yeah,
but
that was the game that made me think exactly of the WRG game. Because I was like, wait, haven't I seen this before? Looked like an awful game to lose.
what do you think they're gonna pick here? They're gonna pick the carry now.
Maybe second support on energy.
Well, is this even potentially a four position Nyx? Because just thinking, if you're planning going up against a Kotl, not the worst hero to do that with.
I don't
problem
think I've ever
is-
seen Podikins play, but I haven't seen him play Ricky either. So
Yeah.
and he surprised me with that. So maybe.
How do we feel about Warlock and Nyx as a support duo, though?
I don't like because
Feels
I feel like
awkward.
Chelsea did so well in the Knicks. Why
Yeah.
even do it? Why try something new when you know you can play it? Like it's fine. Pick something
Yeah.
more comfortable for Podikins.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Like, if you're going to pick up the Nyx, or if you're going to pick up the Nyx as a support, then you're not going to leave the Legion Commander available to XCC at that point.
Yeah, I
Because
think
Chelsea
that's true.
is so good on the Legion anyway, then you might as well just open Nyx Legion type thing. Maybe you give up Warlock Keeper, but that's a terrible roaming combo, so maybe you're willing to deal.
And we haven't really seen Skynet play Nyx Assassin. Doesn't seem like his kind of hero.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to suit his playstyle. So I think if they were going to do that, they could have just left it,
Yeah.
picked up the LC,
Jug,
Jug,
yeah.
Jug.
Yes, they picked
Pretty
up.
safe laner.
The
Yeah,
carry.
it's just removing the high tempo carry that Adestam plays.
I would say like when I say Dreamy has like a small hero pool, like okay, small hero pool, like he plays certain heroes much better in the race. It would be like Nyx, Jug. What else? There's like I think those actually, and then Weaver, but Weaver's not so much a pick
Yeah.
anymore. I'd say those two, and he plays Avenge. Pretty okay in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
So like I feel like Jug is like it's one of his better heroes for sure.
Yeah,
So I like that.
I think it's also a bit of a deny pick because the Juggernaut is like one of the heroes that Adestam tends
It's
to
the
be
only
more
hero he's
active on.
done well with this tournament.
Yeah, and he's active on it. Like he's gonna get involved early. So you just want to like put him on something that's like more slow paced, and then just leave him there because
Also,
you
you
can work
can-
on Depi.
You can, when you have this hero, you can just leave it in the lane versus the LC. Like in the 1v1, it's not one of those safe lanes that just dies. As long as he has like level 3, he's pretty much fine. Drop the healing ward. Doesn't have to struggle too much. I mean, Warlock will be there to back him up, but I think Energy do better when they don't have like very static lanes, when you have ability to move around.
Do you think they might pick up a Troll here on XTC side?
I mean,
It's quite
Troll's
nice
great,
for
but
Troll
it's
or
been
Ursa,
losing
I
the whole
think.
weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, Troll or
Troll
Ursa
has
is
been
the only
losing
real
weekend.
things that I can see XCC picking up here.
And I don't understand why. Like the hero's so great, but everyone loses with
And
it.
that's such a high win rate. I think just before I came here to this tournament, I was looking at some stats, and it was like over 30 games showed like 70% win rate or something in like the last week, and I was like, that's insane.
This is
Actually,
crazy.
like how is that a thing?
And then-
After the nerf to his Agi, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then every
crazy.
game we saw this weekend at last, it was
Yeah.
really funny to see.
I feel like that's more on SA teams. I'm not gonna, like it can't be the pick.
Yeah.
Jakiro. Okay, let me see.
Jack, yeah.
I think why they picked it, they have a good setup, right?
Yeah.
The Legion, they
Yeah.
have the combo. Yeah, I think like it's not that good without a
Energy's
combo. and-
Tusk. This
yeah.
is the.
Tusk.
Did Energy pick up Tusk earlier, or was it White Rabbit only?
WRG.
White Rabbit's the only time,
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
the only
team
other
that
So
picked
maybe
it.
Energy feels that that's.
Podikins zero. There we go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a
definitely.
Podikins zero.
Prove me wrong, Podikins. Have a
Maybe
big
maybe
hero
they've
pool.
seen something that they can steal from Santo there on White Rabbit Gaming.
Also,
'cause-
this is counter to LC. You jump
Yeah.
in
Oh,
immediately
that's
after the
also
2.
true,
yeah,
yeah.
XCC
Yeah,
gets the
it's super
TA
annoying.
for
I feel like
Depi.
Sigil's actually pretty good in tier.
Yeah, it is.
I like it. Like,
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
rough.
and the duel, right?
They have a very static team fight heroes. The keeper's going to basically be standing still. Legion is going to jump deal someone, and then Jakiro, I mean, that thing's so slow, it doesn't really do anything once it's casted spells. So they have a very static team. If Tusk can get off a good shards, he can really wreck their positioning on the fights.
That's a great Ursa ban on the side of Energy. That Ursa would have probably... They need a hero that
That's
can
probably
actually...
really good against
I
Tusk.
was going to say,
Yeah.
didn't they also like almost need to secure that Ursa for Adestam? I mean, it feels like we're going quite deep into his hero pool now.
Yeah, now there's like...
Well, there's Sven available,
There's
isn't
Sven.
there?
But you want to play Sven versus Jug?
I don't really want to.
Like-
I don't know, it's actually good
It's
against
actually good,
Jug.
yeah,
what I'm
other way
saying.
around, yeah, what am I saying? Yeah.
You wouldn't want to play against Tuskar, but... you
No,
know,
against Tuskar, he's
there's
gonna
like,
get
it feels like any melee carrier that Tuskar's going to be good against with his
Yeah.
Sigil, assuming he starts to put a lot of points in Sigil.
I think we might see any surprises, maybe some sort of, I don't know, like a range core come out here, or do you think they just go to that sort of more comfortable pick here?
Troll, man, would be so great. He's probably going to pick Venge or something, but Troll would be so nice.
I feel like Troll's a good picker. I
Yeah.
actually like Troll way
Troll
more
is
than
so-
Sven.
I can't think of actually a hero that's better in the safe lane, like just easy hero that Adestam can play, that he's comfortable with as well, better than Troll.
Also, in
this
theory,
particular draw.
Troll and TA sound pretty terrifying.
Just like, yeah, they just need to, imagine TA
this is
hitting with
true.
max speed, right?
And doing
Legion.
duel.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Slog.
Slog.
I'm actually fine with Slug. Like, I'm okay with Slug. Slug's one of those few heroes that I like seeing it versus Jug because it's hard for Jug to solo kill the Slug.
I just
Slog
want
is
to
good
see what
against
Energy gets for their mid laner. That'll tell me whether Slog's going to be a good pick here.
I don't like Slark against Warlock and
Yeah, okay, Warlock's
Tusk.
next,
Like,
and Tusk
I
kind
don't
of
really like it. Like, but we'll
It's-
see. Like, if he gets fat, maybe, like, you know, he could do a lot
Yeah,
of work
it's
against Jug.
going to take a while.
Yeah.
That's my only
It's not a
concern.
good matchup for Jug, I would say. Like 1v1 in the late game, if they're like brawling each other, I feel like Jug's gonna lose.
Yeah.
But like yeah, it's like hopefully in team fights, I don't think Slark should do that well. You know?
XCC doesn't have great team fight. They have really great pick-up potential and like moving around the map and ganking a lot, but actual
It's like
straight
okay, right?
5v5.
It's like it depends how the fight. Like if Warlock gets a fat ulti,
Yeah.
they might bronze. But if they get a nice duel and then Jakira gets a nice frostpath ulti, it could also break
Like
the lines of energy.
It's basically whoever starts the fight. Like
Yeah,
if
whoever
they're
get-
taking
yeah,
if they're
starts
taking the
fight
fight
better.
on their terms, I think XTC has a much better team fight. But if they're getting
They have
like,
good spells. Both teams have very good spells.
yeah, but if XTC gets jumped, like they're going to get run over in fights. I think.
Also, Nyx, guys, like normally I would not say Nyx is great versus Slog, but I learned from that WRG game. Wait, who was it WRG? Where Arcane was playing Slog
I think
against...
Slark against
who was
it
playing
Sven?
the Nyx?
Sven, yeah.
Yeah.
So Nyx was the next game, right?
Yeah, it was the next game, yeah.
Chelsea.
Yeah.
That's Chelsea, yeah.
Quap. All right.
Quap.
Yeah.
I think that's okay.
I like
It's good against Slark, right?
Yeah.
Before pre-BKB. Like,
Gonna
I
have
think
a-
it's okay.
It's
Decent
going to have a
against
bit of a tough time in the lane, though.
I feel like Slark's gonna have a hard time, like in these fights. If they brawl 5-5 early, I think Slark's gonna get wrecked.
Right, well, let's see if our friends on the casting desk agree. Of course, today we will be starting things off with Reddit and Scarpy. Hello, friends. What do you think of the draft?
Hi, Albert. Whether we agree with you guys or not, I mean, normally we don't, but in this case, it's going to be a very interesting matchup. I think probably one of the more exciting matchups of this tournament, in my opinion. Scoppy, what do you think?
Yeah.
XCC, Energy?
I'm definitely going to go with Ecstasy here, but I think, like they said, Slark's going to have a tough time in these team fights, so he's going to have to really position himself well.
Right, well, let's see if that is the case. Gentlemen, have a good one. Take it away.
Thanks so much. Well, I also just want to give a big shout out to the glorious beard that Albert has today. It's looking extremely fabulous. But taking the two drafts quickly into account here, I actually like that Slark pick. It's not... He can be countered. There's the Nyx there that can trap him, even though he goes into his ultimate form. He tries to shadow dance away. There's a lot of lockdown and hold down for the Slark. But if the engage happens and it's not on the Slark's going to have a field day. Slark is literally one of those, how can I say, he's like a small terrier. He's like a Yorkshire Terrier or even a Chihuahua. That will be biting at your heels the whole time, nipping at you from all sides during a fight if you do not go on him first.
I agree. I think the Slark still, he's got a lot of work set out for him because he's going to have to deal with the Queen of Pain, who's got just high burst damage, and one of Slark's weaknesses is his HP pool is pretty low, especially early into the mid game. You don't really build stats items. You want to get a Shadow Blade up. The only real stat items you go for is sort of Ring of Aquila or something of that sort. So he's going to have a tough time early. When it gets later on into the game, yes, Slark can really start to utilize the chaos in these team fights to sort of pick individuals off. But I think one of the interesting picks here for me is that Tuskar. Like they said on the desk,
Yeah,
very good up
definitely.
against the Legion Commander. It's also going to be pretty decent up against the Slark. If someone gets dove upon, if the Tusk gets a good timing on a Blink Dagger or something like that, it could be very, very problematic to deal with for the side of Ecstasy.
Well, here's an interesting question for you. If Slark blink or leaps onto the Queen of Pain, can the Queen of Pain blink away?
Yes, if I'm not mistaken.
So it doesn't latch the Queen of Pain,
Yeah.
because otherwise that could actually be good. But it forces the Queen of Pain to also get out of position if the Slark does jump on her. I think this entire fight is going to be who gets to jump on who.
Yeah, well, I suppose that's often the situation. I think we must just always keep in mind that they have a Legion, they have a Temple Assassin. TA can probably get an early Blink Dagger and have that sort of form of initiation.
But Tia's going to have a tough time in lane up against this Quap.
Yeah, I mean, it's not too bad. Yes, I mean, Queen of Pain's Dagger does sort of eat through the refractions, but that's only going to be the defensive refractions. He's still going to have that pretty high damage output, securing himself last hits. And if he just can bring himself regen in, it might be a little bit costly for him. But as long as the jungle gets stacked up, Temple Assassin more often than not is able to come back, even if the lane's a little bit shaky.
Well, let's have a look here quickly at the lineup. A lot of the guys were saying 2-0 to Energy. I think you predicted 2-0 to XTC. And I'm going to predict a 2-1 either way. I'm actually
Either
gonna.
way,
I'm going to be
wow.
that guy.
No, you can't.
No,
I'm right 100% of the time. Kind of answer. That's the worst.
Okay, no, I actually do think that this is going to be a 2-1 in XTC's favor. I do think that they have what it takes to actually defeat Energy.
Yeah.
Energy's been looking quite shaky this tournament so far, playing well, not playing well, and just because of that alone, I'm literally going to give it to XTC.
At the same time, XTC also didn't look great early on into this tournament. Yes, they can maybe translate that into just having a shaky start, but they looked good yesterday. So
They looked really
that's
good
that's
yesterday.
why I feel like XTC should be taking this. But I do agree with, I think Donnie said this, whoever's going to take game 1 is going to take game 2. It's sort of, I
And
don't see a
I don't
chance.
agree with that either. I'm, once again going to. The thing is, Energy might actually be having PSL as a stand-in coming in for game number 2. So if Energy wins game 1, they will have a stand-in, not a sub, but a stand-in during game 2, and that could be XTC's time to actually come back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's all going to all come to fruition either sooner or later. But, I mean, of course, we both wanted to go to game 3, for sure.
And I honestly think this is the game or the matchup that can go to
Yeah.
3 games.
Yeah, for sure. And we must also keep in mind that Energy's had sort of a shaky tournament. They got dropped down to the lower brackets really early by XD. They had to work their way really hard to get to where they are now. And so it could go either way for them. It's just going to be what sort of mentality they come into this game and what kind of mental fortitude they have.
Definitely. So looking at the dual lane top is Doom Bunny and Adestam up against Chelsea. And so it's a 2 versus 1, and the bottom lane, though, is a 3 versus 2. I actually do like this coming out from XTC, putting a little bit of pressure onto Dreamy. They do have the Keeper of the Light, which is a staple Energy hero.
Yeah, this dual lane is pretty strong. The Keeper of the Light plus the Legion. Of course, you give the mana over to the Legion, gets a really low cooldown and overwhelming odds. A very, very powerful ability very early on into the laning stages, can really cause chaos, especially in a tri-lane. It's one of those abilities that are very effective the more people there are in the lane.
And with the Keeper of the Light constantly blasting out the waves there with the Illuminate, it does actually allow Skarner to get a couple of creeps up.
Oh.
But Skarner's being engaged upon now. Will it be enough actually to get the kill? Dreamy wants to go in, but the body blocks coming in from Dota and I. He says, you will not kill Skarnet today.
Yeah, that was really nice from Dota and I. Gets himself in a good position there. Gets the block off. There was a shot at killing Skarnet, but he's not a very easy kill by any means. He's pretty tanky. So he's got 4 armor as well, and they're mostly looking to right-click him down, if anything. The spin, I mean, that was just a good play, I suppose, from Dota and I to make sure that he could avoid that bit of magic damage.
I mean, press the attack will nearly always be up with the Keeper of the Light whenever the Keeper of the Light is in lane as soon as the level 2 comes up, due to the Chakra Magic, which has just happened now. And this middle lane, I mean, it's 16-4 versus 13-2, so 17-4 now. So Chosen One getting the better of Adepi in this lane, which is to be expected.
Yeah, you did expect this. I still think Depi's not too concerned. Like I say, he can just fall back into the jungle, catch up
Well,
if
the
necessary.
Ancient specifically, it's a TA staple.
So I would like to see, we already see Doom Bunny stacking up the jungle for him, just the medium camp for now. So maybe Depi's saying, okay, listen, I'm having a bit of a tough time. Stack up a medium camp, I can do that pretty soon. And then I'll come back to lane with some sort of an advantage. And then stack up the Ancients as soon as possible.
Doom Bunny just coming in towards the middle lane, dewarding very quickly. And forcing Chosen One back a little bit. Quite passive early on. Around what time do you think we're going to see the explode happening?
I think they're looking for sort of peaks. I mean, Mr. Potikin's at level 2 now, but Warlock is not really a burst damage here, and neither is Juggernaut, so I don't expect too much to be happening in this lane. Like you said, there's press the attack constantly up. TA is going to be playing very passively, I imagine. I think the only potential kills is going to be on Nyx, but he's still pretty tanky. He's got high regen, high armor.
They
I
are
think it's
trying to
gonna be
engage onto
stagnant,
Skarnet right now. There's the snowball coming in. Are they actually going to be able to get this kill? This might be the first blood coming in. Skarnet using the press attack. He might actually get the kill onto Dreamy. Dreamy drops down, and that is the first kill up for XTC. Diving way too far is Energy.
Yeah, and that's exactly the point that we made. The press attack's always going to be on. That should not have happened. They should not have dove for that. And Skynet will be very happy with that outcome. I mean, that definitely should not have happened. The Juggernaut dying is the biggest tale there. I mean, Adestam may be making a very, very dire mistake. Sorry, I mean,
Dreamy.
What am I saying?
I know. We're like so used to seeing Adestam on the likes of Juggernaut, you know, those kinds of heroes. I was also thinking, yeah, Adestam dying first, not that great. I'm like, oh, wait, no, that's Dreamy. Completely not what we expected. Good start here for the side of XTC.
Yeah, very nice. Especially Dreamy, he's used to playing sort of aggressive in his tri lanes, so by all means. But Skynet, they're going to try and go on him again. Good shards on him this time.
Yeah, he's holding on to the press the attack and no spin being used. I mean, this time it was a lot close, well, like a lot further away from the tier 1 tower. The last time they went onto him, onto that tier 1 tower. So I'm quite surprised that they didn't actually try and go for that kill.
Yeah, and one of the things that we can say about press the attack is that Strike is going to have a tough time. Every time he casts a spell, press attack is just going to remove whatever is thrown onto Skynet. So, again, press attack is just too good for this lane. I don't imagine he will die unless he maybe overextends or overstays. He's a bit low now, but I mean...
Well, I mean, they like HP regen, giving you 30 HP regen over 5 seconds. That's 150 HP that you actually get over 5 seconds.
Yeah, all the Light has to do is just appear, give him a bit of mana, and lane's fine for him. He shouldn't have any problems. I think, again, Chelsea, he too is tanky enough to survive, but he's not going to find the kind of farm that Legion is. In fact, he's actually keeping up with CS right now, but the fact that Legion was part of a kill is going to give him a small advantage.
Definitely. Let's have a look here towards the top lane, though. Slark, he is sitting... Adestam's kind of comfortably leading the network chart, or the last hits chart, with 38 and 14. That is Queen of Pain with 36 and 18, and then quite a bit behind that, 27 and 7 for the Templar Assassin in the mid lane. So mid lane, 36 and 18 versus 31 and 7 now. Queen of Pain, I mean, out-leveling and out-CSing the counterpart, but we do see a couple of stacks up in the jungle. No, we don't. Where were those stacks?
I think the stack actually didn't go through. I think they're going to say, Dep, just stack for yourself, because we need to sort of keep these dual lanes up.
But no ancient stacks coming off just yet. Normally you try and get those ancient stacks up as soon as possible.
Oh,
let's have a look here. Deppy might be in a lot of trouble. The roll is there. The snowball is coming through. And are they going to actually be able to get the kill? Trapping him in perfectly. Deppy's in a lot of trouble. They did actually pop down a sentry ward. But he has, oh, there you go. Chosen One coming through with the Scream of Pain and the Sonic Wave. No Scream of Pain, just a Sonic Wave.
Sonic Wave,
Excuse me.
So
I was busy screaming and I was thinking, this is perfect. But it was a Sonic Wave, and very unfortunate there. I mean, he had to blow it out quite early. Templar Assassin did have an invis run.
Yeah. And he was just about to get out of... I think he was actually out of vision.
He was already out of vision, so yeah.
He had to just go for it. And by all means, that's worth it. I mean, it's not too terrible of a cooldown. You're only going to use it to try and find a kill too. So not the end of the world. I mean... In fact, it's great for him, finding a kill on Deppy in the mid lane. And like you say, no stacks in the jungle yet for him. So this is maybe not looking so great for Deppy currently.
I mean, he's currently sitting on 2,300 net worth versus 3,000. So roughly around 700 behind. They seriously need to get the ancient stacks up for him on both ends of the map. Their off-lane ancient stacks as well as their safe-lane ancient stacks, because he's going to need it.
Yeah,
and it's 7 minutes in and there is not a single ancient stack up yet.
I think Deppy's going to take it into his own hands. As we can see, he just farms the jungle camp, then he goes and should stack for himself, I imagine. But okay, never mind.
I mean, this, in my opinion, is quite a big waste. He was ready for that stack. And Mr. Pottykin's coming through. Oh, he does not have a ward, but he was also thinking that stack was going to happen, trying to block it off. And now Doom Bunny, I mean, Mr. Pottykins can't really do anything here. He is up on a shrine. So, oh wait, Chelsea's there. Chosen One's also coming through and dead.
There we go. So 2 kills going the way of Energy in quite short succession, and C1 being involved in both of them. So that's really nice for him, considering he had a good lane. He's in pretty good spot, and the only thing that's maybe not going well for them is the fact that Slark is farming pretty well, and the Juggernaut died once.
Yep.
But other than that, the Queen of Pain can just take over mid game.
Adestam is one of those heroes where he can really get explosive.
Yeah.
And if you leave him alone like this, he's gonna, you know, it's sort of that whole expression where you give someone the, you know, the hand and they take the entire arm.
Yeah.
That is going to be Adestam. But Deppy might be in a bit of trouble right now. Is Chosen One gonna decide to dive him? Nope. They back off.
Yeah.
It's going back to a very passive one, but still around 1,000 net worth advantage for the side of XTC. We're not, well, we're actually quite used to this, to see XTC leading the charge with Adestam actually charging forward.
Yeah, a little bit of a mistake made here by Dreamy, but then he's healing ward and instantly gets killed by Dota and Dine. Nice packet of gold for him. But one of the things is that this lane is an absolute nuisance for Dreamy. Dreamy is going to struggle to sort of farm because of the keeper of the light constantly throwing the blast out. Yes, they have decent sustain with both his healing ward as well as the warlock, but it's becoming a little bit of a nuisance. But this is one of the things I want to see as soon as Vendetta's up again. Maybe Chelsea make a movement down that side.
Scarnet might be in a bit of trouble right now. Dream is coming in. The snowball is there as well. They want to go into Scarnet. Scarnet does have press the attack. He's trying to run around, and now he's trying to counter and at least get a counter kill himself. But Scarnet is in a lot of trouble. He's still busy healing up. It's not going to help.
Yeah. So that was a good rotation. Okay, there we go. They shut him down. They didn't need the rotation from the Nyx. Nyx lost his tower, so he has quite a lot of space to farm here, and shouldn't be under too much pressure, seeing that he has both Vendetta as well as Spy Carapace to escape.
Yep.
So giving him a bit of space to farm, that's great for the Nyx, who's doing pretty well. I mean, he's got mana boost up. He's probably going to look for Hand of Midas from here.
Dota and I trying to get that sneaky double stack off, and unfortunately missing the timing on the one, as in the double stack.
Okay,
But
yeah.
he managed to get the one off, not the next one. Let's have a quick look here. Ancient, still not stacked up, but 10 minutes in for the Templar Assassin. So Templar Assassin is going to be struggling a bit to actually come back from this, just farming up standard Ancients at this point. But Templar Assassin does have a couple of stacks, or at least one stack up here. But Chelsea, he is scouting out Dota and Die. Dota and Die might be in a bit of trouble. If Depi was not there, I think Chelsea would have gone for this kill.
Yeah, but he's getting XP from this actually. He actually leveled up from stealing those camps, so he'll be happy with that. Gets extra points by Carapace, and now Depi does have a DD, but they could look to make a play on him here.
Yeah, Chelsea actually gets within range, gets the hit off, and there's the ice pot. Now they want to try and delay this up as much as possible. Is any extra supports coming in? No, Joe the one jumps in towards the back line, gets an insane ultimate off, and they once again pop up this Templar Assassin. Templar Assassin currently sitting below the Juggernaut at this point.
Yeah, still a bit of space for Adestam, but I mean, this is not good at all. The Templar Assassin, you want to have a good start for that hero, and he's going to have a tough time catching up, like you said. No stacks in the jungle, really, for him. I think they should be looking to stack, but they've been so invasive, the opposing team, that they'll be able to scout these stacks out and either compete for them or clear them up themselves.
Yep, look at this ward towards the top shrine here for the side of energy that they've already put down to scout out if there's any stacks going to happen. But that's why you need to try and stack up as early as possible, even if your TA is having a good game. You need to get a couple of stacks off, and then you need to go and farm them. Before 10 minutes, you should have farmed at least 2 or 3 stacks.
Yeah, and
Ancient stacks.
yeah, so another thing that we should definitely bring up is the fact that Legion Commander versus Nyx Assassin as 2 off-laners. Nyx Assassin can just get involved a lot earlier than that of a Legion Commander. He wants to sort of find a
Very
Blink
true.
Dagger or something like that. Whereas the Nyx, he gets Vendetta, and look here, he's scouting out Skynet now himself. So it's just the Nyx gets ultra involved, and that creates a lot of space for his team as well as securing them a couple of kills. And he's getting so much information here.
He
gonna
just
scout
scouted out
Bunny.
4 heroes.
Yeah. And a career that he could have potentially sniped if he was just positioned in the right place.
Well, Scarnet wants to go in. They do manage to get the duel onto the Juggernaut. Will they be able to get the kill? That's going to be the first winner chicken dinner. Now they're turning around onto Mr. Pottykins. Mr. Pottykins might be in a bit of trouble. Gets the War Rust punch off, but it's not going to be enough. Adesam wants to turn around, and they're trying to kill the slow that's coming to him. Mr. Pottykins still alive, and he deep TPs in the ice path, narrowly missing, and there's the TP in from Dota and Die. Dota and Die does not have mana leak, so they're still trying to get the kill here. The snowball, he's just creating so much space, and the neutral creep gets the K, gets the kill, and towards the backline, Queen of Pain managing to once again get a kill onto Depi.
Oh man, Mr. Pottykins, that was really nice by him. Adestam trying to find the kill into Chelsea, but Chelsea just gets Vendetta up in a great time, and might even look to see if he can catch a support off guard here, but must be careful as Adestam is in the vicinity.
Oh, yeah, Scarnet just had enough HP there to survive a combo coming up from the Nyx. But once again, I mean, Keeper of the Light sitting on level 5, he does not have a points up in Mana Leak, which is quite problematic considering that the enemy is going to be jumping at you the whole time. If he had Mana Leak there, they would have been able to get the kill up early. No space created, so to speak, and also they would have been able to get the kill.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very good point. I feel like Ecstasy are in a tough position here. I feel like Energy's got all the answers to whatever they usually do. And, I mean, Adestam, yes, he's managed to find decent farm on his hero, but it's not enough yet. Like we said, he's pretty squishy. He's got his trades now eventually, so he's got a little bit extra stats, but still needs to be very careful. And
Adestam's coming in here with his Shadow Blade. Are we going to see any kind of engagement? Adestam wants to actually go in, but he decides, no, he's just going to farm up now with Scarnet. Now, are we going to see the rock being dropped? The rock is dropped there onto 2 heroes. Scarnet might be in a bit of trouble. Is the ultimate going to come through? There you go. Ultimate jumps through, but it gets him. Well, it hits onto Adestam, and Adestam's still alive. Adestam gets Wars punched up. He has to use his ultimate. They actually do manage to get a kill. The Queen of Pain ulti coming through, and it does not hit on anyone.
Wow. That was...
That actually went through the heroes on my screen. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it was... I think it was just off the mark. I think the animation maybe shows a little bit bigger than the thing. But wow, I can't believe that Adestam survived that one. So, I mean...
And they got a kill onto Dreamy.
Yeah, and now they're going to shrine up so they can actually look to re-engage it. Do they have potential smoke? No. So they're actually very greedy on Dota and Die. He's trying to get that Ags up as soon as possible by all means. But
Adestam busy hunting up here with his Shadow Blade. I mean, picking up a Shadow Blade, this is what you want as a Slark. You do not want to pick up a Shadow Blade and then not get involved, because it's a wasted item that you could have possibly just gone for a blink instead, to help you farm, to help you escalate your farm through the jungle. But picking up a Shadow Blade this early on and being this active, this is exactly what a Slark should be doing, and we might just see them going on to Dreamy once again onto the middle lane. No pounce is actually used there. Adestam just busy scouting everything out.
Yeah, he'll know Strike's in the area now. He'll want to get himself an out. As that's... I mean, Queen of Pain finding another kill here onto the Legion Commander. And C1, he's just been involved in so many kills. He's been involved in 5 kills already out of the 6. And he's already looking to get the Lincoln Sphere up in decent time. He's already got a Veil of Discord. He's significantly ahead of the rest of the heroes.
Adestam trying to get the stack off, but guess what? He stayed a little bit too early, and the Ancient actually going in for that Desecrate, that Stomp coming through. And then, of course, losing aggro straight after that, so missing up the stacks. Quite a difficult camp to stack if you're a melee hero.
Yeah, it's happened to me. It's very frustrating. You have to sort of go into the aggro zone and then run away. You can't really hit them. That's something that you got to be careful of. So, yeah, these Ancient Prowlers are absolute nuisance to stack.
They, however, did manage to scout out a ward there because, of course, the Slark... oh, wait.
They
there you go. Are they actually going to be able to get anything? The Ice Pulse misses narrowly. Adestam still wants to go in. Ultimate Mr. Puddykins. Mr. Puddykins is going to drop here. But is it going to be Doom Bunny or Adestam that gets a kill? It will be Doom Bunny.
That was so patient from Doom Bunny. He saw him the whole time. It was underneath the sentry, and just waited and waited until someone came in with dust so that they make sure that he can secure that kill. So really nice. Once again, Adestam being involved. He's sort of keeping up with the Queen of Pain in a sense, but still 900 difference. It is a little bit of a margin to close.
Yep. Scarnet, Chelsea will not be scouted out right now. But Chelsea's just giving so much information to everyone, and we are going to see a wraparound here. Queen of Pain's coming in. Is this going to be a kill onto Scarnet? There's the hit. They are jumping in onto Scarnet, and Scarnet just gets demolished here. This Queen of Pain is actually doing such a good job. Building up towards the Lincolns, already has a Veil of Discord up. Veil of Discord, of course, giving 25% increased magical damage if it's cast on you.
Yeah.
And the Lincoln Sphere will be coming up in around 1,000 gold. Lincoln Sphere, of course, what it does is it blocks a targeted ability on you.
Yeah.
So no duels.
And it's, definitely just for the duels. And I think the person that's making the biggest plays here is definitely Chelsea. He's scouting out, he's getting so much information. Every time he decides to go on someone's been successful. If not, he's using the Invis for scouting purposes. And he's still managing to find really good farms. So I think Chelsea is definitely one of the key players for the side of Energy in their early success here.
However, it's still the net worth difference between the two teams still sitting on under 1,000, but this time around 500 favoring Energy. This is still anyone's game. The Slark and Templar Assassin, look at Templar Assassin, actually still ahead of the Juggernaut. She was behind for a bit, but actually coming up, moving into the jungle, farming. She has her Desolator up now. This is a big pickup.
Yeah. So when you look at the net worth, you must keep in mind that the Keeper of the Light's been extremely greedy. He is only trying to find farm. So he doesn't... Him and the Legion don't really carry very big items, so they don't have really any sort of impact right now. Their
True.
spikers
However, I will counter that to say that he's halfway through to his Ags already.
No, for sure. Once the Ags is online, then that net worth difference is going to mean a lot more, because then he's going to all of a sudden have a good impact. Nice stack here by him, I think. Yeah, gets a double stack. Really nice. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you 100%. Once he gets that Aghanim stepped up, then it's going to be impactful. Right now, they're decently behind because there's no items on the Legion. He's still trying to get that blink dagger. He's close enough, but once he does have that, we'll
He is very
see what
close.
impact he has.
I think with that blink dagger as well as this desolator, that will be their go call or their go time to say we need to get an objective, either a tower or a couple of kills.
Yeah, but the biggest problem is he's going to have blink dagger up after the Queen of Pain has her Lincolns up, and I think it's flying out to him right now. So you just have no way of controlling C1, and they spoke about it on the panel. One of the biggest problems for Adestamp to deal with is that Queen of Pain, who's going to be dishing out such tremendous amounts of damage, and it's very difficult to sort of evade that.
Well, let's have a look here. Depi still farming up in the jungle, building up towards his blink dagger. Okay, so looking here for the side of XTC, it does not look that great just yet, especially if Keeper of the Light gets caught out right now towards this bottom lane. Durand, of course, scouts this out, and Chelsea. This is so sneaky.
Oh,
this is so sneaky. Extremely well played. Very, very well played by Chelsea. We're just looking at this. He's positioning himself perfect from that spike carapace into Vendetta Strike, into stun. And if this was anyone else, I think we would have seen that applause or that wow coming through.
No, they had they're all dead. I think you have them muted from the previous event. So
I probably do have them muted, yes.
yeah, so it's I mean, that was just perfect play. I mean,
yes, I do. Confirmed.
Confirmed. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Chelsea again, just stand-up performance right now. He's got Vendetta up again. They're going to 3-man smoke, see if they can catch anything up.
Well,
but
they're actually going to run straight into the Slug here. Slug actually scouts it out. Yeah, he is caught up in the dust. But still a wasted smoke, and that was a straight away. The smoke was just used.
Yeah. But at the same time, a lot of time wasted for ecstasy. They were also looking to go down there, but the smoke got used onto the Slug, so he had to back himself on out. So.
Legion Commander does have his blink dagger up, looking towards the TA. TA will have a blink dagger up in 2 minutes. 2 minutes, 200 gold. Keeper of the Light sitting around 1,000 gold away from his Aghanim Scepter, so I think they might just leave the Keeper of the Light alone in a lane and then try and move around. But Chelsea here does get scouted out. Oh! Legion Commander blinking to the low ground. Very, very, very uncharacteristic mistake there. You know it's nighttime. You can't blink towards the low ground because you don't have vision there.
Yeah, just maybe a little bit more patience from Skynet. It's sort of showing their sort of mentality right now. They're a bit panicked. They need to sort of catch up. They know they feel a little bit behind. Although it doesn't show in the net worth graphs, Skynet definitely is not where he'd like to be. He's got his blink now. He probably wanted a successful duel, but now they know he has a blink as well. That's also a very important thing.
I mean, this was supposed to be his blink reveal.
Yeah. So, I mean, Chelsea's been an absolute nuisance. If you could kill Chelsea, I'm sure the whole team would be very happy about it. But, I mean, Chelsea's got an ether lens now. He's just going to be able to initiate from very long distance. He can just go in and see someone, not have to be even underneath the tower, and get a decent stun on.
Well, the net worth was around 1,200 in favor of Energy. It's only sitting on 200 currently.
Yeah, but then again, they do have a greedy player in the sense of the Keeper of the Light, who's very close to getting that Axe now. Once that's online, we might see a bit of difference.
You can't really call it the greedy play because that is what the Keeper of the Light's supposed to do.
Yeah, of course. I mean, what I mean is the two supports on the opposing team don't really have any sort of net worth like Don't Die does right now. So
very true, very true. But let's have a look here, middle lane. It is going to be a push up here towards the T1 tower mid. And they will maybe scout out Chelsea. Chelsea's there. And is this going to be a duel? The duel is there. Unfortunately, it does get trapped up. Chosen One gets a 3-man call coming through onto everyone. Mr. Pottykins as well there. He is being just demolished. Depi and his Desolator just going crazy. They do manage to drop the rockets. A 2-for-2 trade-off at this point. But Chosen One is just unstoppable. He wants to go in for more. Can anyone kill Chosen One right now? With this Lincoln Sphere up, he nearly has his Orchids as well. The fight started off perfectly for the side of XTC. But once again, positioning, I think, cost them a lot because the Temporal Assassin was on the low ground, busy attacking high ground the whole time, which, with a couple of misses, it does not really help.
Yeah, Chosen One is so farmed right now. He's, like you say, he's almost got that Orchid. He only needs about 600 gold, which he'll get within the next minute and a half or so. Once that Orchid's online, things are going to even be more and more difficult for this TA to survive, who's having a tough time purchasing up a BKB now, but it's going to be a while before he can find that. He doesn't have as much space as Chosen One does to farm. And, okay, Chosen One walks straight into the Roche, but it looks like that might be their next goal, potentially.
That's still going to be a very difficult one to do because the TA will most likely does not have a trap here.
Yeah, Juggernaut is really good at bringing down Roche, so yeah, I think they'll want to de-ward it first, but
Yeah, well, Chosen One, oh, they big engagement there. They might actually be able to get the kill there. The rest of the team were basically baiting this out. Doom Bunny throwing down his ice path there to try and trap the Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain jumped in behind, got the call, but his entire team was waiting on high ground.
That's
such a big bait and a huge kill.
That's a tragic error by him. Now this is Roshan because they do have a TA. TA is great at bringing down Roche very quick pace, and that's Ags up on the Keeper of the Light. So they're going to have great vision over this Roche. It's going to be very difficult to sort of contest here. The Sigil is going to be scouting it out, but I mean, to what real avail? It's like I say, the Keeper of the Light will know exactly any sort of movements being made.
That was a 6-time streak ended up onto Chosen One. So putting him, I mean, killing him for quite a while as well. All of a sudden, net worth swinging in favor of the XCC side, but very barely. I honestly think this should be their call to actually try and push to gain the tower or two and get a little bit more control on the map and play some deep wards.
Yeah, and now they have an Aegis up on the Templar Assassin, so all of a sudden Deppy can sort of play a little bit more aggressively. Yes, he's had a tough time, but now he's got a Keeper of the Light who's going to constantly be healing him during the day. So they must just make sure they don't misuse the daytime, which is about 2 minutes in hand. And once they can potentially find a couple of objectives and secure more farm for themselves.
Yeah, well, bottom lane was pushed out very nicely coming up there by Dreamy here on the Juggernaut. And Dreamy's just split pushing at this point. He does, of course, have a Manta style to help him out. He does not have a TP right now, so he can't be played too aggressively. But with his Manta style, he's just split pushing up, keeping himself safe, running away, dropping up his Manta illusions, and keeping bottom and top pressured in the whole time.
I don't know how I feel about him building a Maelstrom now, though. I know it's going to help escalate his farm a little bit, but...
Oh, Queen of Pain actually does get Ice Pot up. And one thing we haven't brought up, the Mana Leak can actually pop that Lincoln. So if they time it with the Mana Leak into the duel, they can still get the kill on the Queen of Pain.
Yeah, Mana Leak's got a decent cast range, so he can do it from sort of the trees if necessary. So if it's really well communicated, Skynet can maybe get a duel on him.
But the Queen of Pain should also, if she sees her Lincoln's pop, she should blink away. Unless she gets caught up by the Ice Path. So there's a lot of ifs and potentials, and this is what they need, etc., etc. Chosen One's still looking comfortable. He will have his Orchids up in 100 gold.
Or Adesam is looking out to Chosen One here. Looks like,
well,
there we go.
There you go. And that's exactly what we just said. Break the Lincolns, get the duel, and get the kill.
Yeah, that's really nice for them. They've killed Chosen One twice now in a row. And Deppy's going to take full advantage of this. Daytime is still on for another 50 seconds, so they're going to find another objective, potentially even a second one, knowing that the Queen of Pain is down.
All of a sudden, XCC sitting on 3,000 net worth in their favor.
Yeah.
This, literally in 2 minutes, the game went from Energy's favor to XTC's favor just by killing the Queen of Pain twice. Look at the Templar Assassin's net worth versus the Queen of Pain's net worth quickly.
The Queen of Pain's net worth, yeah, it's diminished pretty dramatically. And, I mean, the more objectives they find, the more net worth margin they are going to gain pretty quickly for the side of Ecstasy.
Well, bottom tier 2 tower has fallen. Let's have a look here on middle. There's another duel coming in onto Tusk. Is Tusk actually going to drop from this one? The winner is there again. 2 wins instantly, back to back. Scarnet all of a sudden actually playing out of his mind.
Yeah. Skynet's making quite a big impact again. Now that he's got his blink tag up, I think it's pretty important. So
and actually getting those duels off.
Yeah, and yeah, successful duels. Just being able to lock down the Queen of Pain. I think, again, great communication between himself and Dota and I, just to make sure that they can sort of secure their kill on the Queen of Pain. If they can do that a couple more times, I think Queen of Pain is going to play a little bit more defensive now, though.
Yeah, definitely. Losing a couple of fights have been Adestam also sitting ahead of the Queen of Pain.
Yeah, Adestam's going to have a big impact now. He's starting to find farm. He's going to make a very big change. And yeah, he's going to start getting a bit of stats online. He's actually going for the butterfly, which is I'm curious about. It's okay, I suppose, but just getting extra stats is fair enough. I'm thinking
Okay.
Scotty though, however, but
I would agree. I would go for Scotty here because sure, the Queen of Pain right-clicks you, but that's not her main burst. The big issue for, well, the main reason for the Butterfly is extra agility, gives more armor, and of course the evasion up against the Juggernaut. But that's not the problem here. You need to tank up. You need to be able to survive the rock being dropped.
yeah. But then again, Dreamy's going for Mjolnir, so he's looking to sort of farm, I suppose. I mean, it's pretty decent magic damage that comes out from the Mjolnir, but okay. They might look for killing
Oh, there you go. They actually managed to get the jump on, but there you go. Instantly debuffed, and now they want to counter. They want to go in further. The rock gauge drop. The Queen of Pain ultimate as well. It's a disaster coming through here for the side of XCC. Can they do anything? Adestam, is he going to be able to get out of this one alive? Mr. Pottykids runs away. He gets actually trapped up. Deppy is going in now. This is it. Deppy wants to go in. Drops the healing ward as well. Gets the kill on that. And it's a 2-for-1 trade-off. But what looked to be their counter engage just turned into a demolishing Queen of Pain Sonic Wave.
Yeah, well, there we go. That's the power of the Warlock. I mean, as soon as they sort of turned around to fight, Warlock just dropped the rock on them, and the Queen of Pain just huge burst damage output. And that's, like we said, the weakness right now for the Slock. And going for a Butterfly is not really going to give him the stats to survive that sort of situation.
Just as we bring it up, once again, Caster's Curse coming through here.
Changed.
The Slog, he has changed. So is this a bit of stream sniping going on?
Yeah, I think he heard me, for sure. It's definitely the right thing. I'm almost certain. His biggest issue is dealing with the burst damage coming out.
Adestam rig confirmed.
And he also, another thing, he will also notice that there's no Diffusal Blade on Dreamy, so he's not going to be worried about, oh, I might lose a lot of mana. Maybe if I have the mischance, it's going to help me out.
Yeah.
So I think it's far more sensible to go full Scotty, yeah.
Well, they were roughly around 5,000 net worth behind after getting that tower nearly being denied up. They're sitting just under 5,000 again, even after a very bad team fight going their way. And top lane, Juggernaut once again just pushing out, being a nuisance, split pushing the whole time.
Yeah, so this is more than likely the reasoning for his Mjolnir. He's just realized, okay, we need to sort of do some tidy up work. We probably not going to have good control of Roche, so if I can keep the lanes pushed out, it will give us a chance to at least have some space to farm.
Yeah, drop it on an illusion, drop it on the front creep, helps push out the lanes as well. I do get that. So, okay, 5,000 net worth disadvantage here for the side of Energy. What do you do considering they were in the lead quite significantly for a while, but now all of a sudden the two cores of Energy of XCC are just doing better and actually taking fights better? Do you just continuously split push if you're Dreamy? Because I haven't seen Dreamy actually take part in a lot of these fights or having a big impact here.
I think Dreamy is just concerned of dying. If he's in these team fights, he's going to have a very difficult time. His ulti's not going to be all that impactful. TA can absolutely just blow him up pretty quickly. Slock, now at this stage of the game, is a very big concern.
Look at this group up here from Energy in this little section over here. And they want to try and jump. Chelsea wants to go in. Can they actually get anything there? Chelsea just moves forward. Oh, wait, is this going to be... Yeah, and nothing. Chelsea just using up his spike carapace, of course, just to deal a little bit of damage up onto the Keeper of the Light. But Keeper of the Light's in a bit of trouble. Unfortunately, the bounce is once again missing and not really going in favor of Dreamy. But Adestam, I'm not even hyping this up, but sorry about that. Dreamy is going to die.
He tried.
Yeah.
I mean, he had these dancing shoes on, but one of the things, Doom Bunny can just break down all the trees with his Macropie, so there was no escape.
But Keeper of the Light surviving an Omni Slash.
Yeah, that's I mean, that's Ags. It's quite a decent amount of stats. It's not the greatest stats item, but it also is the fact that he's level 15. He's got pretty decent growth.
Oh, Scarnet might be in a bit of trouble right now. Chosen One goes in, manages to get the silence. The TPs are coming in. Yeah, are they going to be able to get the kill onto Scarnet? Scarnet does have a blink. It was just not in time. This is going to be the end of Scarnet. The Walrus Punch coming through. Chosen One getting that kill as well. So, a 1-for-1 trade-off. A Juggernaut basically for a offlane, split up between. But still, 7,000 net worth in favor of XCC. They have swung this game around. And they are just... Even though they're losing a couple of heroes, they're still increasing their lead bit by bit. As the panel said, wearing the opponents down.
Yeah, and...
grinding them.
Yeah, it just seems to be XCC's playstyle, right? Sort of, you can be ahead, but we're going to slowly... Oh, wow!
Oh, that blink coming in forward there by the Nyx Assassin, but the insta-blink out here by Deppy. Those fingers... He was literally hovering his finger, halfway pressing in his blink button.
Yeah, that was pretty quick. So Chelsea will be unhappy about that, but actually,
are they going to
Vikings?
decide to continue to engage here? This might actually be a full-on engage coming through Deppy. He does have a Lincolns, or someone popped a Lincolns on him. I heard a Lincolns. Yeah, Slark has a Lincolns.
Yep.
He dropped the Lincolns onto Deppy. We have not spoken about that, so it's a Lincolns for a Lincolns up on both teams. And how should Energy engage this, though? Let's have a look. Lincolns once again being popped onto Deppy. Deppy still has his Lincolns up. Is he going to move forward? They do not have Aegis, so this is quite a dangerous move, so to speak. I think maybe just wait the 40 seconds for Aegis to respawn, and we actually see them TPing back. So I think they're going to try and scout this out.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they can easily break high ground without Aegis up.
Yeah,
or
but
Cheese. And Cheese, next one.
Yeah, but this was great. They killed Dreamy. So when he came alive, he couldn't really go to other lanes to split push it out because it was too far to run. And then he might just be halfway there and have to TP himself back on in. So he had to help defend. So they just constricted their opponents while they wait until Roshan is up, which is up in a few more seconds.
Yep.
And
Let's have a look. Is Doombuddy actually going to check it? Nope.
12 seconds until it does come up. So, oh, they got to keep it with the light though. He just needs to come and walk generally in the right
in
area.
this general direction.
Yeah.
Just come and stand anywhere here. That's what Keeper of the Light's doing now. He's going to be walking past and just staying there. Surprise, surprise. Rush is back, boys. And honestly, Energy has to contest this. If they lose this rush, I think XCC's won.
Yeah, I think you're quite right there. But TA is just going to kill this pretty quickly. This is a difficult one. I don't see any sort of movement. Chelsea could potentially go in that direction. They have a gem on the Keeper of the Light though, so if he walks close, they're just going to jump on him and kill him. So either way, it's a bad fight for them. But they go for a smoke now. They're going to look to sort of try and deal
Radiance
with this.
actually use the scan quite safely, if I can put it over there. But they will manage to scan this out. I don't think they'll actually be able to get there in time. Let's have a look. They will actually decide to turn around. They go in onto the Slug. The Slug gets Walrus punched up. They are trying to go in, but there's the duel. The duel, who is it actually onto? It is going to be the death. Oh, wait, no. What's happening here? The Queen of Pain ultimate coming through onto 3 heroes. 4 heroes. The rockets dropped. That is out of stab. Also nearly dead. That's 3 heroes down for the side of XTC. All of a sudden, things not going their way. And they managed to get the kill onto Adestam Deppy. He is in a lot of trouble right now, but I think he might make it out alive. He does not have a TP. He just swapped it in. The Aegis, of course, was used.
He's going to be recalled.
So I thought that the fight was disengaged there, and all of a sudden, they just jumped straight back in.
Yeah, Mr. Potikins, really good play by him. He blinked, he got right next to and stopped the duel from happening, bit him inside the snowball, turned it around, rest of the team sort of grouped up, and the Warlock just dropped the rock. And
well, the Queen of Pain ultimate onto Fatal Bonds, and then the drop. I mean, that was a massive fight coming up from Energy, but I saw the duel happening, and then I was looking on the HP bars, whose HP was going down, and no one was going down, so I don't know who was dueled. I don't know what
he
was
in the snowball. The snowball, he just picked him up in the snowball to cancel the duel, so the duel wasn't, I think it was onto...
was likely Warlock to try and just stop him from dropping the rock.
I think it was Warlock. I think you are correct there. So Warlock, I think, died still at the end because he took a decent amount of damage.
Well, his rocks dropped. He did enough with those Fatal Bonds, and that rock did.
Yeah, all I saw was a snowball next to it and duel not really happening, and then just turned that fight around. So it was really good.
They still have the cheese, however.
I mean, they lost the Aegis immediately, so XTC won't be happy about that. So even the fact that they got Roshan, it's not exactly great for them.
Well, let's have a look here. Are they going to scout out? Ooh. Another big thing was, did the Keeper of the Light die there? Or is this a new gem?
No, he didn't
It's still the
die.
old gem. Okay, so they paused up. Quick recap as to how this game's been progressing. Early game, Energy playing very, very well, dominating quite a bit. And Deppy just being crushed.
Yeah.
Mid game, Deppy sort of coming back. Oh, and early game, Adestam having free fall.
Yeah.
Mid game, Deppy sort of coming back. They managed to get a kill onto the Queen of Pain twice in a row. Late game, all of a sudden, Energy's just won a big team fight, but there's still 7,500 net worth behind. And we might just see another big engagement coming through here. Mr. Poddykins, he does get scouted out. Mr. Poddykins jumps in straight onto Dota Die. That might not be the one who they want to go onto. They've already blown up Strike. Another one to turn around. Mr. Poddykins is going to be the next casualty of this fight. Dreamy, is he going to be able to do anything? Chosen drops the ultimate, but it's actually not enough. It does not do anything. Dreamy's still alive, however, but there's the duel coming through. Will they be able to get the kill? That's another winner chicken dinner. 3 heroes down for Energy. Everything going wrong for them.
Yeah. So they lost the Keeper of the Light, but they didn't lose the gem. So it just was a great fight. I mean, there we go. They utilized the smoke. They turned that whole situation around. It looked good for Energy, but unfortunately,
hey, looks can be deceiving. Huh?
Yeah.
Looks can clearly be deceiving.
Yeah, I think they just took their fight poorly. They didn't have ultimate on the Warlock. Well, I suppose they didn't take the fight. They got ganked, but they were pretty
No,
deep.
they took the fight. The Tusk blinked in to get the Walrus Punch onto the Keeper of the Light.
I don't think it was their original intention, or it was just sort of, they've smoked and they're coming on us, so let's do something about it. And I think they made the wrong decision, unfortunately. But this should be a tier 3 tower at least.
Let's have a look. Of course, the cheese is still there for the Temporal Assassin. Temporal Assassin gets immediately debuffed here. And it seems like this is going to be the first lane of Rax. They do, of course, have a glyph if they want to use it. There's the Ice Ball. The duel's coming in onto the Nyx Assassin. Nyx Assassin is going to drop another winner coming through here from Legion Commander. Now they want to turn around to get the rest of the Rax up here. Adestam, everyone, Depi. This is the first full lane of Rax. 3 heroes still down here for the side of Energy. Are there buybacks up on Warlock? No buybacks on Warlock. He needs 10 gold. He needs 10 gold. Nyx Assassin does have buyback, but they once again managed to go onto the Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain is taking a bit of damage. The Snowball is used onto the Legion Commander. Legion Commander is still alive at this point, though. Are they actually going to be able to do anything? The 2 buybacks are there. The Warlock being forced to buy back with only like 10 or 20 seconds left on his timer is not what they needed. They do get Doom Bunny, but still favoring XTC very much here.
Doom Bunny just giving up there. There was no way for him to survive. He just stood still. Made sure that they can't chase after his teammates if they wanted to. But in fact, it's actually Chelsea playing ultra aggressively right into Skynet. I don't know if he has enough damage to really bring him down, so might want to look for a at least easier opponent, but there's a Keeper of the Light. It's daytime and he has a gem, so not a good idea.
16,000 net worth. This was roughly around the same net worth deficit that XTC was behind against WRG when they called GG in that second game.
Yeah, I don't think they will call GG this time around. It's Energy that will be calling,
I mean, of course XTC is not going to call GG this time around.
Hey.
Actually, there's been 2 occasions in the pro scene when the whole GG thing came in, where teams typed GG and they did not cancel in time and then they lost. And the rules of 99% of the tournaments don't state GG, then it's end.
Yeah.
It's when the Ancient is destroyed.
Yeah.
If your enemy team types in GG, you fight until the Ancient is destroyed. Because GG gives, of course, 10-second cooldown, and you can cancel it if you want. Otherwise, your Ancient is automatically destroyed.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. These guys have played for long enough now competitively to not make a mistake like that.
I'm talking about on the pro scene. In a major tournament, it has happened before. So don't even take chances.
Yeah, true. I mean, no, definitely. I don't think they will, but I don't think that's why they...
I think it was like Nip and Fnatic or something that happened with.
That's actually quite interesting. But Depi's actually got a pretty big item now. Got the Bloodthorn.
Bloodthorn's up.
Yeah, so that's really big, especially if they can pop the Lincolns on the Queen of Pain. They get that Bloodthorn down. It's not only the fact that, he can't blink away, the fact that they're just going to kill him instantly.
I would put the Bloodthorn on to the Warlock because it'll just silence him.
Yeah, it's all going to be about positioning, though. Like, the Warlock should never be in vision, right? They should never know where the Warlock is. So
very true.
If it's possible, for sure, go for him. But, I mean, the Warlock, again, I mean, a Strike doesn't usually make massive misplays by being out of position. But, yeah, if they can get it on him, 100% go on him. But other than that, Queen of Pain is more than likely going to be your frontliner.
Queen of Pain does have a Shiva's Guard up as well as the Orchids, a Lincoln Sphere, and a Veil. So it's not a badly farmed Queen of Pain. However,
top lane.
Lane.
Down. And
Duel down. Yeah, that's the problem coming up there with the Juggernauts. He just died instantly.
Yeah, well, he tried to spin TP, and Legion doesn't care about that. He can duel you through that, so there was no...
I ain't got no time for that.
Yeah. I don't know. I still feel like the Juggernaut's build, I'm not sure about it. Not even going for a Lincoln Sphere, just saying, okay, I'm going to go for Butterfly and see if I can right-click into this.
So
And
26.
There's a Bloodthorn. So
There's a Bloodthorn. 26,000 net worth up for the Templar Assassin versus 20,000 on the Queen of Pain. That's a big difference. 20,000 up on to Adestam as well. Adestam, 6, 1, and 9. Templar Assassin, 8, 4, and 3. But Adestam, I mean, we know him as a hero that does not die very easily.
yeah.
The "Can you die" Adam Moore memes.
Yeah, for sure. And he's got BKB now. 10-second BKB, in fact, on that slot. So
That is so powerful, especially at 40 minutes into this game.
yeah, the next fight's going to be very, very big. We can see they're looking to siege this high ground. The Warlock being a bit of a nuisance. But, hot fingers again.
Yeah, nearly managing to actually get the stun in onto Templar Assassin, but they get another tier 3 tower. They drop the Sentry Wall down, and they're just going to destroy this Frozen Sigil. Lots of Linkers being popped. You can hear that. They actually do manage to catch one onto the Lynx Assassin. There's the duel onto the Queen of Pain. The Queen of Pain, he, however, does get saved up once again. The Monster Kill is still there. The Rock got dropped onto 3 heroes, but it's not doing enough damage. This Templar Assassin is just going crazy. The Queen of Pain dropped her ultimate as well. They don't matter. They don't care. It's doing absolutely nothing to the side of XTC. They've not lost a single hero, and this is going to be another lane of racks. Are they going to be able to actually get a kill onto the Legion Commander? They don't. They lose a lane of racks. They lose a couple of heroes for nothing. Literally for nothing.
Yeah, I mean, and their Warlock dropped the Golem, everything.
And it was a good drop. It was a good Sonic Wave.
Yeah.
It just does not do anything, and that's exactly what we spoke about earlier on by just going more tanky. So Slark went for the Lincolns instead of the Scotty.
Scotty, that's fine.
But it's fine. It still gives him that extra survivability. He has the BKB up now.
Yeah. I think the fact that he went Scotty BKB is perfect. Like, it's probably better than going for the Scotty. I just thought Scotty is 100% better than the Butterfly, in my opinion, there. So this is probably even better than that. So this has just gone very poorly for them. They can't really control the Slark. They can't control the TA. And even the Rock just not doing enough to sort of slow things down. So that's going to be another lane of racks. Mid lane is pretty low. I can't see a way for them to really defend this.
I honestly think that Ian should wait 2 years caught up in the ice path. The Meld's coming through there as well. Mr. Puttick is jumping in, trying to go and trying to actually just control up. Dreamy's in a lot of trouble right now. Deppy's going in. He manages to blow up Mr. Puttick and just focusing on the racks here. Of course, there is a glyph that's being used up now. Deppy decides, well, if the glyph's there, I'm just going to blink forward attack. Now the duel is up. Is this going to be another duel victory up here for the Legion Commander? It is. 98 duel damage gone. And now Chosen One, he wants to move in forward. Still, no one has died here for XTC, and everyone is crumbling for the side of Energy. Dreamy's going to be the next one. Nope. They decide to back off, go for the Mega Creeps, and just run away. And they jump in forward. Deppy wants to go in for more kills. Deppy is just playing out of his mind.
Whoa.
The Sonic Wave coming through, but is it too little, too late? I think so.
Yeah, Mega Creep are up now. They're not giving up. GG actually does get called, so I was just about to say they're not giving up, but it seems pretty much done. Deppy did buy back just to say, okay, we're going to finish. And that's going to be all she wrote. As, I mean, Ecstasy, they had a shaky start, to be fair.
Deppy had a shaky start.
Yeah.
Adestam had a free-farming
Free-farm,
lane.
yeah.
He was controlling everything. Deppy just got ganked over and over and over again. And Chosen One was just dominating him.
Yeah.
He was controlling him. He was crushing him. He was doing everything he needed to do.
Yeah. One of the things that I would like some more opinion maybe when we get to the panel is the Mjolnir build on the Juggernaut. Was it good or was it bad? I feel indifferent about it. I feel like it wasn't probably the item that he should have wanted to go to. But
I mean, let's have a look quickly here between Chosen One and where's Deppy? There you go. Chosen One had such a good start. He died twice, and those 2 deaths were directly after each other. They were dominating, they were controlling them completely, and they managed to kill him, and then as soon as he came back, he pushed out bottom, they killed him again. They managed to just take away the Lakers, even though the Lincolns was there with the Keeper of the Light coming in there as well.
yeah.
They got the duels, they got the kills, and Deppy just came back. How he came back from that completely demolishing start, I don't know.
Yeah, I think the draft, I feel like the draft was better for Ecstasy. I think the Juggernaut pick was pretty iffy. The Warlock was great, but I mean, we saw a turnaround one fight, but after that, once they got pretty good farm, up on Ecstasy. They were just so far ahead, it was just almost impossible for them to bring it down. And at that stage, C1 wasn't really dealing enough damage in these team fights to say, okay, we're going to shut down your cores because we have enough damage output.
Yeah. Well, guys, we're going to be heading back to the panel to talk about this amazing game coming through here. XTC started off slow. Energy was playing extremely well, but they just came back, and that grind factor coming in. Halbert, what did you think of this amazing game?
Thank you, Rit. It was quite an interesting one. I mean, I think we were chatting quite a bit before the break about how important this matchup might be for, if this becomes a 2-0. I'm quite interested to know if you guys think that this is the kind of thing that will tilt Energy enough, or was it close enough for them to still feel like they can come back in the game too?
I think there was a lot of promise that game. I mean, we saw the early game, they had a lot going for them. Chosen One was actually, in my opinion, playing, he's playing great. He obviously had help in the mid lane, but he was definitely playing the best out of everyone, I think, for the early game. And then obviously his tempo started going down. He gave up some kills to duel and stuff like that. But I think him and Nyx were definitely running around controlling the game. And I think one of the biggest problems is Dreamy, he didn't have a great lane, obviously. His farm wasn't good. But what the problem was, all the kills they were getting, other than the 3 kills on Depi, which were very good, right? They killed Depi quite a few times. They weren't ever killing the Slog, and they were just getting lots of pickoffs on Coddle. And as the late game went on, they kept getting kills on supports. It doesn't really matter. Scarlet was dying fine. But then TA, Slog just rising the whole time. And then as those heroes get more items, as I said, this matchup for Jug Slog is not a good one for Jug, right? Into the late game. So when Slog and TA got a lot of items, Jug just felt not as good.
And the other thing that, we were just discussing that it might be that Adestam is the MVP for that game, but not because he carried, right? Like, Depi dying 3 times in the early stages, like, really sets him behind there. And you could see what Adestam did is, like, he got, we were debating maybe the early Silver Edge, but what he did with it is, like, he basically became XTC's version of Chelsea. Like, he was constantly hunting. They were finding Chosen, they were shutting Chosen down. And it's like that map pressure that he's creating. You don't know where the Slog is. Sure, he's not the hard farming, but at that point in the game, they needed him to be active. They needed him to be creating pressure on Energy that allowed Depi to start recovering, because Depi did not have a good stage early. And that's really what they did. So the constant ganks set up by the Slog's vision that he was providing, and like the counter warding that he was also doing. He was constantly finding where Energy's vision was and just shutting it down. I think he was also the one that purchased the early gem. And that was just like, at that point, it's so hard for Energy because you have no vision, and then Slog is also impacting where your players can move. So it's a great performance, but not a great carry performance as one would expect from a player like Adestam.
I think what often has to happen in a team, it's rare that you see players realize, right, guys, this is what I need to do to win the game, not just win my hero. Because very often you get locked into this mode of, you want to perform well on this particular hero and in this particular role. But in this game, we saw Adestam, he decided he knew, this is what we need to do to win the game, gets the early gem. So there was a point where I think he TP'd bottom, right? So he TP'd bottom, didn't find any kills, but just walked like straight through the jungle, dewarding. And he wasn't farming for that time period. But then when you look again, you realize that the Energy heroes can't go back to that regional space until they go and get their own dewards going. But doing that is kind of dangerous with the Slug. You have to move at least 3 or 4 heroes. Doing that creates space for Depi somewhere else across the map. So he just created so much space by making the map annoying to go around. So I think this is a running theme. We've seen in quite a couple of games right now that if you have a hero where that forces your cores to always have to have a support nearby in order to feel safe to farm. It limits the amount of impact that any given hero can have in the game, and it creates space for the rest of your team. So amazing performance by Adestam doing that then.
I think we should also give a little bit of praise to Mr. Podikins there. You saw the bot lane was obviously going poorly for them. I think Jug died, he tried to dive tower. Then they were just keeping 3 heroes there, and we saw a thing this tournament is tri-lanes that were just sitting in the lane, ended up just losing the game. They fell further behind. Mr. Podikins ran mid. Obviously, it's not an easy kill for just a Tusker with level 2, right? But they managed to do it. He found the situation where Tia was on his team side of the hill, and they managed to get a pick off on him, and I think that just helped Chosen One get the early game that he needed. So I give some praise to him there.
Yeah, but Podikins realizing that was a big play.
So I'm curious that you guys spoke about Adestam playing well in this one, doing something out of the norm for him as a player. Is this kind of he's having trouble there. I was suggesting that instead of just hitting the creps in lane as he likes to do, he was quite mobile around the map. But we also spoke quite highly of XC's performance in the second game against WG, especially the first part of the game. Are we seeing an improved improved XTC here?
I think that given what we saw this game, they've taken ideas from what was working in game 2. last night. Like, as in, they realized, okay, we need to be a little bit more active on the map. We can't just sit back and farm. And you could actually see that they were running dual lanes, which was a bit different. They've obviously tried to run tri lanes very often against White Rabbit. That doesn't work very well. So it's good to see that once they realized that they had good matchups, they could leave Slark to farm for a little bit. He needed to get 1 or 2 items, and then he gets active. And then, okay, Deppy's having a bad lane, but it's fine. We just need to win our other lanes. So they helped Deppy by, it's like you make space for Deppy by impacting what energy can do.
Slark allowed Deppy to get back to the game, because Deppy obviously was like 1,000 behind, I think, on Slark. I mean, Quap had like 4.5k and Deppy had like 3.5k, and then you see Slark and his team made a lot of space for Deppy to farm stacks and catch up.
Yeah, I think it also has a lot more to do with how XCC just played a lot more synergistically than we've seen the entire weekend. I think this is the best team show. It might not be the best overall performance, but as a team, they performed admirably today.
Great. Well, I think we're just moments away from going to the draft itself. Gentlemen, do you think this is going to be the 2-0 that we may have guessed, or do you think this is going to be
we had some rumors about what C1 not playing the second game.
I'm not too sure where we stand with that. I guess we'll find out in game, but I do know apparently there was potentially a sub for Chosen One. He was obviously in the first game. There may just be a reference to the final. So let's see if he is around for the second game. But let's assume he's still in this game for now. 2-1 or 2-2?
I still say I'm still on 2-0 for this. I thought like this was one of the situations where I think it was probably the worst possible loss for Energy, because it seemed pretty apparent like 15 minutes before the game actually ended that this game seemed somewhat impossible. Dreamy wasn't able to actually do anything. By the time Dreamy even got to his completed up Mjolnir, Slark was just so farm. Like there was a kill bottom where Juggernaut tried to go in solo on the cuddle, failed, and then got solo killed by Slark while trying to escape. Like, and nothing else could ever happen from that point for the rest of the game. So I think that really tilts you as a player now. And going into the second part of the draft, probably they're going to be trying to address ways and like, okay, how can we keep Adestam actually alive? But we've always seen that usually when XCC or when Energy, end up in bad situations is because you try to address what happened in the first game. You try to change the wrong things by fixing the draft. And I don't think, with the exception of the Juggernaut, I don't think the draft was the problem. But I think they're going to try and remedy it through the draft, and that's going to lead to a worse game too.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of great moments for Energy there. We saw some of those fights. Some of those fights were awesome. Some great impales by Chelsea, and then some follow-ups by The Rock, and you saw Quap getting a nice Sonic. It was some Wombo combos. It was quite nice to watch. But I think similar to how they lost to XC last weekend or the previous tournament, was they just lost to, they managed to get all these kills, but they let the the main cores on XC get super far ahead, and then they just crumble in the end. That seems like that exactly the same thing happened last weekend. And it's like that seems to me like just like a flashback. This is exactly how they lost, and hopefully now they pick, they'll find a way to have stronger lanes and better matchups for their cores, because I don't think Quap Jug is like a nice combination versus Slark tier.
Yeah.
I think on this note, I mean, maybe just as an interesting sort of side question is that, of the 3 teams left in this tournament, do you feel have had the strongest drafts?
Well, I mean, XCC's definitely out. There's like, I don't know, that game, day 1 draft, that second game, what is it against? APG or something. Like, I think after you see that, I'd put it out. And the problem is XCC's also like...
WG probably, since
feels
they did also
difficult
pick up the
because
Naga Siren.
when you watch WG, it's like, I don't know if they, because they're obviously highly skilled individuals, right? I don't know if it's just they're much better than the people they're playing with, or their draft is better. Like, I think it's a little bit of both. Their draft is obviously good. They have they know what works for them, but I feel like they are just better than them, so it doesn't really matter what they pick.
Yeah.
Like
Actually, I do think it's WG, because I'm just thinking about that game yesterday that we saw. Which was the Winter Waven and Tusk, or was it Ricky? Yeah,
Winter Waven Tusk.
Winter Waven Tusk.
No.
It seems, was that? But Winter Waven was something,
yeah,
right?
Winter Waven was something that we were like...
The Winter Waven game, and it seemed really weird when I looked at it, right? And it seems like the running theme for WRG for me has been, when you look at the draft at face value, right, it seems completely incomprehensible. But when they actually play it, and you see not just how they're playing it really well, but it works very well against the enemy strategy. So I think they have the best idea of how to execute their draft. Even though if we're just going on just looking at the sheets, I'd probably say Energy's been playing the better draft for their own team, but WRG just has a better strategic understanding of how to utilize their draft. So it's like a toss-up, but I still edge WRG because their drafts are weirder, but they work better. So
yeah, like White Rabbit Gaming knows what their draft needs to succeed, and they're able to enact that. Energy picks good heroes for their players, but not necessarily to win a game type thing.
Cool. Well, as you can see, the draft screen is now up, and almost up.
Oh.
It's almost up. There we go. And for those of you who are all tuning in for the first time, this is of course Energy Esports versus XTC Gaming here at the Mega8 Winter Cup, with the side of Energy Esports one down at the moment.
Do you think XTC's going to
the
shut up
grand
and
final.
Warlock here? Like, I think Warlock's super
I think
annoying,
I'm
right?
going to straight up ban tree. I set my watch by
I
that.
think the only two changes in the drafts will probably be a ban on Warlock. If they're not keen on that, there's definitely going to be a ban on the Cottle. Like, there's no way to give up Cottle, yeah.
Warlock didn't seem like a problem that game.
Yeah,
so
it didn't
much.
seem like
They
that
to
The
big a
problem is
handle
that
it well.
Mr. Potikins might be able to get his Cottle.
No, for sure.
So, like, it'll be Ecstasy banning it. I don't think Energy's going to ban it because it wasn't Cottle wasn't an
Nix, respect
I think
ban.
I think the reason why Knicks like the Cottle didn't do anything, Knicks completely shut him down.
Yeah.
Like the whole game, like everywhere he went, Chelsea was just right there. Carapace in front of the Illuminate kills him. Like
I mean,
feels pretty
Chelsea
bad.
I think has actually been Energy's best player this weekend.
Yeah.
Like,
And the best
consistency.
offlaner for the weekend, right?
yeah, probably.
Yeah. Can't think of anyone who's like outperformed him,
Mm.
especially on his LC. Like that's I think what Energy has to talk about now, whether they're gonna give up LC or not, or whether
Energy
they're gonna get LC. Sorry, like XCC has to decide that.
Wait,
they're
Ecstasy
gonna
got
ban it
first
out.
pick in the first game. So did Energy choose
I think
Fire side?
Energy chose side. I think
That's interesting.
I don't know. It depends on what they want to do here. Like right now they're talking about whether you ban Tree or Coddle,
Yeah,
and then
Cottle,
okay,
they
get
will-
rid of
they want no
Coddle.
part of that.
So now XCC, do they
So
ban
it's
Warlock?
the game of chicken, really. I think with the tree, it's like how far
So
can we
Energy
go
has
before the
second pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Energy has second pick.
yes.
thing is, what I've noticed is this is often the tree ban here. And
Yeah, it's because
that's-
you
that-
basically play chicken. It's like
But you can just leave it and pick it at this point. I mean, 'cause your
Not
opponents have
necessarily.
to.
I don't want to play against Tree.
Yeah.
There
No
we
one
go.
wants to play against Tree.
No, so just
all
fine.
at this point, you can leave the tree in, right? And you can have the first opportunity to get the tree if they don't ban it up, potentially leaving another hero in for you.
But I think the reason why you have to still ban it is because if you don't ban it, right, then you actually have to
Yeah,
pick
you
it.
have to
You
pick
don't have any other choice. Because if you don't pick it, they pick it. Then it's like,
This is why I'm going full circle. Like, do Cypher teams even play tree?
Yeah.
Because
Mr. Potikins is
Yeah.
beastly on it. That's why they won't let
and it's
him
not
have
hard
it.
to play Tree. Like, I think that's part of the
Yeah.
reason why this hero is kind of OP. Like, if you have somebody who can look at a tower or a hero and then press W, then you can have a Tree player on
Yeah.
your team. So it's pretty annoying.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's that simple, but okay.
well, I mean, the big thing is left. I mean, I guess there's an LC left here once again. Might be a nice pickup because since it is also a block towards energy. What do you guys think?
Night Stalker.
Night Stalker. Yeah, this was what was banned. Energy banned Night Stalker game 1. So
Yeah. Well, who had the Cottle? It was Ecstasy.
XCC had Coddle, yeah.
Did Ecstasy ban Night Stalker?
No,
No,
Energy
Energy banned
banned
Night
Night
Stalker.
Stalker.
That's
Yeah,
weird.
Energy banned Night Stalker. I think they made their scrimmage against XCC and they know that their Night Stalker is really good.
Because I know that usually Night Stalker is a good counter to the
The Coddle.
Cottle because
Yeah.
like any fight hit nighttime and then Cottle's like, oh well, my vision is useless now.
Yeah, 4,000 gold for nothing.
Yeah.
CM Alcy? What's
Yeah,
CM?
Should be.
CM whatever.
CMLC, CMX,
I think
maybe.
LC, like, because there's no way it's
CM
getting
Axe
to the
has been
second
actually the duo that's been picked up, right?
Yeah.
As I'm not like to say that Axe is
Yeah.
better. I'm just saying like that's what I've seen here at the tournament.
That's what I'm also thinking.
But I think Alcy is definitely a Chelsea hero. So
Yeah, I think you're about you're in danger of being knocked out at this point, right? So to me, this is always the case. We go to those like comfort heroes that are also strong. So I could imagine a better hero here than LC, in fact.
How about, like, I think if they do go LC, it's also decent-ish against Night Stalker. You can remove the silence, like, because normally you expect to have a mid laner that's going to get silenced instantly every fight. And you can just, like, purge it off. Ember.
against
Oh.
N.
Against Night Stalker. This is...
Kind of weird, right? Because you're automatically picking something that already has silence.
It's really rough playing against
Hands in the
like
air,
this.
dude. What's happening?
Like-
Especially
Crazy
this early
stuff.
as well. Like,
Yeah.
what are you going up against in mid lane?
Like, XTC wasn't going to ban this.
yeah.
That being said, they could actually run this Ursa mid. Like, Ursa mid versus Ember Spirit's not a bad matchup either way.
Yeah.
Maybe
And-
since he won bot lane, then
Yeah, he's
dodge
pretty-
him
I
and
mean,
then
this
send
is one of-
Dreamy mid.
One of Adestam's favorite heroes, so just
I've seen
stick
Deppy play it, I think.
Yeah.
I've seen Deppy
I think
play it.
both of them play it. It
Yeah.
just usually goes into Adesam's hands.
I don't know about, like, the next bans, though, because now the way Energy's already set themselves up, they have to find ways to protect this Ember Spirit.
If I mean, the thing is, if I'm XC here, I'm probably going to ban out the Legion. Like, you just don't want Chelsea to have it.
Yeah.
You could focus on also maybe something like the Dark Seer.
Because like for as well as game one went, Scarnet was pretty bad on his Legion. Like he wasn't landing what he
Ursa's
should be
pretty good
doing.
against Legion. Like if he gets dueled and he has Ags or something, he can kill him. If he doesn't get dueled, he destroys Alcy.
What happened to Darkseer? I'm seeing this lot of ban now from Energy Esports, and I'm thinking of Darkseer.
Or
And
Mag.
That's a hero that, well, Mag, apparently SA teams don't think
No,
this hero
what is
exists,
Mag?
so it's like, whatever. But we've seen like we saw Darkseer's day one, and then we haven't seen any of them
Yeah.
since.
I don't actually know why teams don't like Darkseer.
It's such
I think
like,
with the starter and the Jakira out as well, though, Darkseer is not a
You obviously need you need a.
There's still Sven.
Ember
There's still
with
Sven.
Darkseer is crazy strong. In the middle of team fights, like if you have Flame Gun and Iron Shot on you, it's like the amount of magic damage you take is so incredible.
I think Darkseer with freaking NS and Ursa is freaking good.
Yeah,
That's
just
crazy
like
good.
you put Iron Shot on Night Stalker, you just run at
Oh,
heroes,
you
hit
do
them.
that, like Nightstalk can run around and he can come to your lane and there's a gang. So
Yeah.
he has this nuke slow plus he's got the silence and then you've got Iron Shells.
Yeah.
No, I think both
can
teams
work.
could profit from it.
And Surge is really good on Ursa as well.
Yeah.
Like stops the hero from being
Solves his-
kited.
Yeah, solves his kiting problem. So, yeah, that's pretty good.
But they won't pick it.
I mean, Scarlet did play, right?
Did
Play
he?
against WRG.
Yeah.
He was 0-2 in lane, I remember. That's all I remember.
Energy opening with a
Troll.
troll.
That's
Oh.
the dream pick.
So it looks like Energy loses, right? Because that's what Troll does
I
this
hope.
weekend.
I hope they send Troll mid. Actually, I think it's a doable thing. I just wonder if Ursa's going middle, and I just hope they don't send Ember out to die.
It depends on what they're going to put middle. Because, like, I think Ember Dow this might be one of those games, actually, I can agree with you that it might be better if you have him somewhere else, like in the safe lane or something. Because mid, against Nice, if this is like not a pure offlane Nice Stalker, at any given point, he just leaves the lane and then Ember will die.
And
Like,
even
that's
if
not
he is
fun.
a pure offlane Night Stalker, he's
Yeah,
going to
that's-
rotate onto mid anyway. basically.
Comes mid, kills you, it's really awful. Actually, it's even worse when it's a offlane
Yeah.
Night Stalker because he gets level 6 faster.
Troll's pretty good against Ursa. I'd say there's a
that's-
matchup wise with Farm. I think it's that's a good one. I like it. And I'm wondering if they didn't just pick the Ember because they think that's C1's best hero. You know, they were like, we're gonna just pick it this early because it's like, dude, I think we've won the most games with this. I'm just gonna pick it now.
I don't know though. Like,
I mean, that has to be the reason, right? I mean, like,
it's got to be, but like, it's like, okay, I'm going to pick my mid now, and then they have another 4 picks to like maybe
they
counter.
picked both their cores like in the first 3. I mean, who
Yeah.
used to do that? It was like one of the Chinese teams used to do that.
But that was because they're
they're just gods.
yeah, they're just like
they
come at
don't
us.
care. Like, we'll show you our cores. It doesn't matter.
Does Enrage dispel the Whirling Axe's miss debuff on Troll Warlord?
It does.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah. Then it's okay, you can fight with that.
The difference is Troll has that bash.
more just the
which
bash.
can,
Mm.
like,
Yeah, the bash, you
completely
can't
wreck
do
you,
anything,
so-
yeah. And you just die. Also, I think it was really good because Energy with Troll, they can sneak the Roshan before the Ursa can. Like, that's one of the few heroes, you hit level 6, you can actually take Rosh. Now they also have Ricky with the mistrance, so you can deny that from XTC as well.
What do you think the Energy's gonna pick here? I think Legion's actually okay now that they have Ricky.
Yeah,
They can it's like you can protect the Legion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the melee heroes can't just destroy Legion. So I
think
wonder.
do you think XTC go mid here so that they can still hide whether or not this Night Stalker is support or offlane? Like, they can still make this decision, right? Because right now, if you pick support, you pretty much locked in Night Stalker in the offlane. But then if you go mid,
I mean, they know the cause, right? They know
yeah,
the
you know the
support
cause. You can like already set up for the
I
mid
mean,
matchup.
Maybe you can even try and abuse it so that you make the Ember go safe lane and then get him a good matchup.
Yeah. Because now you like assuming, okay, if you can pick something that's good against Troll. Yeah, that's what you should pick now. Like, I don't really know what matchups are.
What do you guys
Mid Trolls are known for. Like, I don't actually see the mid that often, but I've seen it. I mean, it's not unheard of.
SF here for XTC, I think seems really good because then
It's a Deppy hero.
I think they either go
Abaddon,
Abaddon.
that's
Alright,
the
so
offlane.
offlane.
Wow, this lineup is just like frustrating.
It's like a
from
scary
XTC.
duel
Yeah.
lane. Like
Yeah.
Abaddon.
This
NS
is really
running
scary.
around.
Yeah, like it's not going to be fun for
And
Troll.
their safe lane's super strong. Bane's super annoying as support, and then Ursa is also a strong laner if he's going.
If he's,
safe
I think
lane.
no matter where the Ursa goes, it's going to be pretty good in this game.
Yeah.
Like Ember, he can beat Ember, can beat Troll Warlord in the 1v1.
Seems like their safe lane's
It
sorted.
really feels like this draft is things you don't want to play against generally in Dota. You know, like no one likes being Fiend's Gripped and having Enfeeble on you early on.
Sim and Ricky is actually such a weak support duo.
yeah.
Like, it's a very weak support duo against Nightstalker Abaddon.
And these
Yeah.
things are really tanky as well.
They-
Just
they
in
had
general. This is a
tanky,
tanky
hard to
team.
kill.
I'd even say Bane is tanky because it has Brain Sap.
Yeah.
You know, like it's got an easy way to get a lot of its HP back. So it's just a really, I don't know, frustrating lineup for XTC, from
it's quite
XTC for
annoying,
Energy to deal with.
I just hope they can survive the lane somehow. Energy is going to have a tough time in lanes.
Yeah,
at
the
the
lane
moment.
phase is really rough right now. Like you can't kill any of these heroes. You can't. Even rotations are going to be kind of difficult because if you go middle, if either Bane, Night Stalker or Abaddon, any of these heroes TP in, and suddenly your gank is failed, Ricky can't get any kills mid.
That Sven banner, I think, is actually pretty good.
For who?
Well, I mean,
Oh,
Energy
obviously,
bans
yeah.
Sven against
Yeah.
XTC. I think that would have been like a great pickup for XTC. Yeah.
What does XC do here to like wrap this up? Because I feel like they're, I don't know, like
It's
have
all
to make a
dependent on what they're
decision.
doing with the Ursa, though.
You know what's really good actually? Why don't they go Invoker? Like if you go Invoker, you can always get kill, Sunstrike kill with Bane. Like no matter where the Bane is, guaranteed kills with Ursa as well. And the mid lane, at any given point, there's not if you have at least 1 point into the queue, like you get that onto the Wex, or you have some bonus movement speed, Ricky shouldn't be able to heal you from one rotation from Bane, can save you as well.
I feel like they need Troll in the safe lane against that dual lane. Like, what's Ember going to do?
Yeah, Ember can't, like it
he's
has to
not
be Ember
strong
mid.
early. He's
Yeah.
not strong early game. Like, I'm the first like 1 level or 2 level. You know, he's going to run it. So I feel like they need Troll to like stabilize the lane. I don't know. It's very difficult. And if they send Ursa mid because they know they need Troll top, you know, I feel like this could be a situation. Yeah.
This seems like a pretty strong draw from XCC. I can't imagine what last year Energy is going to get now in the
well, I
offlane.
mean,
like
what you
rounds
could
of
also
rollout.
do is you could just pick something that's even better against Ember in mid lane than an Ursa.
It's like few
What's
things
better?
are. Like SF is the only thing I can think of that like makes it harder.
SF wouldn't be too bad here.
Yeah, SF wouldn't be too awful. Like,
Terrible.
Yeah, so it is Ursa mid.
Okay.
They're gonna have issues. Magnus,
Oh,
there we
okay.
go. That's a
forgotten
good
horn.
against Ursa. It's a very good. I think it's
Yeah.
Mag. I'm not Mag. I'm Terrorblade.
Yeah,
It's amazing with the Terrorblade in the
Yeah.
lane, actually.
I'm
This
actually
is-
really glad that they've gone to Magnus as well. Like, it's
Yeah.
been forgotten in this
There we go.
tournament.
Yeah.
And it's quite a strong-
Chelsea. Haha. There we
It'll be
go.
interesting.
watching
He
international
doesn't play
Dota.
Magnus. So I'm surprised that he picked this. Like I
Right,
want to see.
I recall him playing Magnus like ages ago. We were like,
There's a reason he doesn't pick it anymore.
maybe.
Bad memories.
Right, well, once more, of course, we do have Riddits and Scarpy on the casting desk. Riddits and Scarpy! How's it going over there?
Well, I was calling Terrorblade for Energy, and Terrorblade got picked up for XTC. Copy.
Yeah, you definitely did bring that one up, but I'm so glad to see a Magnus. I mean, it's why haven't they picked Magnus yet? And finally, we get to see a Magnus play in.
Like
With an
with a
Ember
he-
Spirit, it's
With the hair of Magnus, you know, the dreads coming, or the like braids coming down, it will actually fit very well with Devon's beard. What do you think, Devon?
I think that you're just overly excitable because you're going to get to scream RP very loudly at some point in this game.
Oh yes, you better believe it. You
Well,
better believe it.
I'm gonna run out of here. I'm gonna go stand outside the studio to wait to hear it. Take
make
it away,
your
boys.
plug
Have a good one.
Well, guys, this is, of course, Energy versus XTC Game 2. Can Energy take it back and bring it to a Game 3? Of course, then PSL will be coming in and standing in there. Or is XTC going to take this 2-0? What do you think?
well, that's the real question, right? Energy, they've got their work set out for them. They down one game. They've got a nice draft. I like the idea of seeing the Magnus in here. I think it's going to be a big playmaker. The Troll Warlord is also pretty useful. So on top of that, so I like their draft. Even Ember can make use of the Empower. So laning is going to be, well, quite interesting.
Yeah. Well, if we have a look, I mean, in DAC, that was like a couple of months ago. We saw Baboka playing that pos for Magnus and just doing so well, comboing that up with the Juggernaut. And you can have that exact same thing coming up here with the Troll as well as with the Ember Spirit. Just doing so much damage. The reverse polarity coming in with the Troll Warlord in melee form there, or, you know, after empowered up Ember Spirit. It's just going to be doing so much damage.
Yeah. But,
Energy, they stand a chance here.
but of course, we must just say, like, RP is just one of the stronger abilities in the game, right? It just is useful continuously throughout the entire game. It probably scales stronger because it is always going to be a lockdown, even if you do have BKBs. So I think Magnus is just, it's going to be the hero to really watch as the game progresses. From the early stages, he's going to sort of enableize his team, and then after that, he's going to look to be the playmaker for them. And Chelsea is definitely one of the players that are probably best at doing that.
Well, I mean, if you have a look here, we were also busy wondering, is this going to be an Adastam Ursa or a Depi Ursa? We know that Depi does play Ursa, and that Ursa does counter the Ember Spirit quite hard. But we also have seen Adastam playing Ursa in the safe lane role, and everyone was busy thinking, should they pick up an Invoker here? Yes, no. What are your thoughts in regards with picking up the Terrorblade for the side of XTC
I think
up against 4 melee heroes,
yeah,
technically?
I think the Terrorblade's still fine. I think they surely have a plan. It works pretty well with Abaddon in the sense that if Abaddon just hits the tower once, the illusions are beating away at that building. Other than that, I think the laning is interesting. Depi should win his matchup. However, if the Ricky is making successful rotations, Depi could be under a bit of pressure. So I do expect to see at least a sort of ward trade in mid continuously, where they need to have sentries up at all times. So that's something that we'll have to keep an eye on.
So the invis tax is real here.
Yeah, definitely. I think the CM is going to be, even though they have the invis on their team, early on she's going to have to probably keep it pretty well stocked to make sure that at least they can't scout that Ricky out. Because if Ricky walks into the lane and they got a sentry, they scout him out, it's going to be a very, very tragic situation for the Ricky as he just walks into the bear.
And Fury Swipes, that's going to be like 3 or 4 attacks and the Ricky will die.
Yeah, Ricky's pretty susceptible to that. So.
Considering Ricky will probably be around level 2 by the time Ursa's level 4, level 5.
Yeah.
So it might even be less than that.
Yeah.
But we do have a pause coming up right now. Of course, I do have all the players muted so that we don't get spammed out with all of those emotes and chars and all of that coming through.
Or the coloring in of the map.
Or the coloring in. Oh, my word.
Yeah.
Luckily, you guys cannot see that. But imagine the map looking like a rainbow right now.
But, I mean, at the same time, laning stages, I think this is very essential to say. Like, Bane is not really set up with much besides the Ursa. That's why I was we were talking about saying Invoker could be pretty good because it's good setup with the Bane, and Bane also sets up pretty well for the Ursa to make sure he can get in a good position, get his crush off, and then Fury swipe. So that's why we were more than likely thinking, oh, okay, Ursa's probably going to go to the safe lane.
It just puts so much more pressure on the early game.
Yeah.
Now giving Aristam the Turblade, going more for the late game builds here, or for the late game, Ursa to try and control up the mid game. Oh yeah, you see all of those spams coming through on your PC.
Yeah.
That's why I muted them. So it's an interesting matchup here coming through, and I don't think we're actually going to be seeing a lot of early kills during this game. I think both teams are going to be quite composed. However, Energy do have a deadline, and they do want to finish this game as quickly as possible, and they want to take this win, and then PSL is going to be coming into game 3. What do you think will happen if we get to that point?
I think it's going to be interesting, right? PSL is still a great player. He can definitely slot in pretty well here. Being down, I think it's Chelsea who's not going to be able to play if when it gets to that time. So it hurts him quite a lot. Chelsea's been quite the playmaker for the side of Energy. Even in the first game, even though they did lose, Chelsea was probably one of the more standout players with his next assassin. So that's something for us to at least be aware of if it does get to a game 3. Going back to your point where you were saying, the laning stages and going into the late game, there's a timer, but at the same time, Ecstasy can't afford to make really big mistakes. They are playing into a Magnus. If they group up, they get caught in an RP, it's very quickly going to go the other way around where, we've lost now multiple team fights continuously, and we must never underestimate late game potential with the Magnus as well as the Ember Spirit. When he does get Octarine Core up, he's going to be able to do the Slider Fist with Cleave. So even though, yes, he's probably not going to be building the physical damage build, the old build for the Ember Spirit, he's going to more than likely be going the Magic. It's still going to dish out a tremendous amount of damage. So that's something that we should also be aware of going into the late game.
Okay, so did you see on chat what the guys are saying? What's happening here? Deppy, of course, did disconnect. So let's have a quick look to see if we can... Oh, wow, that's so much spam coming through there. So we can't scroll up that far. The power that the Crystal Main is going to have here with the mana regen coming through onto the likes of the Troll. Troll can actually start spamming out his Whirling Axes a bit more. It's a very low cooldown ability with a very low mana pool, so that will literally keep those up constantly. Magnus will actually be able to he'll be able to spam Shockwave. Just having the CM allows a lot of spamming coming through here from all of the heroes, including the Ember Spirit and his chains.
Yeah, I think the most important thing there is for the Ember Spirit. Yes, he's more than likely going to have a bottle. It actually looks like he's going to go for boots, and this is the right thing. He realizes, okay, I'm going to be going up against Ursa is going to try running me down. I need movement speed. It was a problem we saw, I think, XD when they were laning with Ember versus Ursa. He got the bottle online, but it just meant that the Ursa could run him down. And unfortunately, he kept on dying.
Is that XTC or XD?
I think it was Ecstasy that ran it.
Okay.
Yeah. So they kept on. I think it was Ecstasy versus XD. I can't remember. It was definitely XD though. It was TKC that made the error of not going for boots, and it cost him quite a bit. But here we go.
Oh, let's have a look here. The game has started. 2 TPs down towards the middle lane. Mr. Pottykins getting not actually planting a ward just yet. Just trying to scout out what he can. Top lane, deep ward being planted down as well. So from the side of Energy, they want to know where the rotations are. They want to know where everyone is here.
This is so nice from Mr. Pottykins. He's standing here, so he knows, oh, my smoke is broken. Okay, I know someone's here now. And so that's why he was being so patient, just making sure that, okay, if the support's here, he's going to ward. I'll know exactly where he's warded, so I can de-ward very quickly. And now he'll just be able to scout out Deppy. I don't think they're looking to make a rotation on him.
Mr. Pottykins, is he going to do any sneaky shenanigans to try and get this top ruin? Do you think? with maybe some body blocks coming through again.
I don't. Yeah, I want to see the body blocks. The Sancho body blocks.
Exactly.
That's always good fun. I think when you do play up against the Ricky, you should more often than not just send a support to make sure that you get a decent block off in the mid lane. But
I saw pings coming out. From where were those pings? I think it was from his own team.
Yeah.
And Mr. Potikins blocking up. I think Dodon actually knows now.
Yeah, I think he bumped into him there. So they didn't drop a sentry at the ruin. Deppy's still going to try and get it, but Mr. Potikins looks like look at him cancelling the animation there.
Oh, so close,
So
but no
close.
cigar. And they're not getting the body block off either. He's just busy attacking Deppy at this point. Just trying to do a little bit of chip damage on him, but with 2 tangos up as well as a fairy fire, Deppy will be okay here in the middle lane.
Yeah, and Deppy's going to get a good block. Exactly what I said. Don't Die did go down there. He did block up and made sure that he will have some sort of success. Now, not very good trades from Mr. Potikins. The Nightstalker does hit a little bit harder than that of a Ricky.
A little bit. He say a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's, 23 damage difference, so it's not very good trades. But he's going to go rejoin the fray here. I mean, Abaddon plus Nightstalker, pretty scary matchup to go up against once they sort of get a couple of levels on hand.
Yeah, mid lane, Deppy already being pressured out a little bit here by Mr. Potikins, but I think he'll be okay with this. I don't think Mr. Potikins can really do that much up with Chosen One this early on. Where do you think the first blood is going to come from, though?
Oh, that's pretty difficult to say, but I think top. Either Skynet's going to have to dive too deep, or they're going to find themselves a kill because they're managing to do enough damage. So we'll see.
I mean, Dreamy can put out quite a decent amount of damage here up to this Abaddon, and they can. Oh wait, or are we going to see Dota and I? Nope, they just back off.
Yeah, again, these are 2 extremely tanky heroes for the TKC in their dual lane. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know if they're going to die unless they ultra overextend. But I think it's going to probably be post-laning stages that we see a kill.
Well, Dreamy does take quite a bit of damage here up with Skynet as well as Dota and I. They are sort of using the Crystal Maiden to try and pull in and be very greedy and farm up as much as possible. While Ricky's still rotating through, dewarding instantly. Wait, that was a full both deward, 2 times deward.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Which is still worth it for Mr. Potikins.
Yeah, always. As long as I think that he also got Observer Wood somewhere along the line.
Keep in mind, for those of you guys that don't follow Dota that well, Ricky goes invis, and of course you do get sentries or wards that look like this one on top, but that can see. These are observer wards. They give you full vision, and the sentry wards give you vision on invisible heroes. So that's why Mr. Potikins, he's running around mid. He's actually trying to do as much as possible up against Deppy, because Deppy can't see him coming. So, they do have to be a little bit careful here. But top lane, I mean, I honestly don't know. Oh, middle lane now. Sorry, I was busy looking at top lane to see if there's anything there. I think this is going to be a very static first 10-15 minutes.
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure. I think the only potential is maybe Ricky making a rotation down to bot. Magnus could potentially be in trouble. I mean, Terrorblade does a lot of physical damage, but by that time, Chelsea's already got 1 point up into Skewer, so if he necessarily
well, Ricky is with Magnus in the same team, so Ricky plus Magnus, I don't think they can kill a Terrorblade.
Oh, no, what I meant is the Terrorblade, like, okay, yeah. I'm saying the wrong things.
I think you meant that the Terrorblade might actually be able to get a kill onto the Ricky if the Ricky tries to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Terrorblade does a lot of physical damage, right? And Chelsea, if they do make a rotation down here, it could be pretty either go either way. But Chelsea more than likely won't go down just due to the fact that he does have Skewer, and Doombunny can't really do much about that. Does have a double damage, so he's going to harass him out. But that's
Strike having his boots of speed up already. He's actually busy rotating through towards the middle lane. This is something we haven't actually spoken about, is if Strike rotates around to any of the lanes, it could actually help out. And they might actually be able to get a kill with that. Especially if Strike and Chelsea gets early TP on. If anyone dives, which might actually happen here on Skynet.
Yeah, I mean, Skynet, he needs to be a bit careful. He's quite low. He's nowhere close to level 6. Shrines are going to be up in about a minute, so he's got to wait a decent amount of time. So
Deppy going in onto Chosen One right now. Is the freeze going to be there? Is this going to be the first blood coming through? Ursa taking a lot of damage right now, but is he going to turn around? Who's going to be the first person to die? It is going to be Chosen One getting the kill on Deppy, getting it up for energy, and this is the start they wanted. An unfavorable lane getting the blood.
Yeah, there was two-man rotation onto him, and Mr. Pottikins was very close to the brink of death there. I mean, he had 10 HP when he did get out. So pretty close, but still, like you said, the unfavorable matchup, he gets a kill there, so this is definitely just good news for C1 at this current stage. And he's keeping up with CS. I suppose the only pressure there is that if he sort of gets harassed, but I think the Ricky pick is sort of evens out this matchup between the two.
Yeah, especially with the experience coming through. Ricky's been mid quite a bit as well. And now, I mean, we literally just spoke about Strike being possibly the reason that a First Blood comes in, but Strike actually getting a stack off and missing the Ancient stack. Uncharacteristic of him there.
Yeah, they're putting a bit of pressure now into C1. They know that the supports have rotated out, and they try and force him out of lane. So Deppy, he's almost level 6, and C1, he's sort of behind a little bit.
Yeah.
It's getting to that, like you said, the supports rotating and have consumed a little bit of his experience. But I mean, Deppy forced out to use his ultimate right now, so the sports, they can see that and maybe make a rotation.
That's a very short cooldown one, so...
Yeah, but they were right there. They're looking for it. They're smoked up. They're wrapping around.
Well, let's have a look how this wraparound goes through. If they're actually going to be able to get the kill once again, they're going to go long way around. And it seems like, no, they don't.
He just wanted to get the item.
Around.
Yeah. He just wanted to get the item on the courier, make sure the courier doesn't get scattered. So
let's have a look here. If Deppy manages, if he does push up a little bit, this is going to be very dangerous because he's not over the river just yet. But they do decide to go in. Unfortunately, Ursa, he is silenced up right now. Ursa is going to drop for the second time. Once again, going the way of Chosen One. Chosen One sitting 2-0.
Yeah, so the supports scouting out that he used his ultimate. They were in the close vicinity. They made an instant smoke as soon as they saw that, rotated around the back, and just a successful movement once again. And no real rotations coming out for Deppy there. So
well, XCC's busy pushing the bottom lane. That's why there's no rotations up. Oh wait, for Deppy, yeah. But XCC's pushing bottom lane now, so they could not rotate through towards the middle lane. They could not set any of the other supports in to try and help him. They got the bottom tier on tower, so knowing that, listen, even if we do TP in mid, we're not going to actually hit anything. And are we going to see any further kind of engagement here? They want to go onto the bait. The triple remnant coming through here. Chosen One might be getting an extra double kill. He does. He gets it. They want to turn around onto more. Adestam's in a lot of trouble himself. Are they going to be able to get anything? His metamorphosis form is down at this point. But still, what a kill. What a double kill coming up from Ember Spirit. Getting the triple remnants down.
Yeah. So that was really big. As well, getting both those heroes in his steering chains. And that was enough for him to sort of secure that kill for himself. So, yeah, he'll be very glad with that outcome there. So C1, his laning stages have gone far better than we personally expected it to go.
Don't die. Might be engaged upon here. Dreamy is busy targeting him. Strike, of course, did freeze him up. Don't die does have a shield on, and he wants to dive. It is nighttime right now, so his movement speed is ridiculous. There's a reason why they call him the Night Stalker, the Batman.
Yeah.
Well, we have Batman versus Goblin right here, literally.
Yeah.
It's Batman and Goblin might be in a lot of trouble right now. Dreamy does use the whirling axes. Are they actually going to be able to turn around? Batman is down. The Night Stalker drops. Underestimating the power of the whirling axes.
I think also underestimating that Ricky was in the general area. That smoke gave him a bit of trouble, yes. I don't know, the rest of his team sort of like, oh, we don't want to take part. If Skynet got a shield down on him there when he dove in like that, that could have easily been a kill on Dreamy. So a bit odd that he actually dove for it knowing that Skynet wasn't going to be involved.
Yeah, well, let's have a look back here. It is 8 minutes into the game. Net worth, Chosen One leading the chart with 3,900, followed up by Adestam on 3.7, then 3.1, then 2.9. It's a very even game right now. It is Dire, Radiant, Dire, Radiant. Dire, Radiant, Radiant, Dire, Radiant, Dire. So, ever so slightly in favor of Dire, actually, because of the Ember Spirits here.
Yeah, and now they're going to look for the Ursa. They're going to look to pressure him. Pottikins is in the area, but he's scattered out here about a sentry. He knows that he's forced 3 supports down here, so they might even look towards other lanes to see if they can maybe catch out either Chelsea or whoever's in the top lane. So Chelsea, they know he's alone. It's actually daytime now, so not a very easy kill for Night Stalker.
Just quickly having a look at all of the different heroes right now. Ursa building up towards a full Vlad, it seems. So not going up for an early blink or anything. He wants to go standard build, get the Vlads up, and then move forward from there.
Yeah, it's quite common. I think more often than not, I think a few occasions we saw Blink Dagger get picked up early. But if your team's playstyle really permits it,
And
I
that's
don't
also
think they
more
do.
your like safe laner that could possibly go for that Blink Dagger when your mid's actually doing very well
Yeah.
to just jump in and put even more pressure on the enemy team.
Yeah.
But Ricky is rotated here towards the bottom lane. Can they go onto Bane and Batman? Literally.
Yeah, on the same team. It's a alternate universe once again.
This is the Mega 8 extended universe.
Yeah, there we go. And actually, Donadai, he's... I don't think they're going to kill him here. I think the Ricky's just sort of maybe going to do some scouting. But going back to the Ursa's build, going for the Vlads, it's also going to help him farm, considering the fact that he's not really having a great laning stage. He's died a couple of times. In fact, twice, yeah. So he does need to sort of find a way to farm. It's also going to obviously give early access to Roshan.
And Dreamy here towards the top lane. I mean, he is sitting above the Ursa currently. 3,700 net worth, building up towards a full SNY already. He has his phase boots up. He has a poor man shield up. Do you like an early SNY like this, or do you prefer any other kind of item build on the troll?
I'm personally a big SNY fan on the troll.
Especially after the buff.
Yeah, for sure. I think SNY is, even before, Skynet actually going to have his ulti popped here by Dreamy. And yeah, he's going to be forced out. I mean, Sanjay Yasha is just such a underrated item sometimes, but I suppose Manta's often the better pick. But for this year in particular, Sanjay Yasha is just great.
So you wouldn't take a Manta and then heading into a Heaven's Halberd rather?
No, I personally like the Sanjay Yasha. It just gives you those stats quickly, and then you can look for the rest of your itemization from there, whether it be Shadowblade or potentially going into BKB.
Well,
Skynet needs to be careful, very careful.
I mean, the thing about a like Abaddon offlaner is you want to constantly put pressure on the lane. You're like a farming offlaner, just being in the lane, pushing out the lane, being in the lane, pushing out the lane until you're ready to fight. But going up against a Troll is actually doing very well there.
Yeah.
Oh, massive stack coming through here, and Mr. Puddykins, he is going to stay right where he is. He's going to get a lot of experience and probably hit his level 6 because of this. Thank you, Adestam.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll be happy about that outcome.
I will send you a big thank you letter.
In fact, they're just swarming around Adestam. Yeah, he's in trouble.
Adestam might be in a lot of trouble right now. Are they going to actually be able to choose the right one? There you go. Terrorblade is in a lot of trouble. The RP's used. Chosen one comes in, but it is going to be Chelsea getting the kill. Deppy, however, he wants to move in forward. Mr. Puddykins is scouted out. Tricks on trades actually being used. The enrage is there on Deppy. Are they going to be able to do anything? Try comes in just to give Mr. Puddykins enough space to move away. Will they be able to get anything further? There is no ultimate up on Skynet just yet. I think if they knew that, they might have actually pushed in forward.
Yeah, and I suppose it's a bit of a concern. He only had one more remnant left on the Ember Spirit. The second one's coming up right about now. So I think if he jumps in there, he doesn't really have a good answer for escape. He does have Blade Mail though, which is pretty interesting. Didn't go for a Veil up front, went straight for that Blade Mail. So yeah, it's still pretty good. I mean, it's...
Ricky also not doing badly, sitting above the Bane at this point, sitting on full phase boot up, so this will actually make him a lot more mobile, and this vision that the Ricky's giving the Energy team is just tremendous. Look at that, the Remnant's coming in right now, once again onto Deppy. Deppy pops his ultimate off, the Enrage, and he should be able to get out of that. However, Chosen One and Mr. Puddykins has to be careful themselves. Strike comes in, does manage to scout out Donadai. Donadai gets frozen up. Deppy wants to go in, and the Bane Fiend's Grip was actually used there, but the smoke coming up from the Ricky, saving up Chosen One, and he's just like, my captain, my life for my captain.
Yeah, really good work there. Ooh, CM ult.
CM attempted ult.
Poor CM.
Poor little CM.
Yeah, the poor
How
maiden.
many times do you see that? That just,
Yeah, Crystal Maiden is just pretty squishy. So if he's in a poor position, he's more than likely going to die every time. There's an Ursa on the opposing team. There's a Terrorblade. Both of these cores are just
Ursa
do tremendous amount of damage. Yeah, and I mean Terrorblade, yes, they killed him once, but he's still farming okay. Once he starts to get some more stats online, he's getting his Dragon Lance up right now. Once his stats are a little bit higher, his farming is going to increase dramatically, as his illusions will just be able to clean up the camps a lot quicker.
and Dragon Lance is such an amazing stats item. I mean, you'll even see some Meepos picking up like a couple of Dragon Lords just early on because it's so cheap and it really gives good stats.
You say some, I say all Meepos get it. It's almost core now, even on a non-range hero, like you say. It's just so good. It's
Well, with SNY coming back in, you know, it does throw that a little bit, like throw that left hook in, but I would still pick it up because it's 1,900.
Yeah, it's far cheaper. It's just
You can buy 2 Dragon Lancers for the price of 1 SNY and get nearly the same amount of stats. The SNY, although, gives
maim, but you don't need
maim, but
with
you
that
don't need
hero,
that as a
yeah.
Meepo. Definitely not.
But I mean, in this situation, it's
Where's
just
the Hunter Meepo when
it's-
we want it?
Yeah, it's a great Terrorblade game, Terrorblade pickup, of course, because his Metamorphosis just does so much damage, and he's going to look to siege buildings with the Dragon Lance, and then more than likely build into the Mantis Slice, so he has this huge army. But mid lane,
Doom Bunny coming in through with an ultimate onto the Ember Spirit. He, of course, does get silenced up. Chosen One, he is still alive, so no one has actually dropped from this. The silence on this Ricky is just causing so much chaos here from Doom for Doom Bunny.
yeah, it's something that I suppose we should have spoke about. Mr. Potikin is actually a pretty solid counter to that of the Bane. So Bane can't really get a long channel of people. The Ricky's going to jump on him and then throw the smoke. Oh!
Well, we are going to see an engage onto Doom Bunny right now. He does get the sleep in onto the Ember Spirit, but here he goes. Mr. Potikin's actually going in. Tricks of the trade, getting the kill. Deppy, however, wants to move in forward. Are they going to be able to get the kill? The counter kill onto Mr. Potikins is there, and it's going to be Adeslam. He is just hitting like a truck already, and this is exactly what they wanted. Look at the amount of damage he can output, and they're just going to barrel down mid with this. It's a 1-for-2 trade-off in favor of XTC. All of a sudden, XTC are back in the game.
Yeah, and Ecstasy, this is the power of the Terrorblade, right? He's going to be able to push down buildings very quickly now. Once his Metamorphosis has been used, he's got quite a long duration remaining.
Look at the chance coming through. Chelsea blinking it forward, not using his RP, but getting a good skewer off, actually trapping out the Night Stalker, taking away the vision there. Skynet, his ultimate is also popped right now. Are we going to see any kind of counter engage, or are they going to sack Skynet? They might actually decide to, no, Skynet draws them away. The rest of XTC decide they're not going to fight this, considering there is still an RP up. Very good blink in forward from the Magnus, getting the skewer back. And on that pos 4 Magnus, pos 3 Magnus, pos 4 Magnus.
Pos 3, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Night Stalker seems more like the pos 3 at this point, considering they both nearly have, not the Night Stalker, the Ricky. Considering they actually nearly have the same amount of farm.
Well,
Actually not.
3,000 difference is quite
3,000 versus
significant.
5,500. Sorry, I was looking at the Night Stalker there.
Don't
I am
worry.
a noob and I've just missed the kill onto
Yes.
Mr. Potikins.
Yeah, well, he just walked under a sentry, and then they just knew where to dust, and
He
got
walked
caught
under a
out, so-
sentry and died.
I mean, we
How
spoke
shocking.
about this in one of the previous casts. Is when you cast an Ursa, it's so difficult. You sometimes miss a kill because he just kills like squishy heroes like that almost.
Yeah, you
instantly.
can't follow the HP bars that are on
Yeah.
top here, which a lot of people like me, I use that to check what's happening in the game.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was literally thinking, I was like looking at the Night Stalker and I'm like thinking, okay, so Night Stalker, you know, is busy driving around,
I had the
etc.
same mistake right at the beginning. I had I had the Terrorblade and the Ricky on the same team. So
Yeah, yeah.
whoops.
Noobing it up right there, and
Oh.
Chelsea this time, there you go, turning around, getting the ultimate off. Now the body blocks are coming through. The RP, of course, was used, but it was only onto the one hero, but it will be worth it. Skynet is going to drop down, and Dreamy's on a killing spree. Deppy's also on a killing spree, however. Once again, this Ursa just making us casters look very... yeah, I'm not going to say that.
Speak for yourself.
Did you catch it? Did you catch it?
Yeah, that was the two fights happened at about the same time. So it's
Oh, Doom Bunny are they going to turn around onto the Ember Spirit? The Ember Spirit, is the Bane ultimate going to be used there or not? No, it's just going to be added Sam. Look at the amount of damage he does. And XTC, what is happening here? XTC is just taking control of the game.
Wow, that's absolutely brutal how much damage he does to the Crystal Maiden. But yeah, I mean, it's again the Terrorblade really wasn't a part of much early on, and now that he's starting to join the fray every once in a while, his damage output is so high that you have to be careful. And the silence coming out from the Night Stalker.
It is a level 4 Metamorphosis with a Yasha as well as a Dragon Lance.
Yeah.
He does 265 damage per right click, and then he has illusions.
Yeah, so, I mean, and he's got Vlads on his team with the Ursa, which makes a very big impact on the amount of damage output he does and how sustainable he is in these
I wonder
team
what
fights.
happens if you put a Terrorblade up with a pos 4 Drow.
I don't think it's a good idea. I know you want it to happen.
I
know you want it to
leave me-
happen, but it's not gonna
I am
happen.
going to continue on talking about a pause 4 round until someone in the South African scene picks it up.
Yeah, but what division?
I don't care. Open division.
I don't know. I just don't see it happening. It's
Yeah,
cute. but-
after they changed the cast points of the guys, they did make a big impact. But bottom lane, Energy busy pushing it out, so trying to at least split push up and get some map control back. It's sitting on 10 and 10, still in their favor though, but XTC has brought this game back quite a bit.
Yeah.
Look at that net worth.
Yeah. But at the same time, Dreamy is pretty farmed. He went for the Blink Dagger, so he's going to have some sort of
I like this.
engagement.
I like this.
He still lacks sort of the magic resistance, the magic immunity, but then again, you're playing up against an Ursa who's just beating you up, so
What
it's fine.
what magic do you want to immune yourself against?
I mean, Bane is going to be able to lock you down.
It's
so
Bane, but
it's a
Bane's ulti,
silence.
even if you have even if you have a BKB, it's still gonna work. However, they want to turn around onto Ursa. Ursa costly and rage, so they have to try to do something. The wraparound smoke is there. Is this gonna be an RP? An RP onto 2 heroes. The skewer is there. The shockwave. The Crystal Maiden is casting her ultimate as well. And very well played, Chelsea, getting the skewer onto Adestan, pushing him away. However, the Aegis was popped there as well. Dreamy is still going crazy. Dreamy is going ham. And this is Energy just dominating the side of XTC. Are we going to see? There you go. Chosen One coming in once again. Adestan's in a lot of trouble, and the control is there.
Wow.
Full 5-man team wipe.
Yeah, so that was weird coming out from Ecstasy. Adestam's Metamorphosis was about 5-second cooldown when they took that fight. I'm surprised that they didn't wait for it.
Well, they didn't really take the fight. Energy smoked up right here, so they weren't seen. And then they just went in straight, got the initiation from the Magnus, the RP, the Shockwave. And as the CM was getting her ultimate off, Adam actually tried to go onto the CM, but then Chelsea's like, that is my support. You leave my support alone. I protect my supports. I wish people in my games did that when I played support. And he skewered Adestam away.
Yeah,
Insane play coming up from Chelsea.
but again, they knew that they were there. I think they overextended, I feel. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm incorrect there, but the fact that they got caught out and then lost the fight and there was no Metamorphosis on Adestam, all he could do was sort of like make an illusion throughout his reflect, which is pretty good, but it didn't make enough of a difference. It didn't stop the Magnus by any from blinking in or anything of that sort. So it was just a disaster, really.
From
for
800 net worth up to 4,700 right now. That was nearly a 4,000 net worth jump.
Oh.
And are we going to see Dreamy getting a kill here? The sleep is there onto Doom Bunny. And yeah, Dreamy's just like, I really don't care. Get the axes off. But Dreamy, this is... Oh, wait, here's the counter engage coming through. Energy, they want to move in forward. There's the Yules up onto the Ursa. Are they going to push in any further than this? There is no RP up, but the RP will be up in 4 seconds. So look for the side of Energy to group up once again, playing around these timing windows of their abilities, of their ultimates. Energy is looking strong.
I really like the item build coming out from the Ember, going for the Eels, knowing that there's silence against them, and easy way for him to escape at mid.
No engage just yet. Well, there was a bit of an engage, and will they actually decide to, or will they kill the Night Stalker here? The slow is there. Are they actually going to be able to get anything? Tricks on the trade. Neely getting the kill off. Chosen One wants to go in. He's undecided, moving back and forth. He does Remnant out, but this is Adestam. He is hasted up. He has his Metamorphosis up. He wants to go for more. Will he actually be able to get anything? The Roots is there onto him. And no one died. The CM actually did.
Yeah, Strike managing to get picked off pretty deep in behind enemy lines there, so a bit unfortunate.
I see.
So the Night Stalker, obviously, just it's night time. You're gonna lose the fight.
Jumping onto Adestam right now. Adestam, of course, does get healed up, does get shielded up by Abaddon, but gets blown up here. Dreamy just going crazy. The one thing we like spoke about is Adestam on the Terrorblade. Extremely well. Well, Terrorblade as a hero is extremely well, plays very well up against melee heroes. Okay, it's a good melee hero counter, especially when you go up against 4 melee heroes, troll, semi-melee. However, you cannot cast your Sunder. Sunder is the ultimate ability of the Terrorblade, which swaps your HP. So when you're very low, you just swap it out. Why? Once again, Ricky is there.
Yeah.
Ricky on the Bane, Ricky on the Terrorblade. This Ricky is, in my opinion, actually proving why Ricky should be considered a top-tier pick.
Yeah, and again, Mr. Podikins, I think, is also just one of the best support players, I think, currently in South Africa. He's just been playing really, really good Dota. And yeah, they're gonna find themselves another tier 2 tower here. And Ricky is really close to finishing up. Okay, he's gonna finish up a diff, I assume, and then go for the Yasha. So he's really close to a diff. He's farmed. He's really, really farmed considering the position he's been playing.
Well, he's sitting on 4,900 net worth versus his counterpart is...
It's actually the Nightstalker who's done really well,
yeah,
but it's sort
that's
of
doing
switched
very
out.
well.
Yeah.
Oh, the RP was not completely whiffed. The RP was whiffed up here by Chelsea.
Oopsie.
He tried to jump in. I'm not quite sure what happened or who did he try to go on. I just saw the animation, saw it whiff, so no RPs coming up here for this next fight.
He was, you know what he was doing? He was cancelling animation. I spoke about this with you yesterday. I said, when you're playing at this level, you don't do these things and you make that mistake.
Oh, no. Oh, Radiant Courier being killed up here, 2,150 net worth. What was in the Courier?
Oh, 2,100? Sounds like a Yasha or a Sage, potentially.
That was for Radiant. Most likely because, well, the Manta style recipe. No, that was
2,000. It was yeah, it's completing the Manta.
Completing the
wow.
Manta.
That's a long time to wait for a Manta star.
Yeah. Shame on you, Chelsea, for animate.
I think it was animation cancel.
Animation cancel. If it was.
But I mean, there was no one there, so
I don't know if someone was maybe teeping out. I'm only caught the tail end of that.
yeah. All I heard, all I
Production, we want replay.
I heard it, but yeah, Mr. Podikins. Another thing that we didn't bring up is how strong he is with Empower on the Ricky. He hits extremely hard, and it's also going to help him farm very quickly. And in fact, flying to him right now
and
is
the
a
tricks
diff.
and the tricks of the trade as well. It's having that, you know, carry style Ricky with a Battle Fury. You know what? Like a lot of people tried when Ricky came out with the new tricks of the trade.
Yeah.
Having that on, I did not even think of that. That is actually so powerful.
Yeah, so another big story here for Ecstasy is, however, that they are getting the Agnum Scepter up on Dota and Die very soon, so that they're going to have sort of their vision game in the advantage. So Dota and Die, like you say, has pretty much taken over the role of that position 3 and is farming up pretty quick. He obviously did go for the Andromidas, which is going to help him. There we go. He's actually got the Ags complete now, and now he's going to try and get that gem as quick as possible.
Yeah, I mean, that will give a lot of vision, especially considering you're up against a Magnus that wants to jump an RPU. You'll be able to actually scout him out, be able to scout out the Ricky and the sneaky movements of the Ricky. So Nightstalker up against a Ricky is a very good pick, especially after you get the Ags and the gem up. Technically, you should be safe. But let's have a look here. Energy are busy pushing in. Roche is still not up yet. Around 2 minutes left.
Yeah, so Roche, I think, is going to be highly contested. Both teams have very good Roche on taking heroes, the Ursa as well as the Troll Warlord.
This will be the second Roche.
Yeah, so it's going to be Cheese as well. So this should be where they would like to fight. And they both have sort of heroes that can solo take it. So either side, whoever gets in the pit first, can sort of position themselves to say, okay, if you want to come and contest us, we are prepared for it. So,
however, the side of XTC has the perfect lineup to try and counter that with the Nightstalker and assume, well, if he gets his gem up now, because he'll be able to actually scout that happening a lot easier and a lot safer.
yeah, for sure. So we see them still like sort of moving as a unit. The side of Energy, they're going to see if they can catch something off guard, but RP is back off cooldown now. So
yep, the smoke is there. Smoke does not get popped, but they do decide to jump onto Adestam. Adestam is down. He is dead. He was blown up. Skynet might be in a lot of trouble right now as well. Keep in mind, Troll Warlord, look at the items that he actually has. He has a full Sanjay and Yasha. He has a full Eye of Scotty. Dreamy is just so powerful at this point. Skynet is going to drop only like 1 or 2 more hits needed. The missed chances are real. Dreamy is diving extremely far, and he's the one to go in. The rest of the team, the RP onto 2 heroes right now. The Shockwave is there as well. Dreamy getting a double kill, and this is the game coming out for Energy. They will have to do something dramatic to lose this.
well, debated. He ran up into the enemy's high ground and sort of set up for Chelsea as they grouped up all around
But
him.
they couldn't kill him.
Yeah, he's just so huge. He's got a Scotty, like you pointed out.
18,000 net worth versus Adestam's 11,000.
He is.
That is at 28 minutes in. He is nearly doubling, sitting around 75%
Wow.
extra net worth than the opponent carry.
Yeah, and they just
What is this?
they're just destroying the racks now. There's really no answer right now. I mean,
No Glyph.
oh,
No
poor Vayne.
Glyph, no nothing. Bane dead.
Yeah,
Having a look at that Chosen One, getting a Remnant down back towards the back line, and they decide to back off right now. I do like this because guess what? Rosh is up.
yeah. So this is just you couldn't have scripted it any better for Energy. They're going to be able to mop up Rush pretty quickly. They did use Glyph there just on the tier 3 tower, but I mean, it's not going to slow that down. They just didn't have. I don't think they had buybacks on anyone, which is a big problem. And now, quick Rosh.
Look at the attack speed up here on this troll. It is ridiculous. It sort of looks like that old school Alchemist build.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, the AC build. Yeah.
Let's have a look if no engage coming through. XTC was busy considering it. And they have actually popped Metamorphosis. So is this going to be them fighting it? This is their last hurrah?
It seems like I don't think they feel like they're in the position where it's completely lost, but it feels sort of I wouldn't say impossible, but very unlikely for them to pull this one out of the bag right now. So they do have a nice talker with Ags and a gem, so they can sort of control the map a bit as long as they can sort of wait out that Aegis on the Troll Warlord.
Well, let's have a look here. Night Stalker sitting. I think what's going to be big coming up soon is going to be the buybacks. And there is a buyback on Adestam.
Oh.
There is a... Let's quickly... Why are you saying oh?
Oh no, I'm just looking at the item.
I'm like looking. What's happening? What's happening?
Oh no, sorry.
Yeah, so there is a buyback on Adestam, and that's the only hero on the Radiant side that has buyback at this point. This is very dangerous for the side of XTC and Energy. They're busy pushing up bottom lane.
Yeah.
They have the Aegis up, they have the cheese. The cheese is up on the Ember Spirits, and the Aegis is up on Dreamy. How could they kill Dreamy twice?
He's got Lincolns as well.
With the Lincolns as well.
Yeah, he just picked up Lincolns. That's what I was saying. Oh, this is like 2 lanes of racks, and unless something amazing happens, I mean, they're fighting into a.
No one is here for the side of XTC. There is no glyph up. This is the game. If they don't get back in time, if they don't try and defend this, this is going to be game. Let's have a look at Adestam. He does not have Metamorphosis up for 8 seconds. They decide to jump in. They get the kill onto Doom Buddy. Another one to turn around. Abaddon's in a lot of trouble right now. He is silenced up, but his ultimate form does come up. Can they actually get anything? Deppy's coming in right now. He 3 clicks up the Ricky. Ricky did not even have the chance to get the tricks of the trade off, it seems. And they want to move in for more strike. Look at the amount of damage that's coming in. Deppy managing to get another kill there. So that's a 2-for-2 trade-off. But they still have Dreamy there. They still have Chosen One. And it seems like they're just going to be pushing up more. They really don't care. They have a cheese. They have an Aegis. This is going to be the second lane of racks. And Adestam, he wants to move in forward, but he gets now Yuled up into the air as well. And the racks is down.
They still have RP though. I don't think they. Okay, they're giving up on this one. They say, okay, we've done enough damage. But they still had RP. RP was held
They had
pretty
RP,
well.
they had Aegis, they had cheese.
Yeah. It's interesting. I suppose it just takes too long for their supports to, or whoever died, to get back to where they are, including the Ricky. So I think they said, okay, let's just play it safe. And this is, I suppose they're playing sort of, in a sense, the way that XSC does. They don't take too big of a risk, even though they have a decent lead.
Yep. Well, Dreamy currently sitting on the top of the net worth chart, 22,000 nearly. Net worth versus 12,000 up for the Ursa. So I think I want to, when I hand it back over to the panel, I think if Energy wins this game, I'm just going to let Halbert know that I was right again, because this is going to go to a 2-1 game.
Yeah. I'm quite impressed.
Now, Energy really has actually brought in their A game.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people were saying, both of these teams are steamroll teams. And with Energy losing game number 1, they would have thought that XCC would just, completely crush them in game 2. But Energy playing literally out of their minds. They know that if they lose here, they end third. But let's have a look here. They want to turn around, go to the Abaddon right now. The Abaddon, are they going to be able to do anything about this? Dreamy, he is actually Feast Gripped up right now, but very well played coming in from Chosen One. Actually getting 2 heroes up in the chains. And the tricks of the trade. Mr. Podik is actually getting the kill. Dreamy turning around, getting the kill onto Deppy as well. Skynet, he's in a lot of trouble. His ultimate's going to be off cooldown right now. And he just gets completely destroyed by Dreamy. There is the RP cancel animations coming through. And is he actually going to be able to do it? He is just having fun. He is trolling. And yes, that is Energy taking game 2. Keep in mind, guys, PSL will be back, or will be in, stand-in for game 3. Scorpy, what are your thoughts on this game, though?
Well, I think Energy definitely stepped up to the plate here. They looked a bit shaky game one. They did take a stumble there, but man, they turned this game around so well. I think Dreamy, just like not dying, 12-0, 13 at the end of the game. He went for that Blink Dagger. He was sort of aggressive. He joined the fights pretty early on.
Are we sure Dreamy and Adestamp didn't swap places or something?
Yeah, no deaths. I mean, it's crazy. Another good point is Chelsea also sitting with 0 deaths. So he also played very well, besides throwing that one RP for no reason.
I think it was animation cancelling. It seemed like he animation cancelled himself into a whiffed RP earlier, and seeing him doing that at the end, just saying, see, I can't do this without throwing this away. But very well played here for Energy. I mean, sitting 28 up against 15. Dreamy just completely destroying the side of XTC.
Yeah.
Well, guys, Halbert, I think I was right. This is going to be a 2-1. I just had to rub it in. What are your thoughts here?
Well, I feel like I'm actually okay on this because I never made a prediction. It's behold my panel of experts.
Oh no, I'm fine. I said 2-1, so I'm cool.
Snap.
I said 0.
Come Energy. Come stand next to me, next to the right people. If Reddit's involved, we'll all be right over here, and we'll have some guys who
How are you right?
wrong.
You didn't even say anything.
It wasn't wrong.
That's like being in a war, not taking part and saying, guys, I contributed.
Well, I like just to simply see it as I chose not to pick a side, literally, and it worked out for me because I wasn't wrong, like you two.
Let's talk about the game a bit.
I think we should just keep going down this track. About
who would
how
have thought,
Actually,
Chelsea?
have you been right this week? You got one. What, he did get something
Called
right.
the Zeus.
I said
Hold the Zeus.
Mag and Troll were good heroes.
You did,
And
yeah.
I was wondering why no one was picking them.
Yeah.
And then you picked them. Actually, I've spoken to Chelsea a bit, and he just refuses to play Magnus or Flynn, right? And they've always said, his teams were like, it's a great hero, Darren, just play it. Why won't you play it? He's like, no, I refuse. And he's not going to play it because he gets his way. He's a drama queen, right? So now he actually played, and he actually played it really well, if you watch that game. I mean, I felt like there was no outstanding performance. Like, I mean, Dreamy obviously played well, but it feels like they all played well.
Yeah.
That was great. Like Ricky and Ember did. Ricky helped Ember a lot in the mid lane to make sure that he got a lot of farm. Ember played exceptionally well. I mean, he made sure like it was. I don't think it's a fair matchup, but Ember did really well. You know, you saw it. He actually got more farm, and they actually killed us twice.
Yeah.
So it was good. And Mag didn't die once. He got the RPs he needed. He filled around his carries, gave them the cleave, and yeah, they just ran away with it.
Yeah.
How do we feel the Terrorblade worked out? I mean, it was the last pick in the drafting stage. I think we were chatting before about potentially picking up an Invoker. Think would have made a difference?
Turtle was doing fine. Like in the first 10 minutes, they took the tier 1 tower. He was getting Aerogram on the farm, was going clear into the jungle, and things were looking good. The problem for him was that Ursa wasn't really doing that well after the laning phase broke down. And because of that fact, so Terrorblade is trying to get as much money as he can, but at the same time, Troll is just getting all the money in the world thanks to Magnus is running behind Troll and Ember Spirit the whole game, giving them empower. So the Terrorblade, by the time he got into the fights after the post-laning phase, wasn't actually strong enough. Like, there was a point where he spent 3-4 minutes farming while Troll was fighting, but Troll had higher net worth than he did. So it's like, well, you come into these team fights, and Troll is the better hero versus Terrorblade. And Ember Spirit also matches up quite well against the Terrorblade as well. So it did well. I think the main problem that XCC had is we expected them to really crush their lanes, and they didn't.
Yeah.
Like, they played really passively in the laning phase. The only thing that they really did successfully was take the early tier on tower bottom, but beyond that, it's just the strategy didn't work out. And then when the team fights came in, Energy Esports just had a better go at it. They knew what they were doing, and Magnus Troll, just what can you do with those two heroes?
I think it also came down to the fact that the XTC supports didn't do enough to help out Depi in the mid lane. Depi had a matchup that he was favored in, and Mr. Bodykins is the one arriving to help out Chosen there. And it's just like, why? Why is Depi not getting assistance there? Because they, like Donnie was saying, it's like they have dual lanes, and they were like, okay, we'll just stick with the dual lanes. We're not going to try and help out Depi. We're just going to try and win these lanes. It's like, you're not really going to win against Troll. Like, yeah, sure, you're going to annoy him with, I think it was Bane. Abaddon off lane.
Bane was the safe lane, so
Bane
Bane
was
should have been the
Nightfall
one
cover.
rotating mid. Yeah, so like he can just go mid, sleep Ember, right? Ursa puts on his stacks of damage, Earth shocks him and then hits him to death.
Yeah.
I mean, or like just hits him to like low HP and then Ember has to run out the lane. I mean, that kind of rotation is very easy to make.
Yeah.
But I think like he just sat bot, was harassing Mag, and I feel like, I mean, there should be a point where, like, if you rotate, maybe Terrorblade saves his metamorphosis for that moment, and then he can hold the lane until you get back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's something like that should have happened.
Yeah, like the mag shouldn't have required that much attention. Like Terrorblade can actually force him out as long as you have that metamorphosis in hand.
So we mentioned as well that energy is an emotional side, and they managed to keep their cool, come back and play a particularly strong second game.
Yeah.
And what does this mean for the third? Do you think, as an emotional side, this means they're now on an up, and maybe they're going to just sort of explode into this third match?
I think Chelsea definitely is. We
Yeah.
saw him.
He's hyped. He's
spamming.
spamming on. There's respect there. They're really hyped, I'm sure. Like, they're happy that they won that game, and not just won it, they demolished them, in my opinion. It was quite a one-sided affair. So I think he's very hyped, obviously, and I hope they can carry through. I heard now that the third game they're going to have the substitute.
PSL,
Yeah,
instead of
so
chosen. So.
that's kind of a blow, in my
derail,
opinion.
yeah.
That's a
C1
major
is
blow.
definitely one of their stronger players, but I'm hoping PSL can
I
carry
don't think
through.
it would matter too much because, as we saw in game 2, like the reason why Chosen One did so well in the game was because of Mr. Podikins rotating around with his Ricky. So as long as Strike and Podikins play the same kind of Dota, like continually help out the mid lane, and Chelsea, then I don't think it really matters too much who's in the mid lane, as long as PSL doesn't completely feed and like throw the game. Then
I mean, there was a
okay.
reason he's not an APG anymore, right?
Yeah. But that was carry, though.
But there's a lot of players that aren't in
Is it too
APG
soon?
anymore, though.
Podikins included, right? So it's the APG rejects.
There's actually going to be 3 ex-APG players in this game. Yeah. So
That's awkward, actually.
It feels bad, man.
So, I mean, but PSL, I mean, has he actually, when last did he play mid? I mean,
He was carry for a while, right?
I feel like
Yeah.
he's been
think carry
carry
most of the time.
for...
Before that, he was mid. For I don't know who. Forget.
The last time I remember him was when he was playing with you guys as a support, and then he
Exactly,
kind of like
yeah.
disappeared, and then when he came back, it was APG as the carry, and I was like, don't remember when he was, But I mean, look, he's a very, very skilled player. A little bit, I think, more passive than Chosen, but he's still going to do, like, he knows what to do in the mid lane. It's not like a completely alien concept to him. He's been playing the carry role, so he obviously does know how to farm. It's really just going to depend on what hero they give him. Like, I don't know if he's the best tempo controlling player.
I think C1 is definitely a better player than him, but like, I'm like, what I'm more scared is like, he's going to a team he does not play with, right? And now, let's say his comms aren't going to be the best because he's going to be like, he doesn't want to make the shots. Like a lot of players, you need to be a certain type of person.
I have to interject here. It seems to be wrong. It's Chelsea that's been subbed out.
that's a bigger
That's
blow.
a huge
That's a
blow.
much bigger
Yeah,
blow.
that's bigger
wow,
blow than
that's
I'm actually
actually
worried.
Chelsea's
been like the best offlaner in this event.
Yeah.
best offlane in the event, best player on energy, like,
And he's the drafter.
and he's the drafter.
I mean,
That's-
okay, the draft, he's crazy. Like, the drafting's not that big.
that's a really big
I
blow.
mean, the
though.
thing is, because I was going to go with this with, you have your, you have your consistent lineup. You know what to expect from your teammates. But I also I've seen those guys play live. Chelsea, or let's call him who he is, Lucker. He's the guy who's sort of commanding those team fights as well. He's very vocal. He's the guy shouting back off, following, reduce
Oh, but
deaths,
usually, I
stop
mean,
feeding.
The offlaner is the one who initiates the fight, so he has the control spell in the fight, right? Acts something. So he obviously makes the call, like, okay, I'm initiating now, following. You know what I mean? Like he understands where the fight's going. So I think that's why. I mean, he's also the drafter, so he understands.
I think he's kind of like, I'm going to steal a CSGO term here, but I think he's kind of like the IGL. He's the guy commanding team. So that is very concerning. If that is the case, I mean, there seems to be a little bit of confusion of who's singing out, but I do believe it's in fact Lucker. And
So what, Odu's going to be offlane now? What?
I
I
don't
think
know.
that would be the best solution. Odu was,
He wanted to play offlane for a while.
and he has played off lane for a long time. So
I think you want the player that that you would sack completely, because I think the way that Energy has been playing really well, Chelsea, his skill had allowed them to actually draft these lineups where the supports can actually rotate. They don't have to actually take care of him at all, and they know that he's not actually going to feed. He's not going to lose too much. He's going to get the experience. He'll still be involved in the team fights. So if you have a situation where you have a player that you actually have to take care of now, it sort of changes the situation, because now suddenly the mid lane, Chosen One is now going to have to win the lane. Like both games that we saw. The matchup probably could have gone better for Chosen One just in the pure 1v1, but it went a lot better because his supports would help him out. But now if there's one less support that has to like attend to somewhere else on the map, it might change things dramatically for how they actually want to approach the game as well. So I think this makes this, of all the potential changes or all the potential subs that PSL could be replacing, Chelsea's by far the worst thing.
for Ian right now.
Ian right now,
Like it,
yeah.
So how can it affect them positively? I mean, it does obviously mean that they have, if they're moving around, let's assume they move Odie to a different position, then they effectively would be likely to have a different selection of heroes. Maybe that
Well, the
gives
thing
them
is,
something.
it might change up in Energy's entire play style. So if you're going to be banning or drafting against what Energy was last game, it's now an entirely different team. They might share certain heroes, but the likelihood is that they're not going to be entirely the same.
No, the
So-
offlane pool is definitely gonna be
Yeah.
different, right? Like I don't know, he hasn't played Nyx for a long time. I know he plays Legion Commander. Darkseer a little bit, but I'm not really sure about Bat Riders or Nixes or maybe Bristol. Maybe we'll say Bristleback. I don't really know.
I think this will probably lead them to, they'll shift their carry focus to the mid lane. Like I think Chosen One's going to become the actual carry in the next game. Even if Odu stays in the safe lane, I think he's probably going to have to play a lot more tempo controlling and allow Chosen One to actually get all the farm in the game.
Yeah.
So either way, but like Prophecy mentioned, it does change everything about how they draft, how they're going to approach the lanes. So that also might factor into XTC. Like maybe after losing, maybe they could potentially have figured out their normal energy in terms of drafting, but now they have to because you have to change up your own mindset as well. Now things might be more open for energy, which makes it worse for XTC. So it could affect them positively, actually, at the end of the day. The surprise factor. And also, none of us have seen PSL in a while, like playing Dota, so we don't know what he's actually been up to.
So last weekend?
He played last weekend, yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Not like this. Not like just plug and play into a team, replacing somebody like this. So
I mean, to be fair, APG is also a team on the sort of,
yeah. He was playing carry on APG. We don't know what role he's going to be playing here. Like there's just a lot of unknowns, and question marks can benefit energy, like in the situation.
I mean, I hear you. Personally, I just think that it's a case of if you are, if you're going up against a side that's maybe, I don't know, like newer, like XD, right? Like a side that is still sort of finding its feet, then I kind of feel like I would agree with you. But it's XTC they're going up against, and this is a refined side at this point, and I somewhat feel that, I mean, obviously we know that they're missing a couple of tricks, but I just don't see it happening, guys.
I don't know. XTC's been playing pretty passively. Like even the game they won, the only game we've seen them play aggressively whatsoever was yesterday's game 2 versus WRG. So I don't know. Like if you have a passive game, then the problem with playing passively is that even if your opponent has changed up their style in such a way that they're not comfortable with it, you might not necessarily be able to take advantage of it immediately. It might take some time into the game before you actually get any cracks to take advantage of in the enemy team. So I don't know. Like I feel like if it actually was XD, this would be much worse for energy, because then XD would be like, right guys, just run at them for 20 minutes, and then they'll fall apart eventually. The synergy will break. But now because XTC plays so slowly, energy might actually have time to figure out how they want to play the game together, get that synergy going into the mid game team fights, and then that actually might lead up being a better result than we saw like overall. They might actually end up winning as a result because of it.
And XTC doesn't really have very aggressive supports following on.
I'm just worried about who's going to be the rock in the early to mid game. I mean, that's been Chelsea. Like he's been their structure, right? And I just don't know if Odu's capable of that right now. I mean, he's not. It's a mindset. He's not fresh at the role, you know. Like I mean, he's not up to date. It's not something he's been practicing. So I mean, it's hard to just. He's a good player, but it's just like hard to just put all that responsibility on him suddenly. You know what I mean? He'll try his best, but I'm just a bit worried for that. Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, let's take a moment as well to discuss the road forward, as it were. So, let's say Energy do manage to pull off this victory against XC with the sub. Going to find themselves going up against WG. Now, already we would expect that WG are firm favourites. Do you think it could have any effect on that game?
Yeah. You definitely want Chelsea in that game if Energy wants any chance. Because, I mean, just given the way that Darren's been playing this weekend, like he has been, I think, far and away not only the most consistent offlaner, but by far the most impactful. And if you're going to take him out of the lineup, like about the only upgrade you could have then would be maybe putting Donny in there, and then even then you'd have synergy issues, kind of thing. So it's like it's literally that's how well Darren has been playing this weekend. So taking him out of Energy is literally crippling them before they walk into a White Rabbit gaming side. They might not be hitting on full cylinders, but the thing is, Santo is doing amazing work thus far. Castaway has always been consistent, and Welp has basically had no contest aside from basically himself for making silly plays this weekend. Like, Welp has been his own worst enemy at this stage. So, like, if White Rabbit Gaming even comes close to their current potential, Energy without Chelsea has no hope, in my opinion.
What if PSL just goes ham, guys? I mean,
he could.
What if he just goes ham?
I haven't seen Liam go ham, though. That's the problem.
That's true. I haven't actually seen Liam ever go ham in any game that he's played in as a carry.
In pubs, it happens.
In pubs, SA pubs with these Wazoo stacks. I mean, come on.
I don't know if Welp isn't actually good, right? Because I just want to point this out to you, right? When I think about, because he used to play for Bravado Motion for a while as well, right?
Well,
yeah, he was the carry 2015.
Because I feel when that happened, he didn't actually have to do. I mean, back in this, he didn't actually have to do anything.
Well, I mean, I just remember most of that DGC him getting pretty much Wraith King for like something like 5 out of 6 games, and then just farming. It's like, oh, Wraith King arrived at the fight.
I just feel like whenever Welp's been in a team, like that is at the top level, he hasn't actually had to do anything. It's sort of been more like he's playing a team that's so much further ahead than everybody else. That you just sort of, I'll secure the late game, guys, and then
I'm the insurance policy.
And then inevitably somehow he ends up, because isn't he got like a little bit of a curse? Like he wins a tournament and he ends up being kicked anyways.
Something like that.
Well,
I mean, if you saw him play that tournament, he was awful. Like, let's be real. Like, we all definitely flamed him. Like, he was not a good call that tournament, and I think he knows it. But I mean, could have just been an off weekend.
But what if
for
he's
him.
just not actually good? What if he's just this man who's
No,
just like
he's
really
definitely
good?
good. He's definitely good.
That's pretty
pretending
good.
to be good and just sitting in these teams.
And when
so
your support, he was
quietly-
carrying like WRG to a lot of victories in the support
Yeah.
capacity. So like,
Definitely.
yeah, he's,
Last
actually,
year-
he's actually really good.
No, guys. Maybe he'll prove.
I think he's just lazy. He's just like he plays these tournaments and he's just like, should I just go 20%? Should I go to 100%? I'm just gonna chill, and then he like just chills and they win anyway. It's fine.
Yeah, like, you know.
Okay, well, we are now into the draft, so enough. Don't worry, Wolf. I don't actually hate you. or
Got your
anything.
back, well.
Donnie said terrible things about you during break. I'm just saying. I don't know why he's all nice on air.
And he's using the old tag, Ferrari.
Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
Ferrari 458.
458,
It's been
yeah.
so long, actually. This is a throwback.
Well,
TA back.
okay.
What?
So let's just see this now that we have this up.
Jimmy
so
drafting,
the energy lineup is now Odu, Ferrari or Whelp, Mr. Potkins, Strike, and Chosen One.
Yes.
So yeah, we were missing.
Some
we're
quick bans
definitely
there.
missing
It's
Laka.
throwing out those bans really quickly.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're banning Deppy
they're just
heroes,
banning
yeah.
Deppy heroes.
Just notice they're leaving out all the they're leaving out the
supports.
usual sport like Coddle. Well, that's in the pool. What else? They
Coddle,
usually ban?
Warlock, Night Stalker,
Yeah.
Nyx. None
It's
of
all
these
in
heroes
there.
have been banned. Well, she's still banned.
Maybe they just want to
Energy-
leave this many heroes in.
This
They
is
want
the
to get
first
Coddle.
time. Wait, Energy got Dire and first pick this game.
Yeah, seems so.
That's
Pretty good.
Mayhem occurring
pretty
here.
good.
Pretty good.
I don't know. Like the Radiant jungle is much easier to farm now, especially with the 1 minute camps being back. So
Yeah, for mid, it's definitely favorable.
yeah, so I think it's still like.
I think they
overall,
wanted
you can still
Coddle.
deal.
The energy lineup. I think they were trying to
But
like.
aim
they
for
do also
Coddle.
get the Warlock now
Yeah,
if they
yeah.
pick it.
Warlock, also
Clockwork.
Clockwork.
Who's that for? So are we just gonna assume it's Dreamy offlane?
I don't know. I actually have no. I don't know.
It's
like-
been so long since you played offlane though. That's
I'm
the
gonna say
biggest issue.
Dreamy offlane.
But
I'm
I
going
I
with
think what's
it.
going to happen is they're just going to forget the offlane. Because guys, we don't have an offlane player.
Just two
we
carries.
we
Do
have-
dual
we're gonna-
lanes.
We're going to have a carry in the jungle and a carry in safe lane.
Yeah, then it's fine.
Dual lanes will probably be the most. You maximize their both their abilities. You can just have a semi carry in both lanes. It's fine.
And they fuse later, become a real carry.
Yeah.
So Warlock pick obviously is this Axe or LC versus Clockwork. Axe not great, not the best versus
I don't know
Clockwork.
if you ban like TAS and then you just leave in Warlock. I mean, that seems crazy. Like, where's the they could have got Clockwork anyway.
Is
and then-
this not perhaps actually a little bit of an answer to our question? Maybe they're getting rid of the depth heroes because they're worried about their mid.
But
maybe-
C1's there. It's like, why
Yeah,
are they
Chosen
worried?
One's
Maybe,
still
maybe,
there.
maybe there's something else happening with their lineup. Like,
Well,
No,
the,
C1
la-
won't
the
move off
last
mid.
time I
There's no way.
saw C1 play carry with. No, there's no way you can do that.
No, he's like the only one on the team I
Is
trust
it-
mid.
is
Like,
it not-
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, it's not possible that they have because we were expecting the Chosen One was actually going to be replaced, and that that Wolf was actually going to play mid. So it's not possible. Maybe using Odu off lane, a Chosen One safe lane, and a Wolf mid.
I'd rather they have 3 supports rather than move Chosen on mid. Chosen actually has been
that is
performing really
possible.
well.
That is possible, but like I
The
don't
thing
know.
is, like, you want the least disruptions. Odu has played off lane, so, like, I mean, he was originally known as an off laner, so that'd be the most logical thing is to move Odu to off lane and then put Ferrari into the carry role, which he's been playing lately. Like, to go and swap all 3 of your cores into different positions, that's like asking for a lot of trouble.
Agreed.
Jimmy's drafting really fast. Seems like he knows what he wants to do. Like
I
his
think-
bans are coming out really quick. It's
Safe lane
coming out quick.
DP?
Banned.
Every
It's the
time,
ban.
they banned all 3 games in the exact same ban slot. It's
But that
been-
was actually a crazy game. Like
Yeah.
that safe lane DP did put in a lot of work. Also, it sucks when you want to play Axe, like you just get Spirit Siphon, you can't do anything. You just
Oh,
like,
Blade
this
Mail
sucks.
heroes are really good against DP in general. Like
Yeah, yeah, it
Clockwork,
is.
I played against DPs, right? As a Clockwork, as soon as you get Blade Mail, you just hook him with his spirits on, you just Blade
Yeah,
Mail, and then
and
you
he
can't do
just
anything.
dies,
He just
isn't it?
dies so
Yeah.
quickly. It's
It's the best
actually,
thing.
it's pretty sad.
At least you have to
Ricky.
get the Blade Mail.
Yeah, also
Lose the
have to
lane. Ricky banned. What does Energy actually want here for the mid lane? So that's the other thing as well is that after changing players, we're not necessarily sure strategically what they want to be going for. So this Clockwork, like Chelsea Clockwork, we actually didn't see any Chelsea Clockwork, right? Not his kind of hero. So this is also a change up in how Energy.
We did
We
see
have
it
seen
once,
it,
right?
yeah, we have
Did
seen
we?
it a couple of times,
Yeah.
but it's like he makes odd decisions in the Clockwork.
Yeah,
Like,
it doesn't
he
feel like
jumps-
it's his.
Yeah, he jumps supports a lot as the Clockwork rather than like high value cores.
Oh man, this sucks for the
Razor.
off lane. Razor
Oh,
versus
feels
Clock.
sad.
Oh, can't be done.
Man, what the hell? Razor's done quite well this tournament, I'd say.
Yes.
The last few picks, the Razor's
Yeah.
done really well. In the beginning, it wasn't doing so hard. It was losing a lot of games, but now,
I think
since that wild game, I think I've just been
People have
more
had
impressed.
better understanding of what to do with the hero.
Mm.
Like no, I think that the big change is that no one's playing it just as a normal farm anymore. People are actually trying to dominate and kill in the lane, which you kind of have to do with this hero, which is
They
good.
just weren't comfortable on it. I mean, they all know it's a strong pick, but just like feel iffy about actually playing it.
It's been banned a lot as well.
Mm,
Like
that's true.
it's been like banned like most games in the second phase. So Energy, Magnets are still left in the pool, right? That's probably the main reason why they were able to win game 1.
I think
Well, game
Jimmy
two,
would.
sorry.
I think Jimmy would play Magnus. Like I think he rates there very highly as well.
Clock, CM,
Like, maybe it's a
support.
clock. Support.
I mean, like if they have Magnets, I'm fine with Clockwork being support.
Maybe it's a mid mag. Like because okay, it's not it's not where you really want your mags. You want it usually off lane, but like maybe with Ferrari they have a mag player. Is that a thing?
Doxia. Okay, yeah.
So
So
it's
there's support
support
clock anyway, yeah. But I'm actually fine with this. Doxia, I think this one of the things that I wanted to say, ask you earlier is that I feel if they have a change in the offlane, right, then it actually might lead to a Doxia pick more often because one of those heroes that you're like, if you're not that confident in the offlane, you don't have to have a lot of skill in offlane to play Doxia. Just like get this hero, get the early mech, you should be okay. Like if you understand how the
takes
lane
skill,
plays
man.
go.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It takes skill, dude.
Like it does, but come on, like if you're playing
Laning stage
like,
is easier. Let's just put it
laning
that
phase
way.
is
What
much
if you
easier
guys
as
don't do
Doxia. Just go to the jungle,
Offlane's hard.
press W.
I'm gonna back you. I think Dox is one of those heroes that, like, sure, it's
No.
easy to iron shell creeps, right?
Yeah.
But it's hard to actually play the hero well. So I wouldn't want to put in the hands of someone who's like, okay, brother, just iron shell the creeps. We'll see what happens later.
Because I think the reason why is because like Energy, what we saw in game one and game 2, right? If Energy loses the game, it's going to be a game where they lose the laning phase, as we saw in game 1, right? If they come out of the laning phase relatively okay, then they can actually rush over XTC. So you want a hero which won't lose the lane, like just guaranteed. You know for a fact, even the worst skill player will survive the laning phase with this. And Doxia is one of those heroes, and you just can't lose the lane with Doxia like completely. You can get like drawn a little bit less than even, but unless it's a really terrible matchup, you should be more or less okay.
You actually have to physically lose the lane. They
Yeah.
can't really win it against a Doxia.
I do not concur.
You do not concur?
This is Dox is a hard hero. Like there are definitely lanes that Doxia doesn't do well, especially his Iron Shell costs a lot of money. You can cost like 3 or 4, and then what? Like you got
Just
no more mana.
go to the lane with like 12 to clarities. It's all
They
good.
just hit you off. They're super annoying heroes out there. Okay, whatever. it's
The
not
one thing about the
point.
XTC lineup here is that like they're putting a lot of faith in Skynet for control, and I like the fact that they've given Adestam a hero that like he has to be active early on.
Yeah.
I mean, Skarner didn't have a good axe game so far this tournament. Eh?
Yeah.
So,
Like,
hopefully.
he's actually. I mean, we were saying earlier like he hasn't been good this
Yeah.
tournament. Like something's just obviously off with him.
Could be
Rubik pick
just-
up. We haven't seen much of that, eh?
No, at all. We saw
What's-
like one Rubik. earlier.
It's for the clockwork though.
For what? Like cogs?
Cogs lift out,
No.
throw him away.
Lift out cogs. It's also kind of annoying for Doxia, right? Like when you're trying to surge away, you can just get insta lifted, and it sucks, and you can actually die
So, yeah,
if he's positioned
He
properly.
doesn't have great item like ability steals right now, apart from maybe.
maybe they think they're gonna pick Mag.
It's actually, I mean, it's a fair point. I mean, this is kind of an interesting pickup because there's just nothing that you would almost say like, this is a good Rubik game, or oh, if he gets that, it'll be really useful. It's sort of, you know, maybe CMLT is one thing that he could get quite nicely, but even in the mana cost in that is such a,
Maybe-
it's abysmal.
Maybe
so-
just maxes null field this game. Like if he goes high points into null field, it does debilitate a lot of the team fight potential that Energy has right now. Because all their damage is magical at the moment. So if he goes more points into null field, that might be what he's thinking about.
Or,
just to
or
try
like
and
if
shore up
they
their team
think
fight.
Clockwork is going to be super annoying and by roaming with Doxia into the bot lane, maybe they're thinking of a hero that can like disengage them running in. So like
Yeah,
Clockwork
yeah.
tries to run in cogs, he lifts him, throws him away before he can get the cogs.
Yeah.
That's what maybe he's thinking out, but it's rough. Like and also a support that can survive a Clockwork, right? So Clockwork can't just kill him, you can actually throw him out of cogs.
That's
and then-
actually this is becoming a better game for Rubik.
Yeah.
have a puck.
We should have seen Puck coming though after the Quap ban. Like normally when you ban these kind of heroes and you're like, okay, probably going to see Puck in the mid
This is
lane.
the first puck we've seen this tournament, though, isn't it?
No.
No, Costa played it once.
Yeah.
Yeah, Castaway
Did
did
he?
play a Puck.
Oh yeah.
It's a decent hero. Weaver ban, actually. I don't know about that. Like, it feels...
If I was playing the Rubik, I'd just be like, don't ban the Weaver. No, please don't ban the Weaver. I want Sakuchi.
Sakuchi is nice. You run around, you don't die.
Maybe it's not good for energy, yeah. I don't think it is. Against Axe Razor, Warlock.
They need, like, something super hard to carry physical
Yeah.
damage, right? Yeah.
Because Energy doesn't really have a frontliner at the moment. Everything's pretty soft, except maybe Darkseer, but even he doesn't really want to be starting fights in the front lines.
What do you guys think?
Nyx?
Nyx? No. I don't like Nyx versus Razor, though. Or Axe. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Not even Fest Bombs.
Is there a lot of investment on both Clockwork and Puck? Stormban, so...
It's probably one of the better against Axe. Nyx, not that good against Razor, I agree, but probably good against Axe. Like, he calls him, he lifesteals a lot, so no, he's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
taking much blade mail damage.
But I'm scared of that, right? Because if you have one melee core and you're up against a Razor, the moment that Razor connects with that hero, you're in so much trouble. At least into the super late. Obviously, early on, Puck is going to be able to provide you with enough explosive damage, but
I kind of feel like, I mean, if it was me, I would probably want to look for something that's ranged, just to reduce. There we go.
Luna.
Just to
Luna's
reduce
cool.
that opportunity to do so.
But
You can
and
still
who
get
did
Leash,
that
though.
today? Was it
Envy, yeah.
Envy did?
Yeah.
They did
And
Luna
lost to
against
Razor
yeah, they
really
lost,
terribly.
yeah.
It was like super hard. He couldn't do anything in the team
But
fight.
they did have like a lot of different heroes. They had like support bats and
Yeah, support
some
back, support
things.
Nix.
Yeah,
It was a
that's
strange
crazy.
game.
And then offlane
No,
NS.
actually, Nate's
the
wasn't that good because like I feel like heroes like Axe and Mag are very good against Infest bombs
Yeah.
because like you just wait for the
Yeah, just
them
wait
to
for it.
pop
Then you
out on
can't to initiate immediately. Yeah.
It's true.
Also,
But
like X, I don't know. I don't know about this Luna though. I don't feel it's enough damage overall.
See,
Like it doesn't feel like it right even with like a crazy amount of net worth. Like it just 1v5 doesn't feel like that.
Yeah.
I really feel like through the history of Dota 2, Luna has been a hero. With the exclusion of the Shadow Demon Luna combination times, I've always felt like it's that carry that people go to when they're not sure. Like when you can't have a melee carry and you want something and you're like, cool, let's go for it.
Oh God, mid bristleback. This is Puck can't be. Puck
Is gonna hate
Yeah,
life
it's
in that
mid-bristle.
lane.
This is mid. Yeah, this is actually really good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy. I said 2-1 XCC at the beginning, right? I'm pretty happy I said that. I feel good right now.
You know what? I'm glad you said that is because I believe that if I'm not mistaken, so you weren't wrong.
Not yet.
I wasn't wrong. I think Scarpy and Riddits weren't wrong.
Okay.
So there's two odd
Okay,
ones out
guys.
here. Scarpy and Riddits, can you confirm that you are also not wrong at this point?
I can confirm that I am not wrong. But Scorpy,
I cannot confirm or deny. But yeah, I'll say 2-0. But I think XSC with this drop look to be the stronger side.
I'm a believer in PSL. Let's go.
Okay.
Well,
Ex-teammates.
let's see. Obviously, this is a big one, ladies and gentlemen. The winner of this will go on to face White Rabbit Gaming in the grand finals. Good luck to both teams and good luck to both casters. Take it away, boys.
thanks so much. I mean, this is nearly a blue strat coming out here from Energy, though. It is a Crystal Maiden, it is Darkseer, Puck, Luna. It's like 4 blue heroes, and then the Clockwork comes in just to throw it a little bit off. But they were talking a lot about the Luna pick there and how they didn't like it. I do. You have a Darkseer, you have a Clockwork, you have a Puck that controls them all in this little circle area. And the Glaives can bounce. Sure, Razor does well against any core that they would have picked up. I just think that Luna might actually be the one core that can help there with the Mantis-style illusions, Glaives also bouncing around.
I can agree, but I think the pickup of the bristleback sort of put the
Oh,
spanner in the works there. I think it's just so strong. I think Puck's gonna have a terrible time in lane. I feel like actually most of the laning stage is not gonna look good, and it seems like they're actually walking very aggressively here. So they might actually look to just contest a run. Is there a smoke? Yes, there's a smoke on the Warlock. So they're more than likely gonna look to contest. But a ward has been dropped by Strike in the lane. I don't think it's gonna scout out much here. So.
Well, both teams smoked up. Top wants to go for a kill. An early kill up on Dreamy will actually put the offlane in a very good position to actually get that first creep wave up, depending, of course, on when they get the kill. But let's have a look here. Dreamy might be in a bit of trouble. He's standing in a very safe position over there. The smoke will get popped up, and Dreamy scouts this out, and he's just like, okay, I'm done. Are we going to see Energy actually contesting the bottom ruin now, though?
I think Skynet, he's also worried as soon as they see them if they're going to rotate and maybe put pressure on that. But I like the fact that they're going for an aggressive lane here into the Luna. Luna's going to have a bit of a tough time here. They also have a Clockwork who I don't think, his cogs are pretty good up against an aggressive lane. But other than that, CM is quite squishy, so if she overextends to try and do something, she can die. So it's going to be interesting. Again, Razor's pretty tanky, and set up with the Rubik, he can get a long tether off and be able to deal a huge amount of damage. And Warlock can sort of be their sustain and potentially even that harassing damage at level 1.
Well, it is going to be a 2-run for 2-run exchange here between Energy and XTC, and the typical mandatory pause coming in here for SA Dota.
Yeah. So I think another important thing for us to point out, it is going to be a it is going to be Ferrari playing on the Darkseer. They did switch him up now to the top lane, realizing, oh, they're going aggro into us and this is not favorable. So, yeah, Ferrari's going to be playing on the off lane. So, for all the questions that we had, whether or not he's going to be playing safe lane.
So,
well, technically he's playing safe lane, but he's playing position 3.
So, they're trying to cause as little disruption as possible on their lineup to just replace Chelsea up with Ferrari 458. Keep in mind, Ferrari 458 started off in a mid position, then he moved over to carry. I haven't seen him actually play off lane, really.
Yeah, I can't say I have any information about that. But like they said on the panel, Darkseer's laning is not always that difficult, although there's sort of a skill difference. But I'm sure
Well, as a
Ferrari
safe
has a
lane
good idea.
boxer, he'll be very happy with that.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll actually be able to get a lot more experience out of this than a standard off
He
lane
also
boxer.
has easy access to the jungle to work with, which is something very important for him. So yeah, they realize actually it looks like they might just go dual lanes.
Yeah. 458 actually does get scouted out, Ferrari. He tried to move in towards the jungle, got scouted out in our top lane though. Energy is trying to pick up Skynet, getting the battery assault off, trying to just draw away the creeps. So no sneaky pulls coming up here, and I mean, Skynet needs to have a big game here. He needs to be able to get those initiations off for his team, but they have two frontliners. XTC has the Bristleback, which is up mid right now. Sitting on 2-1 versus 1-2, so a very even matchup right now at the 1 minute mark.
Yeah, I think like C1's gonna have a tough time eventually, but Deppy's consumption of mana is gonna be pretty high here at the beginning, so at least C1 can contest pretty
No
evenly
Crystal
now.
Maiden up for the Bristleback. The Bristleback is going to suffer.
Yeah. So yeah, that's one of the things. Like C1's going to be using his illusionary orb to sort of farm where possible, so that he can stand back and not get any sort of stacks on him. So it's not that bad. It's still not exactly the lane that he would have liked, but quite a strong lane for Deppy, I feel.
Yep. Skynet moving into the jungle right now, just trying to get something
mid
up
lane.
there. And mid lane, are we going to see the first blood coming
Oh,
through?
no.
I don't think they have enough damage, to be honest, between Deppy and Doom Bunny, but we might see a wraparound coming in here now. Mr. Pottykins, he does have his battery assault up, and are they going to go in? There's the battery assault as well as the Crystal Maiden. This is going to be the first blood, and it is going to be onto Deppy. He does very far up. He might actually get out of this one alive. Are they going to dive in? Deppy is alive and well, and he's just like, not today, my friend, not today.
Yeah, Doom Bunny was in the right place at the right time. The Shadow Word came just off cooldown. I don't know if they would have had enough to bring him down even without it, but it also means he doesn't have to go all the way back. Obviously, Shrine's being up much later time. Deppy might want to... Oh, he's got Bottle flying at him.
And
So
the
that's good.
perks of a poor man's shield.
Yeah, the poor man shield definitely helps him out there. I think the Clockwork relies quite a lot on right-clicking you at that sort of situation. But I mean, it's a pretty decent contest, at least right now at the beginning, but once Deppy's got his bottle on hand, he's going to be maybe more of an issue for C1 to deal with.
This Razor currently sitting on 17 and 6 with the Bristle on 15 and 5. I mean, things looking quite good here from the side of XTC.
Skynet's in
Getting their
trouble. Sorry,
getting
bot
their
lane.
two cores. Yeah, this might actually going to be the first blood. Going to a Strike though, I think maybe Strike should have left this for Dreamy if he had the option.
Yeah, so, I mean, still good rotation though. Finds the kill. Yes, if he gave the kill over to Dreamy, that would have been far better.
Definitely.
Whoop.
Sitting on 12 HP, buddy, I think you should get back to base.
Yeah, I think he has the same idea, and I mean, it's a long walk for him, unfortunately.
Oh, there's no rocket flare on the Clockwork. He needs to get his level 2. Give him his level 2. I think they're trying to give it up right now, and nope,
Yeah, it's too late.
it's too late.
Yeah, I think even if it starts flying now, he's going to heal up more than enough to survive it, so he'll be fine. I think Skynet's actually the one having quite a difficult lane, really, surprisingly. He's got 5 last hits, but you would have expected him to be a little bit more aggressive, but he is dealing with sort of a CM. It can reduce him down, they can control him, and Dreamy does quite a decent amount of damage. And I think Dreamy's sort of been left to his own devices. Yeah, he's level 4, so he's finding quite a decent amount of XP.
Axe is moving into the jungle. I do agree with this. He's not getting anything down there. But perhaps because on the top lane, Adestam should be fine now. They need to maybe rotate a couple of the supports down to try and shut down Dreamy.
Yeah, at this time, he's hit his level 4. Is maybe just a little bit of experience behind the Luna because his supports had to sit him for a little while. But he's not going to have a problem with the Darkseer. As long as they know what sort of rotations are coming up towards him, he should be fine. He's a very quick hero. I think one of the fastest heroes.
Skynet might be in quite a bit of trouble right now. This is going to be the second kill up here for Energy. Skynet busy juking around. He might actually survive this. Don't and I coming in to help. And now Deppy wants to go in. The slow is there. They're trying to do as much as possible. Strike is in a lot of trouble, and this is going to be the death of Strike. One more hit needed. Deppy will get it. They actually do manage to lift up the Clockwork, but there's no control further. No call up on the axe just yet, and getting a 1-for-1 trade-off. Actually, Skynet surviving.
Yeah, so I mean, that's really good for the Bristleback, especially seeing that he had to walk all the way back to lane, managing to find a kill there. He's going to be quite happy. Deppy, he's going to get his trades up pretty quickly. And, I mean, Chosen One, he's still finding his CS and so on, so he's not going to be too too bothered. I mean, it's not a favorable lane for him, so the more he can get space created is fine for him. But obviously losing the CM there, that was maybe a bad loss, but not terrible because the Clockwork managed to get himself on out there.
True, very true. Although they did decide to engage and they lost someone, but you know, mitigating casualties, so to speak. Adestam though, stealing 42 damage, using that to form up a nice little triple stack that was here.
Oh, he's in trouble.
Yeah, he does go on, Mr. Pottykins. There's the freeze and Adestam. Oh no, that was nearly so bad. Nearly pushing him out. Mr. Pottykins, luckily getting the last hit there.
Yeah, his cogs just did enough damage there. That could have been pretty close, but yeah, Mr. Pottykins making decent rotations. Yes, there was a failed one sort of in mid, but he got out alive and now he makes a successful one onto what I believe is probably the most farmed hero, was the most farmed hero for his opponent. So
Adestam has actually moved towards the bottom lane, going up against Dreamy now. Dreamy is level 6, does have his Eclipse. Razor will hit his level 6 now after the next creep that dies, I think. But Adestam trying to go in, he has to be very careful here, and there you go. Dreamy just decides to turn around. Lucid Beam, oh, very close, the Eclipse nearly getting it. Adestam has to heal up right now, and are they going to be able to get anything? Are they going to be able to actually turn around and go for Dreamy right now?
oh, Dreamy
But
not be in
Dreamy
trouble.
wants to move it forward. Unfortunately, Adestam has healed up too much. Dreamy is still all the way alone. Is he going to be lifted up? Here comes Adestam and Dreamy. This might be very problematic for him. There is the lift coming through right now, and there's Adestam. Can they do anything? The 5-minute mark is there, the slow is there. Unfortunately, you guys do not want to actually chase onto the high ground here. Dreamy's busy healing up, but it's not going to be enough. The TPs are coming in. Adestam getting that kill, and Mr. Pottykins, you do not want to be here with 80 damage stolen up on the Razor.
Yeah, and while that was all happening, there was a 1-for-1 exchange. The two supports rotated on the mid lane onto the Bristleback, and he just did enough damage to kill the puck. They managed to kill him off eventually, but the trade was
In his favor then.
yeah, it wasn't good for them really, because they had two supports rotating, and then the support rotated up and died instantly. And I'm not so sure what Mr. Pottykins had in mind there when he went into that shrine after the Luna had already died.
Yeah. Maybe underestimating the Razor and how much damage he saw, but you should be able to click on the Razor and actually have a look and see.
Yeah, I think actually even if it wasn't that, it was just the field. I mean, he's maxed out the plasma field to 3 points. It's just more than enough damage to kill him. So I think maybe assuming that he only had 1 point in plasma field, maybe.
Oh, let's have a look here. Strike being slowed up once again. He is surged up, but there's the lift coming in from the Rubik. This Rubik actually paying off. There's a lot of concerns in regards to this Rubik pick, but looking at the way that Rubik's currently playing, it's actually been paying off, and getting those lifts off every time that the surge is there is big difference.
I don't think I should have any concern with that. I think it's such a good lane. Rubik and Razor, they synergize very well. There's good potential for kill in that lane. And Rubik scales really well into the late game up against his opponents. He's got a lot to steal. So I like the Rubik pick here. I definitely think it was actually really nice. I thought they might have been going for something else, but when they picked it up, I thought, this actually is quite nice. The Null is also very good up
Let's
against
have a look here
opponents.
on Ferrari. Ferrari uses the surge, and there he gets lifted up, and oh no, Razor. Adestam actually attacked the creep there, not Ferrari.
Oh!
But he'll be able to chase him down with the phase boot activated.
Yeah, so we must keep in mind that Razor's really, really quick. He's a really fast hero, so it's very difficult to sort of run away from him.
353 movement speed without the phase boots up.
Yeah, once the phase boots get triggered, it's a very, very different story. So, yeah, I mean, Adestam, he's having a good time now. He's found himself 4 kills. He died once, yes, but I mean, it's now really meaningless to him, the fact that he's found himself 4 kills. And it's sort of made his opponent's supports sort of dismal. They've Strike and Mr. Pottykins looked like they were making good rotations at a time, but now they really just not sure where to go. The lanes have been switching up constantly. It's not looking very favorable, but they might be looking to try and do something here to Adestam. But Adestam's now got to point his unstable concoction, so not an easy kill.
Yeah, Dewbuddy dropping towards the top lane. Dreamy actually getting that kill with the glaive bounce. And towards the bottom lane, they are jumping in onto Adestam, but Adestam, he has stolen 50 damage, he's stolen 60, 70. Is he going to turn around? He can possibly do this. With the rest of the team not being able to do anything, Adestam does have a lot of damage. He's going to be able to farm up. He gets healed up now by Doombuddy as well. Mid lane, we do see some kind of engagement coming through there. It is going to be a silence onto the Bristleback. Bristleback does get eaten alive here by Dreamy's Eclipse.
Yeah, So something that he has to be aware of. He does have a cloak, but it was just not enough to really negate all that magical damage. Once he does get his hood up, I think it's going to be a bit more of a difficult kill. But Deppy's died twice now in lane, so
With his hood and then possibly moving into an early pipe, how big of an impact does that have on the Luna's Eclipse?
I think he just wants to get the hood right. He's going to be able to block 325 damage of the Eclipse, so it's quite significant. I think it's like one extra beam that's lost. And top lane, they're looking.
Oh, Skynet not being able to get the call off. Dreamy is just a little bit too fast right now. Actually, there's the lift coming up, waiting for it, and there's going to be the call. And is this going to be the first dunk? It is. They did, however, manage to pick up Dota and die. And they might want to go in for more. Mr. Pottykins is in a lot of trouble. The freezes there coming through. Mr. Pottykins does trap him and strike in. But is the next year? Oh, unfortunately, the Nasal Goose stacks was just off cooldown. Let's have a look quickly. The Axe might be in a bit of trouble himself. Is he going to turn around and go on to Strike? Strike might be in a lot of trouble. Mr. Pottykins is in a lot of trouble. They're all in a lot of trouble, but can they do enough? Unfortunately, no one has died just yet, except for the Clockwork.
Skynet's still in trouble here. He's TPing out. Oh, the lift! It's just so good he gets out. I can't believe it. I can't believe he managed. But two-man Dream Coil.
Chosen One comes in, gets a two-man Dream Coil up right now. He manages to go and blow up the Rubik as well. Deppy is still there. Deppy's still alive. I have no idea how this man is still alive, but he is. He's busy spamming out. He's not going to, though, survive much longer, going in for the front side and getting that kill. So a lot happened during that fight. Currently 8-8. Looking at the fight recap, it's a 2-for-2 trade-off, but going heavily with 500 gold in favor of Energy.
It was actually a 3-for-2 trade-off. Rubik died twice in that fight. He came back and just died again.
So that's even more in favor of Energy. Then.
Yeah. So
Rubik,
I mean,
why you feed?
Yeah. Well, he did make a huge save on Skynet though. He really put his life on the line to save Skynet there. So.
Then that is worth it, in my opinion.
To be fair.
Skynet nearly has his Blink Dagger up, 12 minutes in. He was safe lane, but he was pressured extremely in that lane. He does not have... He has boots up and a little stout shield.
Yeah, he's going to meet his peak at a really good timing. And once he has that Blink Dagger online, I think his opponents are going to be under sort of some sort of pressure, knowing, okay, we need to not group up. We need to not overextend now. We know there's an Axe potentially who could just jump on us at any minute. And that's the Blink Dagger up on him now. So I expect him to make use of this and potentially find a kill or two. And
possibly pushing up towards the middle lane, get this middle lane, then go in towards mid, and then make use of that Blink. So let's have a look and see. We do see two supports here for the side of Energy. Mr. Pottykins as well as Chosen One. They are busy trying to scout the side. Doom Buddy gets hooked on. Good vision coming up there, of course. He does have the battery assault, and it's just doing, I mean, the Warlock just kept on trying to do something, but he just kept on getting bashed. The top tier one was taken away, so it's a tier 1 tower for support. I honestly feel that trade is worth it, though.
yeah, so battery assault's so good up against Axe. Axe couldn't jump in there because the battery assault was up. He's going to now ping out onto Mr. Pottykins, but...
Is he going to move in? Is he going to go in? Is the Blink Dagger actually scouted out now? Because of this.
I believe it. I believe he might have had an opportunity to scout that one out. So,
all standing on the high ground, trying to keep himself just a little bit away. But the side of Energy, yeah, I think they might have scouted this out because they decide to back off. And our Ecstasy, it's up to them again. What do they do? Moving up from here, 1,000 in their favor. It's dropped between like of the past 8 minutes from 1,000 Energy to 1,000 in Ecstasy's favor itself. But still a very close game, and it's still anyone's game at this point. Deppy does have a Hood of Defiance up, and building into the Ring of Health as well as the Vitality booster after that. So that will, of course, be his Vanguard.
yeah, so the Vanguard is going to be a pretty decent pickup for him.
Oh, there's Chosen One going in, getting a one-man Dream Coil, two-man Dream Coil coming in right there. But the Cogs also managed to block person off. The wall is there, the vacuum's there. Crystal Maze getting a full duration ultimate off as well. Can they actually get the kill onto the Luna? Adam stabs on him, killing spree right now. Chosen One's in a lot of trouble himself. He has to get away, but Mr. Pottykins, there's not much he can do. Do they have any kind of disable? One more hit needed. Can they do it? Unfortunately not. It was so close. But Adestam is still here, going in onto Ferrari. He manages to get that kill. Now he wants to turn around onto Strike. How can they all TP away and not die? Adestam is hitting like a truck.
Yeah, so that was pretty lucky that he got away there. That could have been an extra kill for them. They still have the Golem though, so that's something that we can keep an eye on. And Adestam must be careful about walking through the wall. But I suppose it's extra farm for them. But yeah, I mean, Adestam...
Illusions, more farm.
Yeah, Adestam stealing so much damage then. Another thing that I want to talk about later on his talent tree here at level 15, he's going to get 175 cast range. That is just so good, especially when you got heroes like that maybe might be building force off, such as the Luna, the Clockwork. You can still sort of keep that tether going.
Pottykins, he gets surged right now. He manages to get his cogs. They want to go in further. Who are they actually going to focus on? It's going to be the dunk onto Mr. Pottykins. Are they going to go down or up? So they decide to turn around. They want to move on to Ferrari, and Ferrari surged in the clock. Clock just could not actually get anything done right there. The Eclipse is down. They don't really have much. Chozuma does have a double damage rune going in with his illusory orb, trying to do as much damage as possible. But there's the call onto 2 heroes. The spin is there, and here comes Adestam. The rock gets dropped onto energy. 2 heroes down. They get blown up. The tier 2 tower is going to drop as well. And this is just looking like XTC is walking over energy.
Yeah, absolutely. Great play from Skynet, finding himself in a good position there. So something else I want to talk about here is the synergy Axe has with a lot of his team with his Quelling Blade. Whenever he dunks someone, you got high movement speed on both Razor as well as the Bristleback. Yeah. So as soon as he uses that ultimate, they move very quickly, and those are 2 heroes that get a lot out of it.
You don't want to give Razor more movement speed, because then what can you do up against him?
Yeah. So it's very, very nice synergy there. That's something we probably didn't talk about earlier. And now they're going to pick up Roshan for themselves, and I think there shouldn't be much of a contest here because, okay, Clockwork is up, he does have a hookshot, but they've got to push his lanes out before they even consider contesting this one. So this should be a nice and easy Roshan here for Ecstasy.
Yeah, giving the rush probably onto the Bristleback or the Razor. I would put it on the Bristleback so that he can just tank it up.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, there's one hood of Defiance up on the Bristleback. There's another hood of Defiance up on the Razor as well.
Yeah.
These heroes are itemizing exactly the way they need to up against the Luna.
Yeah, the Luna as well as the Puck. I mean, both high magic damage.
And the Crystal Maiden.
Yeah, so they've definitely sort of scattered out a weakness now. Oh, Axe caught someone in the tree line here. That's going to be a CM.
Nah, poor little CM. Oh, he's like, there's a dunk.
Nope.
Now it's a dunk.
Yeah, that was still nice kill for them there, catching out the CM. That's pretty costly. I mean, especially after you lose Rax, this gives them a good opportunity to find a tier 2 tower here. So they might want to look to see if they can push out lanes and maybe trade. I see Ferrari's doing a decent job at that, but I think they might have to come and defend either the tier 2 tower or look for some sort of other trade here.
Well, let's have a look. 14 to 11, 4,000 net worth in favor of XTC. Okay, so if you're energy right now, do you split push? What do you do? Because they can't take a team fight right now.
Yeah, I think Ferrari's doing the right thing. He's going to put some chip damage. I don't think they're going to be able to make much of a trade, but I also don't think they want to fight into that Aegis. So do whatever chip damage they can do, keep the lanes pushed out as much as possible, make sure that, okay, even if they get this tier 2 tower, they can't get more objectives while the Aegis is online. But they are going to sort of maybe force them to rotate back here to the tier 3 and then farm up the rest of the map. So I think Ecstasy still have a pretty big advantage with this Aegis on hand.
Okay, Aegis was recently taken. I mean, they're busy pushing up high ground now. Can Energy defend this? Can Energy actually do something about this? Because the Puck is there, sure. Illusory Orb caught up by Rubik. That's always awesome. That's always fun. The Puck can get a good Dream Coil off. But can they do anything further, or what do you think Energy should do right now? They do go to the Bristleback. Bristleback gets pushed up. Unfortunately, with Pottykins missing it. Or do they sack this and just try and delay this as much as possible?
Well, if they can keep on doing that sort of chip damage, that is more than enough. Good D-Wall coming at you, identifying. This is actually something, when you watch XTC play, they often place that ward up in the top corner there, so really good D-Wall coming out there, knowing that that was something that they could be looking at. But again, Deppy's just going to walk onto this high ground. He's pretty damn tanky, and he's trade
switching. It's just like right-clicking once or twice. The thing is, Energy has a lot of wave clear. And without this Aegis up, I don't think XTC can break high ground as easily as they would like if they don't manage to get a pick off or two.
Yeah, Deppy does like pretty quick trade switches every time he throws out his cool spray, so he keeps his mana pool pretty high, and then as soon as he turns his back, he goes straight back onto strength. So they have to do so much work to get through that hero. So he's going to farm up a little sack that the enemy have made up for themselves here. And won't take any damage. He's in fact going for Sanjin Yasha.
A little ancient stack, there you go.
Yeah. I like what he's building. The Sanjin Yasha, I think it's really a nice item on him. It helps with the movement speed that we spoke about. Obviously, a really good item for this
Vanguard up, SNY up, Hood up. Basically itemizing for everything to a certain degree.
I think they're just lacking the Solar Crest. I think Solar Crest is still quite a good item on Bristleback most of the time. So I suppose, but I think for this sort of game, they've got a pretty decent lead right now. So if they want to hold on to it, he's just going to look to have sort of items to help tank him up and help him run down the opponents.
Well, let's look at Puck's itemization. Puck queuing up a Hand of Midas.
This is actually saying Energy have done quite a bit. Like queue up very, very late Hand of Midas. I am not sure if there's anything in it. Maybe that I don't know, but I think it's just weird. It's not even greedy anymore because it's just I can't see the value in it at such a late stage.
You want to then try and take this late. You want to try and delay this, but XTC doesn't want to delay this.
Yeah.
So if you know the enemy team, if you can delay the enemy team long enough, it will be worth it. But XTC, they're definitely going to push up, split push you, and they want to end this game within the next 10 minutes.
But I mean, like you want to sort of itemize to spike when your hero is in a good position to do so. And you losing objective after objective, you're losing control of your map at quite a high rate. This is just, even if you get a Hand of Midas, are you going to close that gap? It seems very unlikely in my opinion.
Well, the Aegis is up. Unfortunately, Bristleback now gets frozen up. Can they actually do enough to him while he still has the Aegis to burst him down? Deppy, seriously, he's just turning his back on everyone. He's like, I'm okay, guys. You can't touch me. You can't touch this. He has to be careful, though, because the Aegis is going to expire quite soon. But he decides to back off and not blow his Aegis. Are they going to move across? I mean, XTC is farming out pretty nicely right now. It's 4,500 net worth in their favor. 14 and 11 kill in their favor. But is there an item that the Luna can actually pick up right now, or that the Puck or the Darkseid can pick up that can change this game for them?
Well,
for the side of Energy?
The Luna's Mansa is going to be good, but I mean, it's not going to be sort of that item that makes a dramatic difference. I think the Puck, he's got his Blink Dagger, getting Hand of Midas, it's just not going to make a change. I mean, he's going to get buffed attack speed, and that's about it.
On the Luna, picking up the Mask of Madness, is that going to be farm, or why? Because a Mask of Madness up on a Luna, I get why you could pick it up, but the problem is you lose a lot of armor. Well, not lose armor, but you become very squishy, and Luna at this point does not have a lot of armor and is squishy already.
Yeah, so it reduces your armor by 5, which is fine. She's an agility hero, so she's already sitting with like a solid 19 armor.
Yeah.
It's quite a common item these days because of course you can break it up later on. But
and it helps escalate her farm. I get that.
yeah,
I'm just, if she pops that Mask of Madness just as the initiation starts, it's going to be really problematic for her, considering she's up against the likes of a Bristleback that gives even more minus armor.
yeah, and he also distributes physical damage, right? So his quills are physical damage, and then the Razor also hits with right clicks, which are also physical damage. So when you do reduce your armor, you sort of put yourself at a bit of risk. But,
No Aegis up right now, but the side of XCC is smoked up. Are we going to see any kind of further engagement? There you go.
Ferrari.
The engagement onto Ferrari, but Ferrari surged up right now. Can they actually jump in onto him? They will not have enough. Oh, the Rubik coming in with a stolen illusory orb and a blink. Manages to lift the Darkseid, but Darkseid gets out of that one. So a smoke there did not really go their way. And Energy just sitting in their base. Once again, they can't really do anything much they can't defend this outside of their base. They can only stay in their base and try and farm up and push up a little bit, but then they'll have to retreat. Do you think Luna should save for buyback or just buy up the Manta?
Like I say, the Mansa is going to make a bit of difference at clearing the wave, but I think he just buys it right now. If he dies and he has to buy back, it's pretty much sort of lost. So at that stage, if that happens, they're still potentially going to take 2 lanes of racks.
Yeah.
At least now you can have some sort of wave clear to say,
And
okay,
he
they can't
bought
do
it.
that.
Yes, he bought it. I do agree with this because if they, as you stated, if he had to buy back, the amount of gold lost there would have just been astronomical.
Yeah, he might as well have bought it, right? Even if he died because he bought it.
But even though Energy is being kept in their base most of the time, they aren't losing any more net worth than what they were at. It's still sitting around the 4,500 to 5,000.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing a decent job. Then again, we got Hannah Marston's on Chosen One now. We'll see if that's going to really turn into something later on.
Pay off, yep.
Yeah.
Well, Rush is still going to be down for a while. The top lane there, because just going to be harassing out again. Just 1 or 2 right clicks onto this tier 3 tower. That's all that they need to constantly do. But with Dreamy there, he could just keep out all of the creeps. You can't really rely on your creeps to do any chip damage here, because Dreamy will clear through all of it.
Yeah. So one of the big thing XSC have, right? They're gonna wait for Roshan, and that's gonna be the main goal. It's gonna be quite a long respawn, about
maximum.
2. Yeah. But they did a lot of high ground chip damage in that time. So
Oh, Rubik does get scouted out right now, but oh, what did he steal going on there? That was actually a. I don't know.
I'm
Anyway,
not sure what he
they're
said.
actually jumping in right now. Skynet goes in, he gets a call, but unfortunately, the cooldown or the Lunar Lucent Beams are just way too much with the Eclipse. Why did Skynet jump in when he had no team there?
I think they called back maybe after he had jumped in, realizing, okay, wait, we're a little bit
Sorry
out of
about that.
position.
I wasn't even like really casting that. I was just like saying, but why?
Yeah, I agree. I was just sort
Jinx.
of like, why? But yes. So I mean, he had to sort of. I suppose he jumped in with just the moment, and then realized, oh, they're a little bit too far. Rather back, guys. I'm dead. Let's.
Well, it's not about
reset.
rather bad guys. No one was there to help him.
Yeah. Well, Razor was close, but just walked away. He just saw him jump and said, nope.
Nope.
Yep, you're an idiot, kind of thing. I'm not really.
But XTC, by doing this, they're allowing energy back into this game.
Yeah.
They're stopping, or they're not putting enough pressure onto all the lanes. Bottom lane's being pushed out very nicely. Middle lane, at least, being pushed out. The Crystal Maiden's getting a little bit more experience and gold. Sure, they have to wait for Rosh, but they should be more proactive on this map. Putting down deep wards. They have one deep ward. They have one deep ward here.
Yeah, and they're playing up against the Luna, right? So Luna is just one of those heroes that scale pretty well into the later stages of the game. He's going to have his BKB up soon. He's going to be pretty difficult to kill. And, I mean, he's been doing pretty well. Dreamy's 5-3 and 4. He's, considering his team is a bit behind, they've taken a lot of chip damage on the high ground, which they're taking a little bit more of here. So
with a double damage drain up here on the Bristleback, are we going to see any further engagement? This might be
Oh,
perfect
wow.
for them. They do manage to get the tier 3, so now they can fall back and actually go onto the shrines as well. But still, Deppy onto this Bristleback. Oh, the call there by Scarlet, unfortunately missing. And now we might just see the engagement coming through. Ferrari getting a 3-man back wall. Is this the fight that they needed? There's the Warlock Rock getting dropped onto Mr. Puddykins. He just gets demolished and destroyed. Unfortunately, Adestam, he's just going crazy. He's going ham. There was a wall stolen by the Rubik. You see a big X on this map. And is this the X to mark the spot where XTC is going to win this game?
Oh, they get a kill onto Skynet though on the backlines. They didn't get much more done though. So at the end of the day, they got a tier 3 tower, yes, so now they got access to dealing damage to at least the shrines. So it's a decent amount of gold. But
And
more,
Rosh, and
yeah,
Rosh is
I was
up
just
right
about to say that at the very second Rosh did spawn. So
And this is at the maximum respawn time, so the side of XTC should actually know there is no way that Rosh is not up right now.
XSC will be happy with this trade. I think Skynet made a bit of a poor play there with his jump. He didn't really catch anything, and he also died. But the rest of the team, I mean, a great golem to follow up, a good steal from the Rubik meant that the Luna can't really afford to run through that wall. Because if he does and you have a Luna Illusion beating up your own team, it's absolutely chaotic. It just deals such a tremendous amount of damage.
Lunar Illusions are probably, Lunar Illusions and Anti-Mage Illusions are probably the two best illusions to have.
Especially when you got a level 2 Replicate Wall, because they're dealing 120% damage, so it's even dealing more damage than the actual hero. Replicate Wall is like just one of those abilities that make those illusions even more scary. So something that's
And now at level 3 it might even be like a
yeah.
140% Illuna, Illuna, lol. 140% Luna Claves?
Yeah. Just beating up at you, for sure.
Oh.
It's something that PSL needs to be careful of, or Ferrari.
Very true.
I'm not
Well,
sure if he wants to be called by Ferrari.
let's call it Ferrari
I like
because it's a throwback.
Yeah.
But let's have a look here. There you go. Blinking forward. The call is there. The lift is there onto the axe, from the axe, and the Crystal Maiden gets dunked. Yes, no? Yeah,
Yes.
leaving it. I think they were like asking, do you want it? No, do you want it? No, do you want it?
Fine, I'll take
Yeah,
it.
it's fine. I'll take it.
But
And this opens up Rush, of course, for the side of
Yeah.
XTC. Energy will scout this out, but without the Crystal Maiden there, I don't think they can take this. And with this Aegis as well as Cheese,
Mr. Puttykin's like standing there looking like, can I steal this one, guys? Like, do you mind if I go for the shot here?
well, I honestly think he has to try.
It's
Let's-
pretty
let's
high
zoom out.
risk though.
Skynet busy roaming up and down, trying to stop anything from happening. Are we going to see the call or the hook shot coming through? It's going to be very close. Is he going to go for it? Is he going to go for it?
Oh!
He goes for it. Deppy picked up the ages, unfortunately. It was so close. He had to have tried for that. He had to have gone for that. Clockwork picked up the cheese, boys.
Cheeky. Okay, he got the poor guy. He picked up the cheese by mistake. I thought he was in there first.
He picked up the cheese, not the ages, but it's still a cheese that the side of XCC does not have.
I suppose, but imagine if it was the Aegis. That would have been far.
Okay, well, if you want to go down that way, imagine if it was the ages and the cheese.
Well, nah,
okay.
the hook shot's only that good, you know. It's only that long. But yeah, now they're going to be able to deal a lot of damage on the high ground. We can already see the Bristleback saying, okay, well, I'm just going to go for racks, guys.
Okay, so how do you kill the Bristleback that has SNY up, a 10-second BKB up, Aegis, Hood of Defiance, and Vanguard up?
Yeah, the Bristleback's in a very comfortable position here to sort of not be afraid of anything, by all means. And they don't even need creep here. They're just going to mop up racks. I mean, the cogs get dropped. They're going to be a little bit of
still
a
sitting on full HP thanks to the Warlock. Warlock, of course, does have his rock. Let's have a look. Let's zoom out and see what can the side of Energy actually do from this. The cheese is there. The call is there onto the Luna. Bringing them back in 4-man back wall. But countered up with a 4-man rock drop being on there. The Luna ultimate is going off onto anyone as well. But Adestam is getting a double kill. The hook shot onto Scarnet manages to actually pick him off. Adestam, how much damage has he stolen? 217. He's just going ham. He's killing off everyone in the team. But he finally drops Ferrari though. Is busy running away. It's a 2-for-2 trade-off at this point. It's actually going quite well here for the side of Energy. The Eclipse did a lot of damage there during that fight. And let's see, will they be able to pick up anything further? Deppy still has the Aegis.
I think they're back.
Are they
Dreamy
gonna
bought back, yeah. Dreamy bought back, so they'll be like, okay, he still does a lot of damage, especially his illusions.
But Scarlet jumping in, getting that call, bringing them back.
Yeah.
That actually did a lot. But the 4-man back wall, but then it was also a 4-man golem drop.
Yeah, so the Eclipse did a lot of damage because of the cheese. So he actually had the cheese on Dreamy and he ate it, so he had full HP, so he got a couple more beams down before he met his demise. So
wow,
that was a pretty nice pickup of the cheese, I suppose, for Mr. Poddykins, but maybe not good enough as they have lost the lane of racks.
I wanted to say the Luna Lucent Eclipse, and I'm just like, why am I saying that?
Yeah, the Eclipse is just... It is pretty strong, but I mean, like we said earlier, there's...
I remember calling it the Sanity's Eclipse, but that's the OD's ulti
Yeah.
when I started casting.
There's actually a Bastion now picked up by the Bristleback, so he actually bit in his backpack the Hood of Defiance. Something that we must be aware of. Obviously, he's going to switch that in as soon as he dies with his Aegis spot, but for now, his first death can be somewhat quick. Not really, though. He's still pretty tanky.
Getting the first lane of racks down as well. I do think that we will probably see XCC moving in towards the Shrines of Energy, trying to get a little bit more control of. They did drop a high ground ward over here and a ward up towards their top shrine as well. So this is the aggressive warding that I was speaking about that I honestly thought they were going to do a lot earlier.
Yeah, Rubik's got Ags.
The thing is, the people on the panel that have been getting it wrong today so far have been saying Rubik does not have a lot to steal. I am sorry, I do not agree with that. Rubik has a lot to steal.
The wall is just so big.
The wall, the clockwork hook, the battery assault, the CM, anything.
But now, I think the biggest thing for him to steal is Dream Coil because that goes through BKB because he's got Ags. So I think even the Crystal Maiden's ultimate is huge. The Ags upgrade
the Crystal
on that
Maiden
is
ultimate, in
pretty
my
scary.
opinion, is more important than the Puck's ultimate.
I think the Puck ultimate instantly sets up. Oh, okay, yeah, never mind. I thought they were gonna. They smoked up here. They're gonna look for some sort of.
Let's see if
trade.
Chosen One jumps in, goes onto the Rubik. Rubik, unfortunately, the back wall is only onto one hero, but the call is there. The Golem gets dropped, and it's also once again onto one hero. Dreamy gets a good eclipse off. This might actually go very bad here for the side of XCC. Are they going to actually try and counter-engage? Adestam wants to go in. Will he actually be able to get anything here done? Unfortunately, not a very scrappy fight with everyone for the side of XCC being trapped on this side.
Yeah,
They could not move in forward.
that was a sort of weird fight. Good wall placement, I suppose. Maybe they knew where the rest of the opponents were, but it made it very difficult for them to deal with. So, Korea gets brought down.
3,050.
Gem gets picked up. They don't. What?
Oh, wait.
XCC making mistakes here. Gem was on the ground there the whole time, and they didn't pick it up. He killed the Korea, and he got the gem.
That had 3,000 net worth in. What was that? That was something, I think, from the Bristleback, because Bristleback only has 400 gold right now. with no buyback. They're actually taking a big chance here pushing up. I would not do this if I was XTC.
Still got Aegis though, so that's...
He still has Aegis, but there you go. Clockwork actually goes in, manages to get 2 here. Dream Call. Dreamy goes in with his BKB. He manages to get the 1 pick off onto Doom Bunny. They want to go in for more. It is going to be Razor. Razor is stunned up. Razor's taking a lot of damage here. Yeah, they're actually going to be able to kill him. Meanwhile, to the backlines, the dunk is there. The double kill here is up by Skynet. Skynet will be able to blink up for it. He manages to get a call. It's going to be a triple kill up for Skynet. And let's have a look. They did manage to pick off the Razor towards the top end of that fight. And Adestam brought back.
Yeah, they want to end. They did this in the previous game, and Energy instantly called GG. They just knew what was going to happen.
There's no buyback up on the Luna.
Yeah, he already bought back, so that's
On the
why
previous fight.
he's just said there's no way for us to really do anything to stop them.
Let's have a look here. They do jump in for it. They want to go in onto the little old park. They're waiting for it, but unfortunately the Axe call is not there in time. Is this going to be the second lane of Rax? I think this might just be game coming up here. Energy, they played well. They tried to fight this out as long as possible. Strike, though, is going to die, and it's going to be Skynet getting another kill. Going up towards the bottom side or the bottom Rax. 40 seconds still. I think this is game. XTC are going to push up forward. There is nothing left for them. The hookshot comes in, though, onto the Bristleback. Bristleback does not have H's this time, but he's still tanking it up. They do push back strike. And the Razor, he's going ham. He has 182 damage stolen. A 3-man, 4-man back coming in. A wall. Energy is trying to fight this out. They're trying to do what they can, but it's still going to be Adestam's show at this point, doing so much damage. They are backing up. Chosen One is on a killing spree. And they have to be careful that Adestam actually doesn't drop from this because he, of course, did buy back.
Yeah, so they haven't managed to actually close the game out. I don't think that would have been the intent when Adestam did buy back. But, yeah, it's pretty interesting. They're playing very aggressive here. Warlock's in trouble. He'll go down. Doom Bunny will find himself that kill.
I wasn't focusing on that one. I was busy looking here towards the TPs that are going out. But, okay, getting a kill onto the Warlock, it's not the biggest deal in the world.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
it is a good pickoff. It's a good retreat pickoff.
It's something, though, for them.
Ooh, Dire uses scan, and it narrowly misses Adestam. If Dire managed to scan Adestam here, Energy might just have won this game.
Yeah, they're going. They said, okay, well, now we got to go for it. Let's go high ground.
Adestam doesn't have TP for 10 seconds. Let's see if Energy, no, they decide to back off on him.
They need to defend these lanes. Look at the 2 lanes, how hard it's pushed in, and you sort of leaving a Clockwork to do it. It's just, he's going to struggle. So, yeah, I don't see a way for Energy to end this.
If only Blade Mail worked on creeps.
Yeah, there's no way that Energy's going to do this right now. They need to try and defend at least their last standing racks, which is already looking quite unlikely. But Dreamy, he's still pretty farm. They can be a bit concerned about his damage output, and he's actually going for a Silver's Edge here. I want to see how much use he's going to get out of that.
Well, I do like the Silver's Edge. It is, it gives you a little bit more stats. It allows you to use your Shadow Blade a lot more, or your Invis a lot more, and going up against the Bristleback specifically as well, it does remove that, what do you call it? The Warpath coming through, or the Bristleback itself.
Yeah, the Bristleback on Bristleback. It also removes counter helix. The counter helix on Axe, potentially, I mean, that's pure damage, so pure damage is always relevant. So
always relevant?
Yeah, so that's something that they could be considering, but I mean, yeah, Adestam...
Well, all I'm saying is Bristleback has this Abyssal Blade up, and he's not afraid to use it.
Adestam's bought Ags here, so like buildings are dead. Buildings are... This is really... They need to make sure Adestam doesn't get on the high ground.
Max duration rush. Is
Pretty
this rigged?
Bad luck, I suppose, for, I don't know, Ecstasy, I suppose. It's bad luck for them. But, I mean, it's not the end of the world. We can see the Clockwork already trying to scatter it out, but it's going to be a while. But they're going to take Shrines, get a decent net worth, and like I said, Ags up on the Razor. If they just get on the high ground, Razor can really take care of the buildings.
Yeah. Well, let's have a look here. They seem to be just farming up a little bit. I think both teams are waiting for Rush. But no, it's XCC. They're actually moving up forward. I honestly think they have to wait for Rush. They have to get the Aegis up on the Razor. Because if Razor dies here, it might just be good game for XCC.
So I think this is the second time we're going to see a potential Ags on an Axe. I know this is a bit late into the game. That is something we can keep an eye on. I'm still in 2 minds about the Ags pickup on Axe. I don't know if it's all that good or if it's...
What is the buff that it has again?
Okay, so when you do dunk someone, you get battle hunger on everyone within a 750 AoE. So it's a pretty interesting buff that you get out of it now. So it also slows people, so it slows in an AoE. I suppose they got a
the
warlock.
slow, I get it, but the damage, it's...
So at level 25, Axe has the option of putting plus 100 battle hunger DPS, damage per second. So it does scale.
That's
okay.
100, that's 1,000 damage that
Yeah.
you could actually do with a dunk.
But that's assuming
Per
they don't get
person.
a last hit. Like, if they last hit a creep, then the battle hunger is gone, right? So
True.
it's not exactly 1,000 damage,
It's
but
one of those theory crafting ones where you're busy wondering.
I think it's more useful for the slow that you get out of it. Sort of because when you dunk, you're gonna speed up your whole team, and they've got Razor and Bristleback.
Scepter damage reduction. So there's a 30% damage reduction for everyone that has it on.
Yeah. Oh yes, as well that. So yeah.
That is actually big.
I think for the Luna especially, if you can shut down, sort of make sure the Luna doesn't get extra damage, you can dunk someone with it. But we must also keep in mind 750 AoE is quite small. It's less than a blink range, so it's
Well, it's not that small, but so your Berserker's Call is around 300, so it's like just over 2 times your Berserker's Call range.
So it's sort of, if you look where he's standing now, maybe if I can draw a line, I think it's about. Oh, I can't draw a line.
Not when you're paused.
Oh, okay.
You can. It is on the mini map. Look.
Okay,
here.
exactly. I think it's as long of a range as his actual battle hunger is. So
Battle Hunger's range. It does not say.
I think it's as. It doesn't say. Yeah, I think it's about the same range as his battle hunger. So it is okay, but I mean, a Luna can definitely just see. Oh, he's gonna dunk. Let me run this way, because Luna is not a slow hero by any means. Pretty quick, in fact. So.
Yeah, 750 range is actually quite big. It's more. It's like a bigger range than some people have. Like attack.
I know, but I mean, it's a whole item just for that. So I don't know. We'll see.
And the damage reduction. I'm not saying it's a good item at all. I'm just like it's going to be interesting to see it at play, if at all.
Yeah, it's an expensive item, and I've heard lots of like pros and cons of it. So
Mostly cons.
yeah, I
Yeah.
suppose. But then again, maybe they sort of calculate
Well,
something
let's
that I'm
have
not
a
sure.
look. Are we going to see a wraparound movement coming in there? There's a back
Whoa.
onto 3 heroes on top, but the rock gets dropped instantly. Another one to turn around. Unfortunately, Mr. Bodykiss actually has the Warlock trapped up, but the call in onto 2 heroes. It is onto the Luna. The Lucid Beams are there. The Eclipse is there as well. Dota and Die actually getting a triple kill up here. And that was because of his ultimate, his Eclipse, his Aghanims up here on the Rubik. And that is the power of the carry Rubik here.
Yeah,
But he's gonna die.
Oh.
He manages to drop there because of the illusions coming through from the docks here, of course. The buyback is up. Puck's trying to go in. The bash is there. Not the Abyssal just yet, but Abyssal is ready. The docks here back walls in again. The axe does drop, but this is mega creeps coming up. And as long as they don't lose the Razor, they will be okay.
Yeah, I saw that Eclipse and I was like, what? Does Luna have Ags? And then I realized, oh, it's the Rubik.
Yeah.
Just destroying
I saw the
everyone.
Eclipse, but she was already stunned up. And I was just like, well, she has Eclipse up,
Yeah.
but that's Rubik Ags Eclipse.
That Ags Eclipse is so strong. I feel stupid for not actually thinking about it. The Ags on the Rubik is actually so insane right now,
We've been
because
talking about the Crystal Maiden, the this, the
even
that,
the
but
wall gets buffed by it. Hookshot gets buffed. Every single ultimate on the opponent's team gets buffed by that Ags pickup. So that's it's quite tremendous. If he doesn't get any ultimate, it's going to have some sort of dramatic impact. But I mean, now that they've got Mega Creep, I just don't see a way for Energy to do much. They're not going to give up, of course, because if they lose here, they're out.
This Rubik sitting on 5, 6, and 19, being part of 24 out of their 30 kills.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rubik has really been playing out of his mind.
Yeah, Dota and Die is just he's just been playing very well especially in recent time. Yeah, just really, really strong. So now I suppose it's pretty much that sort of tower defense game.
Aegis is up, boy.
Yeah. So if they get Roche, there's no real way for them to slow this down.
Energy has said he's trying to defend this, or at least try and go for an Aegis steal again.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And it gets scouted out that XCC is going to be going in.
Oh, what a nice item for Bristleback. It's the Arcane Rune. So he gets...
That's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Every 2 seconds, every like 1 second he has Nasal Goo. Every 2 seconds a Core Spray. 2.1 seconds and 1.05 seconds.
It's just
Probably the best rune for Bristle,
Yeah,
definitely.
and his war cry, his war path goes up to 9. It's just so much damage. So much physical damage, in fact.
2
Like
plus
300.
240 extra damage.
300.
Oh,
Oh!
the hookshot comes in. Deppy, unfortunately, has already picked up the Aegis. Is there another cheese steal coming in here? I don't think there was. Let's quickly have a look at it. Clockwork stole the cheese again.
Oh, the poor guy. The
He keeps
poor
on
guy.
hookshotting in and stealing the cheeses. Come on.
Jesus.
The Aegis, pick up the big shield. Don't go for the little piece of cheese.
Yeah. Yeah, cheese is a plural.
The cheeses.
They're going to go for the high ground now, see if they... I mean, there's just... I can't see a way for them to defend it. Yes, they got Ags on the puck, which is quite okay, but do they have enough damage to really get through all of this?
Oh, there's the puck going in, managing to actually go onto the Razor right now. Razor, a back wall onto 2 heroes, but towards the back line, the Rock has dropped. Chosen One's in a lot of trouble, but he does actually manage to get out of that one. Right now, though, at his time, he does have his Aghanim Scepter up. He's literally just focusing on the tier 4s. Meanwhile, though, they want to go towards the back lines. They do manage to pick off Dreamy, and this is going to be game. The GGs are called, and XTC move forward to the finals. It is going to be WRG versus XTC. Energy bringing in a stand-in, a very good stand-in in the likes of PSL.
Yeah.
It just was not enough.
Yeah, so I think that was just really good play coming out from Ecstasy. I have to say something. Dota and Dai played really well. He found a substantial amount of farm in a very short space of time, and he did a lot with it. He stole Eclipse again in that last fight there, so it just does so much damage once he has those Ags up. Other than that, I think their draft again looked really good. Adestam and Razor, I think, is just a natural fit for him. The hero suits him very well. And, I mean, Energy sort of in shambles. Yes, they had a stand-in, but PSL is not sort of a weak stand-in by any means, or Ferrari 458, sorry. But, yeah.
Why do we just call him Ferrari 854 now?
854, yeah, why not? But, I mean, they did okay. I feel like the Luna pick was good, but they just didn't get enough out of it. His farm was sort of hindered just because of laning
there was
stages
no
ran
extra
poor.
damage dealers other than the Luna. That is where Energy lacked. They started coming back a little bit. They tried to come back, but if you have a look at the graphs there and just purely look at the net worth graph specifically, it just started going one way and it did not stop.
Yeah. So I mean, there were like a couple of hiccups here and there where Energy like had sort of moments where it looked okay for them, and Dreamy was farming quite well. But I mean, overall, the XC sort of outplayed them, controlled the map much better than them, and I think a lot to say about the Warlock pickup once again being victorious.
Deppy sitting on 25,000 net worth versus his counterpart in the Dogs here sitting on roughly half of that, 14,000. What a game, taking all 3 games, the loser bracket finals. This was insane. Panel, what did you guys think of this? And can XTC actually take on WRG? They're looking strong.
Thanks very much, Reddit. Yeah, I mean, it was a fantastic series. Glad to see one go all the way to the BO3. Of course, this does mean we have to say goodbye to Energy, but what a fantastic run they've had. Low bracket to specialists in this one. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have to chat about this alone. I'm joined once again by my panel, Donnie Snare, and this time around Sloan, of course, the Mega8 tournament director and spokesperson. Great to have you with us.
Thanks for having me. It's been a great tournament so far, and I'm really looking forward to the grand final. I actually can't wait to see what happens.
I think we'd all agree with that one. But James, before we get carried away with the grand final, let's chat about this one. How do you guys feel this went down?
I'm just a little... It's like a bit of a shame that they didn't have their full lineup. Chelsea, I feel like he's been a big component in their success this tournament. I mean, PSL played okay, but obviously he's just not a Chelsea, right? He's not their original offlaner, and it's just a shame that they had to go out that way.
I think what we were talking about earlier in the panel, we were talking about like the synergy and how Chelsea seems to be the rock controlling most of the team fights. We saw in this game that whenever a fight would initiate, right, it never necessarily felt like they were taking fights as well as they could have. Up until this point, I would have actually said Energy is the best team at taking fights all across the map. And they normally when they commit, they go all in and they will win a fight, or they'll all die and they'll commit like that. This game, you'd see like half initiation. So you see a situation where like Ferrari would jump in, get a 3-man vacuum, but then there's no follow-up. And then the coil comes afterwards, but then the timing wasn't necessarily there. So it was a loss. We said like the question marks, we'll see what happens when they have a substitute. And unfortunately, it wasn't the best situation. Also, I think, well, like Reddit's mentioned, just the lack of damage. Yeah. It was very clear, like a lot of the fights, they'd win the fight, right? Or like draw relatively even, but then the longer the fight goes, the less able they are to continue it. Or worse yet, they can win a fight, but then all the fights that ended up happening in this game took place on the energy side of the map, so they could never actually go to the opposite side and actually utilize the Luna to push. It was just like, you win, but then the win only allows you to just wait until the next fight comes at your base again, so it was just really difficult to do anything there.
I mean, all their damage was spell damage, right?
Yeah.
So it was quite difficult. I think once they went through the early nukes, right, and they got hoods, they had hoods up
Yeah,
pretty early. So
double
you saw
hoods.
it was pretty tough. Really tanky cores like Razor and Bristleback. So they're just standing in front. They're throwing out nukes. It was very difficult. And then when they started getting BKBs, then what? You know,
Yeah.
like Axe just has to call Luna and he ends up killing himself, as you saw. And then Rubik, if you actually saw, he had 8k less damage, hero damage, than his carry Razor, which is actually insane, right? Like, for a support Rubik, right? I was just seeing the support Rubik stealing Eclipse. I'm like, is that Luna's Eclipse? And then I just see the whole of energy die, and now he gets a triple kill. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Yeah, some nice plays by him, I think.
Yeah.
Great. Well, yeah, it was certainly quite a. I'm always glad to see Rubik do well. I'm a big Rubik fan, so it was a lot of fun. But yeah, of course, once again, that doesn't mean we have to say goodbye to Energy. Great run from them all the same. Got hurt losing to XTC again, but yeah, you know. There were some extenuating circumstances.
At least they can say it went 1-1, right, with their full lineup. They're not gonna like. They're gonna feel sad, but it's like we could have. They'll be like, we could have won. You know.
Yeah, but also, I mean, to fight through the lower bracket the way they did, I thought, you know, it was hell of impressive to go down, losing out the first game, to fight all the way up till here. I mean, they can be proud of themselves. They've done themselves justice.
Right. Well, I think obviously just for the grand finals, there's in fact a good opportunity to chat a little bit more about Mega8. And I introduced this tournament directly. We more like the operations head, or
yeah. I guess my title at the company is head of operations.
Head of operations.
Yeah, that would be it.
Right, good. And obviously, yeah, spokesperson. So now we've grabbed you, and we're going to put you in the literally the spotlight.
Exactly.
To have an opportunity to chat about Mega8 itself. So I mean, I guess the obvious thing to ask is, how have you felt about this one?
I think the tournament's been great. Just a shout out to UBS. First of all, I think the production has been absolutely amazing. The cameramen, the audio guys, and again to Nav TV for sorting us out with amazing talent like Donnie and Snare, Prophecy.
Not so much, Donnie.
But I mean, the tournament itself's been great. The Dota's been fantastic. There's been some really good games. The standout game for me was Energy Bravado. I thought it was an epic best of one. But otherwise, it's been great. I mean, I can't complain. As a tournament organizer, it's been perfect.
I mean, I can certainly say that we have all definitely enjoyed it here. It has been a very fantastically well-run event as well, so kudos to that.
Thanks.
I guess that means that we kind of want a little bit more. So what I heard a mystery about some leagues potentially.
Yes, so in July, we will be setting up our platform, the Mega8 platform. It'll be at mega8.com, and we'll be running 3 leagues, 3 game title leagues with 3 divisions each. So it'll be Dota, Dota 2, Counter-Strike Go, and FIFA. There'll be a Premier Division, a Second Division, and then a Ladder Division for Dota 2 and CS. And FIFA, we're still trying to figure it out, but we're thinking we're going to do the same, although we may implement a ladder. But it's going to be open to the public. Everyone can join. But for the first 2 divisions in Dota and CS, we're probably going to have to hold the qualifiers, and we'll put out information on that in the future.
That's pretty cool. I mean, I think maybe a certain team in power might have to join.
Maybe. That would be great. I mean, maybe. We'll see how good we go.
Yeah, we'll see how that happens. I think we definitely need to work a little bit harder.
I think a lot more practice is needed.
We'll get Donnie to coach us.
Yeah, maybe Donnie can come coach us.
I'm not going near your team.
Right. So, I mean, I think there's nothing about this particular event, and I mean, it touches on what you just said that I think is quite important. We've got to see some sides we don't often see in the spotlight. Sinister 5 obviously comes to mind. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, to be honest, I was hell of impressed with Sinister 5. I mean, the Dota that they put on was great. Mythic as well. Shout out to Mythic. I mean, great MGO, well run, coming through this tournament. I mean, in working with them as a tournament organizer has been easy as anything. So shout out to all the teams, but specifically Sinister 5 and Mythic. They have been great. They've given us great Dota. I look forward to seeing them in future tournaments.
Great. And then I think the last thing I really wanted to pick your brain about is you guys obviously use the Swiss system, which is, I mean, I love it, right? But I'm curious how you guys came about using. What are your thoughts on it?
So to be honest, the way the Swiss system actually got implemented is we, in the beginning, before the first CS tournament we had, which was the Autumn Cup back in March, we decided to actually get all the teams together, all the MGOs, and ask them what qualification system would work best. And I think this speaks to Mega8's culture. We always want to include the teams, figure out what's best for the guys, figure out what's best for the community, and everyone came together and thought the Swiss system would be the best. I think it was used in a couple of overseas CS tournaments. We took it, we implemented it ourselves, and it worked fantastically for the CS. Did it for the Dota, worked as well, got some great matchups, got some great seedings as well, which has been a big testament to this tournament. And in the end of the day, I think we're going to keep using it. The funny thing is, Kiev then implemented Swiss system right after us.
You beat them to it.
I know, we beat them to it. That we did.
Yeah. But well, it's actually interesting you mentioned that, because I think one of the interesting ones to me was Sinister 5 getting, I mean, they were placed one higher than Bravado.
Yeah, they seeded fourth. And I mean, they lost their first game to Bravado in the Swiss system, but then they beat out 3 Masters teams. I think it was 3 Masters teams to get to the 4th seed. So,
I mean, they kind of proved that they should have been there. I mean, they played against Bravado. They had tight games against them and took a game off them. So it's kind of like, these guys might have been relegated to a sort of very low seed without the Swiss system.
Sure.
So
yeah, and what's great about the Swiss system as well is that because it's best of ones and you don't know who your next opponent is, you can't prepare. So you can prepare to a point on your own side, but you can never prepare for an opponent. So it's always coming up against a random team, and it's really just who is best on the day and who has the better skill set.
Personally, I like it. As an entertainer, it's a lot of fun seeing those games. But obviously, I think it's about time we wrap up this panel. We're going to be back in we'll be back in about 10 minutes actually with the panel again to lead up into our grand finals. And of course, the grand finals here at the Mega8 Winter Cup between White Rabbit Gaming and XTC. Can XTC pull this one back, or will WG just continue their reign as champions here? On that note, we'll see you in a bit. Don't miss it.